Go! This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it!
What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Knicks Married Monday, April 17th, 2023. This sports program starts right now.
Geraldo's!
A lot of Geraldo love here early.
Hell yeah.
Because myself, the Toxic Table at Boston Connor, and at Ty Schmidt, also one half of the Hammer, Dahn, Cowboys, Tone Diggs, and all the boys in the back got a chance to celebrate love this weekend. Big congratulations to Big Frank, Sean,
Yep.
Geraldo, Pat, Kathy, Farice, and their children who had a royal wedding inside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania this past weekend.
Unreal.
And that's when two families become one. Successfully happened on Saturday. Congratulations to the Geraldos and to you, Nick and Carly.
Congrats, guys.
Nick.
Thank you, guys. Thank you to each and every one of you. Pat,
Fun.
You were the best man anyone could ever ask for. The
I don't
speech
know
was
if that's
absolutely incredible.
Well, I really got rolling in there. You know, as I was talking, I was like, I'm motoring right through this thing. I'm starting to really get going. And then new ideas started coming through. I told you that I worked on that speech like 6 to 7 different times. I had goes at that speech. Once was in the shower. Like the first time I really went after it was standing in the shower. And I started going. I was like, how many songs have just played? Oh, 7 songs just played.
Hands are
okay, that's a little bit long. Yeah, I got a little, gonna have to cut some stuff out there. Then the next time I went, I think I was sitting in the office, maybe taking a shit over here, and I went after it was like 10 minutes. I was like, well, that was pretty good. Let's see what we come up with the next time, third time, fourth time. Then whenever I got to do it live, I missed one thing, only one thing, and I was a little bit bummed about that. That was the first time I seen you. I could have never guessed how good of a human you would actually be underneath that incredibly toxic outer coat that you have, which did get mentioned. First time I seen him, he reverse stripped some kid with 4 books in his hands walking through the high school. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just like straight out of a movie.
Yep.
I was a freshman, just got to the high school. People did know who I was coming into high school. So I was a little bit anxious about going into high school, about, you know, how will people react to me as a human. People knew me around there. Could get beat up, could get bullied, would contain myself and hold my own, would be very comfortable, but I didn't know what it was going to be like. First day I'm walking around, this fucking guy, sophomore in front of us, hits a kid that I did not know, but he was walking in front of me in my class, definitely. 4 books, and I laugh pretty hysterically.
Fumble.
And then I think to myself, oh shit, that could be me.
Right.
Sure.
From that moment all the way to today, I've never read a book because Nick Geraldo was a fucking bully to a kid right in front of me. So congrats to you, Nick.
Thanks, man. Glad I could do that for you.
Real good guy. Nick was a fucking bully there for a little bit.
I mean, sometimes you gotta knock some books out.
That's
What are
a
you gonna
classic
do?
move.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, back in the day, that shit was very just normal.
Yeah.
They took our
Hilarious.
backpacks away. Everybody's just carrying around a loose football around the hallways. Couldn't have it.
Yeah, and when people were also out there, I mean, ball security is job security.
Yeah, you
Try-
got dudes, your friends.
You try to tell a couple kids
Exactly.
too. You
I don't know if that kid was Nick's friend. To be clear, I'm not 100% sure. I know I didn't know the guy.
Well, Nick was a bully.
Nick was a bully.
Well, he was teaching kids ball security. I mean, you got to put that thing high and tight, maybe hold it close to the chest.
I think that kid was never going to play a sport. The kid.
I thought it was Ezekiel.
No, but I would assume that kid got back at Nick. Nick and his group of friends were a hysterical group of humans. Got to see a lot of them. Got to see all the generations and ages of friends that we've kind of had and Nick has had. There was one era that I kind of missed whenever they lived in the super Italian area of town.
Bluefield,
Yeah, whenever I was here. So I got to meet some people too that I heard stories from. Aunt Tina, Nick's aunt, made this cookie table. Pittsburgh cookie table is obviously a tradition.
So good.
Where it's just like a shit ton of cookies. This one lady cooked them all. That is not normal. Normally you buy them, you do this other stuff. Aunt Tina baked probably 2,000 cookies.
Crushed it.
Dog.
God.
It was unbelievable.
Some Buckeyes.
The decorations, beautiful. I mean, it was hot as fuck in there. The air conditioner broke the day of. That's what's going to happen when people have weddings. But who cares? The outside venue was even nicer than the inside venue somehow. And it was perfect. It was an incredible weekend. You guys should be very, very proud of yourselves, I think. And whoever did a majority of the planning of that,
Well, you know who did that.
which I believe is your wife now, and first wedding person.
Yeah. A2.
A1.
Okay.
Susie.
Susie. Thank you. Shout out Susie.
Shout out
Thanks, Suze.
Susie was a wedding day planner director, executor thing.
Sure, executive.
And she was a good human. Felt like she had good intentions.
Very much so.
Felt like she understood everything that was going on. We're not an easy crew just to tell exactly what to do. We get it. We know what we're supposed to be doing. And we'll get it right. Like, we'll get it right. And we're not going to be any disrespectful, even though you could do some research on the internet and think that we would be big-time assholes at these things. It's like, yo, I think 7 out of 8 of us had tears in our eyes whenever Nick was getting married.
Oh, yeah.
Connor did an incredible job.
He did.
So
Good
good.
time.
Crushed it. Absolutely unbelievable.
You did an
Thanks for the
absolutely
opportunity.
incredible job, Connor, and we'll dive into that in a little bit. But A1, Susie, very nice to us. All of a sudden, mid-rehearsal, out of nowhere, this blonde one shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah, who the hell are you?
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
She was
5-star
literally-
general.
She was literally talking to me. Middle of this rehearsal, like, we're just kind of standing there and they're eyeballing it, and it's going to be a completely different spot anyways because there isn't anything set up. So they're trying to figure out all the mathematics of it, and it's cool. We're just having a quick conversation over here. She comes over, boom, pops out of nowhere, maybe out of the bathroom. I don't even know where she came from. We had not seen her for the hour and a half that we were there. She comes in, all right, shoulder width apart is where your feet will be. Hand, left over right, lock it in. Let's go. And we're like, lady, is this, Carly, is this a member of your family? Oh, this is one of the wedding day planner executors. Like, poof. So is this a good cop, bad cop situation, or are you just a miserable human?
Felt like it.
We didn't see her yet again until she took our bottle of Jameson.
That's right.
Bingo.
She took our bottle of Jameson wedding day. This
Yep.
lady comes in, give me that. Not allowed to have that. Well, who are you?
It's a groom.
Who is this lady? So then the other wedding person obviously goes and grabs that thing for us. We had a great time.
We did.
Great time.
Unbelievable.
But boy, that came out of nowhere. I did not expect that second wedding lady to yell at us. I'd say that was the only time where I felt uncomfortable through 4 days. And I think that's an impossible task to pull off in 2023 when it comes to weddings, especially with how many fucking people were there.
Yeah.
They did a great job, Ty.
Yeah,
Great job.
it was unbelievable. Like you mentioned too, the venue. I mean, it almost felt like they were getting married in like the 1920s or something.
Legit.
That atrium underneath there, the old train station. You know, like I've been to Pittsburgh a couple times, but obviously not intimate with like the certain, but you go in there, the architecture of it. It really was. I mean, it felt like you were transported into another time. And then the weather was beautiful on top of it. It would just,
Follow up, Nick, the suits, toxic, sorry. We're so sick.
top notch.
Clean.
Top notch.
I'm glad you guys liked them, dude. You guys looked like $1 million out there.
You did. Look you looked fantastic. Obviously, shout out to Carly for getting you that watch right before you go out there.
Yeah.
This dude was taking links out of a watch before day of his wedding.
Yeah.
Tiny little hammer.
Yep.
Tiny little thing was taking links out of this watch, put it on his hand. It looked remarkable. The setup was great. Bride looked wonderful.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
She looked very happy, right? I mean,
She was beyond ecstatic with how everything went, and she was very thankful for you guys for all the support and everything.
tears from both Nick and Bride.
Yeah, it was nice.
Which is good.
Good.
I was bawling like a baby.
Have to.
You looked awesome. That was cool. That was a cool moment to see. Seeing the whole family, seeing everybody back from Plum was
A lot
great.
of people, yeah.
You know what everybody said though?
What's that?
The guy that isn't from Plum, Connor.
Well, that's not true, but
What isn't true?
I am from Plum. We all know this. We can give it up now.
You were at a We're All Mustangs Here fun meeting.
Bingo. Exactly. Giving back to my community.
And did you make a sandwich at Rudy's Subs?
Yeah, I believe I did. Steak and cheese. Thanks a lot.
Did you swing by the high school?
I actually didn't get a chance to swing by the high school.
Oh, for case.
Interesting.
We had some other commitments, and obviously, the most important thing was that we are all Mustangs Fund meeting. Obviously, I had to be there.
That was a fun thing to kind of figure out about.
Yeah, that was
So
fun.
we've given $1.6 million back to Plum, pretty much.
Good bit.
Just found that
That is
out.
a good bit.
Went through the Excel spreadsheet.
good
Phil
bit.
had CFO Phil, who looks so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He had a flavor saver at the barbershop the day of it. So everybody saw that photo of him with that fucking mustache, and he's properly jocked right now.
Yeah,
He is properly
yoked.
jocked.
Properly jocked right now because he's getting ready for a triathlon. So he's been swimming. He's been adding upper body into his life as opposed to just, I'm going to run and run and run and run. So he is like properly jocked right now. So he looks so cool. He had a flavor saver that I guess the barber, shout out to Mr. Mister.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That's right.
Best haircut ever.
That was an incredible barbershop.
Yeah.
It was.
That was an incredible barbershop. That was a cool moment. Nick running out of barbershop day of so everybody can get some lineups and haircuts and everything like that. Great move, especially at Mr. Mister. That place was awesome.
Yeah.
Only complaint, and you had an Iron City at 10 a.m.
Couple of them.
Bugging.
You weren't the only one. There was a lot of people.
Hell
Red eye.
yeah.
A red eye too. Not fucking. We're not talking light here. We're talking straight out of the Allegheny. Fucking red eye.
Which was right across the street from where we were staying. It was beautiful where we were staying. Aux cord on fire.
Oh,
yeah,
my
flames.
God.
No Mac Miller, but flames.
Yeah, that was interesting. Certainly a conversation. The guy that owns the barbershop alongside of his wife, the guy, maybe coolest looking human. No offense to Back Porch Barber, our barber,
Right.
who's a cool looking person.
Yeah.
Or anybody that works down at that coffee shop downtown that was near our old
Quills.
Or Quills.
Yeah.
I've seen some cool looking humans, I feel like, over the last couple of years. You know what I'm talking about. Sweet tats.
Yeah.
Hair's always great.
Yep.
The shirt and pants combo, not normal, but sweet. And then there's boots or great shoes on there. I've seen incredible looking humans. Earrings, gauges, weird placed earrings.
Yep.
Okay, that happens. It's like, you look so fucking cool. I want to let you know, this is what you're attempting to do. You pulled it off. You look so cool. This dude, Michael, that owns Mr. might be the coolest fucking guy, coolest looking guy I've ever seen in my life.
Unbelievable.
Had a pierced cheekbone.
Yeah.
Right here.
Like a stud.
Diamond. Perfect hair.
Yeah, he gave it to you.
He didn't give me his hair, but how could you with how perfect his fucking hair was? I did have to redo my hair after he did my hair because he thought that I was as cool looking as him. I am not. I need to do different stuff than what you're doing with your hair. He had these tats, the way he decked, so cool.
Oh, the glasses.
Yeah.
Dude, he had the Six Flags.
Yeah, Six Flags guy.
The Six Flags guy. Yeah, he had those glasses.
Yeah.
He looked so cool. So he had Nick in the middle of it. There were 6 barbers pretty much. And the one that did Phil, back corner, said that CFO Phil's face was the hardest face he's ever had to shave in his life because Phil's, first of all, he's had a full beard since like 6th grade. Okay, that's what Phil is. 5 o'clock shadow is actually about Phil. Like shaves in the morning, has a beard by the afternoon, and his hair grows in every different direction. Like if he was one of those wrestlers or like an MMA person, his face would be able to be used as a weapon because of how fucked up all of his hair is and how strong it is.
Hell yeah.
So this guy plucked every fucking piece of hair off this guy's face,
with
pretty much,
tweezers
and neck. And then whenever it was able to do it, because if he would have just shaved it, I guess it would have broke. It would have been like irritated to fuck. So this guy's plucking his face. He has a flavor saver at one point. He looks like the Anonymous mask, the V for Vendetta mask.
Yeah,
sure.
He looks so cool.
So cool.
So cool. And then I think the barber just shaved it. Literally, we haven't been able to point blame at anybody yet. Phil was supposed to look cooler than this somehow.
Yep.
And Phil didn't say no. Phil's wife didn't say no. I don't think Nick said no.
We were all
cheering.
yelling yes.
I don't think any of us said no. And then all of a sudden, I go back there 2 minutes later. He's just got a really awesome mustache.
Right.
So Phil could have had a brand new Phil face and looked even better, but he was the one to put the Excel spreadsheet together for the We're All Mustangs Here fund because he's boots on the ground back there, as is Keith Nonnenberg, who is currently a coach or a teacher in Plum, was whenever I was in Plum as well. And then Eddie Edwards, who's now an agent, was my first agent from Plum High School. He was back in town. So we had a meeting, like a pseudo yearly annual meeting for the We're All Mustangs Here fund, which is a fund that we put together to kind of give money back to the athletes of Plum. We have given thus far $800,000 to the youth leagues in Plum.
Nice.
The Plum Youth Football League
PMFA
has gone on to win a couple championships.
No big
Let's
deal.
go.
Let's go. I think that there's a lot of participation up, which is what we're kind of hoping for. New gear, new everything. Like hoping more kids play sports and stick with sports. Like, hey, you come play sports, you get sweet shoes. Hey, you come play sports, you get sweet jumpsuit. Hey, you come play sports, you're going to be able to have like the greatest technology that you could possibly have. Hey, if you come play sports, you can be able to have everything that other people are able to have and more in Plum. That was kind of the goal of it. $855,000 to the high school.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, the teams. Yeah, it's been pretty interesting. We got a new athletic director there. We have not really worked with the school much. We've been through 3 athletic directors, I think, since we have launched our
Fund.
yeah, and that's why we handle it all. You know, we don't let Plum really handle any of it. No offense to anybody in Plum. A lot of great people in Plum. And that's what I was about to say about the wedding. I got to meet so many people that have kids at the high school or kids coming up through the thing. And everybody was so incredibly kind to me and nice. And it's like, hey, we're making a real impact over there. And CFO Phil is the boots on the ground for that entire thing. So not only does he look cool, but he's also the one that kind of has to manage all of it. He gave me that Excel spreadsheet. I was like, holy fuck. And Connor was like, we've given how much back to our high school? I'm like, Connor, you did not go to our high school.
700,000, I think, went to the hockey team, right?
Well, that is interesting because Phil is the coach of the hockey team. He had to send a request into the fund.
Yeah, they have the best
wow.
coaching gear, you can say.
No, see, the coach's gear has actually been quite an issue with this fund.
What?
You know, that is what we have learned. We've had to put on a little bit more guidelines, yeah. Because we either have the coach or the booster, head of the booster, be the one to put in a request. You just send an email. What do you want? How do you want it? Why do you want it? How do you think this makes athletes' lives better? Which is like the main important thing. And then they send it in there. And then they have to get a quote from a place on how much it would cost for what they want. Which we should have known this. We're too naive at the beginning. Had to transfer it into 2 quotes because there was actually companies in Plum that all of a sudden were like, I don't want to say getting started, but kind of starting businesses. And it's like, okay.
Meeting their quota for the year.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we had to get a couple different quotes, but we've been able to help a lot of businesses, I think. And with the quotes, being able to make it competitive and kind of use as much money as possible to go to the kids as opposed to businesses and let adults fuck it up, which is kind of what we've been trying to get in there. It has been a remarkable journey, and I'm very pumped about it. That was one of the greatest feelings I've had whenever I learned what all we've been able to do. And I see it all, and I kind of look at every email, but they're kind of handling it. You know, like they're kind of a part of it. If I see something I don't like a tone from a coach in an email or something like that.
Or like a $200,000 parka or something that they might want.
Yeah, bingo. Yeah, there's some coaches that have been like, hey, we need, all our coaches need new, whatchamacallit. Here's the top of the line stuff. We want to look cool. It's like, I understand that, but also like in the spirit of the fund here. Like let's spend some of that money. Maybe let's not get it all. We'll figure it out as we go. Some people, just assume that we're going to pay for stuff, so they ran up a tab and then just said, hey, we need reimbursed for this. That ain't how it works.
No.
Okay, so we can't do it. We're not like a loan for you either. We'll be making decisions around here with our money, but also go do whatever you got to do. There was one place we paid for them to go take like big bus, I think, and hotel because they made it to States, which is exactly what should happen. And they had the right idea. And once again, this is none of the students. It's always just the adults that fuck everything up, it seems like. They needed to tip the bus driver that I got, obviously, that we got for them. So they sent another follow-up email day of, hey, can we get 100 more bucks so we can do it? It's like, hey, can you guys find?
You guys could probably scratch together
There's
100 bucks.
There's 50 people on there. Can we give $2 each? So it's like all those little things that we're kind of figuring out. CFO Phil, Keith, and Eddie are kind of navigating so incredibly well. I'm very, very proud of it, and I think we're going to continue to help out Plum for a long, long time. And hey, listen, if you're in sports in the Pittsburgh area, you're pretty good.
Come on there.
Don't be scared to move into Plum.
Hell yeah.
We got some good shit going. Wouldn't mind taking care of you. Have a good time. Now, the coaches might not have the top of the line, jackets on.
Sure.
So that'd be a little bit.
That might change.
And, bus drivers on buses might not get tipped, I guess, properly, but there's real growth happening. I'm very proud of it. And Connor was there for the whole meeting, even had input.
Wow.
So Connor had input in the meeting on how the fund's going, as did my wife. It's a real team effort. You are an honorary Mustang.
Wow. I can't believe you just said that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, honorary is the real thing, though, because you're not actually from there.
No. Oh, no. I thought you were
I just said you were still wrong.
I thought you were saying honorary member of your class, but I'm still a member of the Mustang community. But the one thing, too.
There was 5 different classes of Mustangs at this wedding.
Yeah.
What grade did Mark graduate? Do we know?
I think he was right before my time, so I think he was 2008.
All right.
2009.
There was yours, there was mine, there was my brother's, there was
mine.
Billy's little brother.
There's like 8 generations of Mustangs out there.
a lot.
Hey, baby Nick, we love you, pal.
Hell yeah.
Hey, boy, Nick.
Thank you, pal. Appreciate it. Thank all you guys for coming. Everybody played a little part. Everybody had a little fun. Ty and Diggs for staying up there with me as well. Zeet got to introduce everybody
That was awesome.
at the reception. You got everybody's name right. That was big. Foxy was doing some videography work, and Bruce was getting drunk back there somewhere.
Yeah, Bruce was handling vibes, though. I mean, it was good to see Bruce.
Bruce also was pissed because he thought he was going to be the one cutting the cake for Nick and Carly. So he actually started crying at the table.
Bruce does cut a good cake.
He does.
How did he get to that point? Nick lied to him?
Well, no, Bruce was kind of moping all week, like, well, everybody else in the office has something to do for your wedding. What am I going to do? And then he kind of shouldered in and basically said, like, hey, actually, you know what? We can have bygones be bygones. I'll just cut the cake for you with Carly. You can stand up there next to me, but I'll cut the cake. I'll put it in her mouth. I'll do all that kind of stuff. And then I'll be okay with everything that happened.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out Bruce then for that.
This is the kind of vicious bullying that started at Plum High School in that hallway.
Whoa.
What are you talking about?
Whoa.
Jeez.
I was never part of that. I was nice to everybody. I was just kind of do-si-doing through my day mostly. Bruce, we appreciate you being there and being good vibes. Foxy was stepping on toes to the wedding video person a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's always going to happen.
I was watching little interactions because they were in the middle of taking photos of Nick and Carly, you know, the professional photographers and professional video people. They were doing their thing, and it was outside the venue, taking pictures. Lights were still out. Cocktail hour.
Right.
I believe DJ Griff was on the piano, killing it.
Crushing.
Him and DJ TJ absolutely killed it.
Ripped it up.
But the video guy was making his own video, okay, and then the camera person was doing their thing. Then here comes Evan Foxy, drink in hand, sunglasses on, looks so cool.
So cool.
He takes his iPhone and he walks right up, and then he walks all the way back, and then he just walked away or whatever, and I'm like, oh, yes. And I watched it. I looked at the cameraman. Cameraman does like, what's that guy all about? And then gets back into his job, and then they got 2 more hours of photos, and Foxy's back on the drinking scene already. Can't wait to see what you put together, Foxy.
Yeah, Nick asked me to get a couple quick videos, but yeah, yeah, Nick already posted some of that guy's videos. He does great work. I actually said the Instagram story that Nick had up, I was like, I'm stealing that concept. Great concept. So I don't know why everyone's got to be
Foxy steals this guy's shot that day, and now he's stealing his thoughts.
That's
my fault. I asked Foxy to take a video or 2 for me because I didn't want to be on my phone all day, and
Smart.
I didn't warn the other video guy that.
There's always beef there.
Yikes.
Well, and you
There
left
shouldn't be.
You left out a huge part after Foxy did his whole entire thing while he was walking by the guy. He said, "That's how you do it, chump." And then he continued
with
on.
those glasses.
I never said that.
You were over there.
I was over
I
there.
never
yeah.
said that.
Yeah, you were over. I was not.
I heard him say that. And Foxy just wearing a fucking t-shirt to a wedding.
He looks so cool.
He did. He did.
All right, joining us now is a man who would have came to the wedding, but he didn't.
Right.
Nope.
He was invited to the wedding, didn't come to the wedding, which is alarming because it was an open bar.
Yeah.
And this guy loves those things. There was a lot of who's who at this wedding as well.
Ton of them.
This man could have made Mark Madden a new source of his. This man could have made Rupper a new source of his. This man could have made AQ, Pac-Man, D-Bot, Ty Schmidt, many others his new source. But instead, he rode horses because that's one of his jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, senior insider for the NFL, the network that the NFL owns, the website that the NFL owns, and the streaming service, NFL Plus. Host of the Insider Show, which is a T-shirt punditry driven show by the insiders of the NFL Network. He, Tom Pelissero, and Garofalo, who broke massive news this morning. Host of the weekly wrap-up, the Rap Sheet and Friends, us being friends, he being Rap Sheet. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rappaport. Ian, didn't see you at the wedding. Very nice of you. Do you want us to tell Nick to go fuck himself, or would you like to say that now?
I was not invited. And I know you said on the show, no, hold on. You saying to me on Thursday, like, hey, you should come. That's not an invite. You know what an invite is? Save the date.
Oh, you want a whole song and dance?
Come on.
We're not recruiting you. Okay, do you want to come or not?
Save the date. You got to save the date first. Then you get the invite. You RSVP. There's a method behind this.
Not here.
I would have come. I wasn't doing anything. I would have come.
There's numerous chairs available. Tech Joe came in sweats.
That's right.
I mean, there was a lot of...
Anybody could have came.
I mean...
how was the food, by the way?
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it was very good. Very good. There was a cookie table, too.
Game changer.
They were unbelievable. I was eating shit that I don't normally like. Oh, what's that, a coconut cookie? I hate coconut. Let me see that thing.
Get it.
Oh, my God, it's delightful.
Love coconut.
There was another one that I tried, pumpkin roll, maybe?
Oh, yeah. Pumpkin Swiss roll.
That's her best work, too, that pumpkin roll.
I normally am not a big pumpkin Swiss roll. His Italian Aunt Tina, I guess saying his Italian would be kind of double. I asked his dad right before I spoke to him at the thing. I said, hey, Frank, are you 100% Italian? He goes, no, my parents moved over here. I'm like, oh, but you are 100% Italian. He's like, yeah, but I'm not from Italy. That's how fucking Italian.
That's great.
Yeah, you know, that was the answer he gave. That family was stupendous. You missed a great one. And you said fuck you to Nick and Carly. Whoa. You were invited.
Yep.
I mean, that's just,
fine.
We'll hold this over your head forever. AJ didn't come either. So don't worry about it. That's much bigger conversation that's coming down the road. Let's talk about what you broke this morning, though, alongside Tom Pelissero. We have some questions about the numbers. We haven't talked about it literally until you got on here because you and Tom were the ones that broke some of the biggest news that this offseason is going to see. Jalen Hurts agrees to a 5-year extension with the Philadelphia Eagles worth $170-some million at signing, and then $255 million in total in this tweet. And then in another tweet, it said $274 million. What is the actual number? How does this whole thing go? And what are your thoughts on this deal happening before Herbert, before Burrow, and obviously before Lamar Jackson, Ian Rappaport?
Okay, let's get to the numbers first, because all of those numbers are right. There's just different ways to look at it, different ways to digest it. It is a contract extension, so he's already got 1 year. He already got 1 year in the books. You add 5 more. The value of those 5 next year is basically, like any extension, pre-negotiating your next contract. 5 years, $255, right? So then you add that to the 1 year that he's already got. You put all of that together, and that's how you get the 260, whatever number that.
255.
Right. That's how you get the 255 number that Tom mentioned. There's also the incentives, $15 million in incentives. So the total value could be 274.3 through 2028. That includes all of the money. On the extension, the important numbers are 255, which is $51 million per year, the new highest paid player in NFL history.
Congratulations, Jalen.
Yeah.
Richly deserved. Almost $180 million in guarantees. That includes injury guarantees. Money he's going to get if he's injured and for some reason can't play. $110 million fully guaranteed at signing. Those are the key numbers for this deal. It is a really, really nice deal. It sets a new bar. Also, as always with contracts, especially a quarterback contract, probably means that Burrow and Herbert are going to go next and over him. That's just the way it works, which is why I think for the Eagles, getting it done before those guys was imperative. And it also leaves room for them to build, which I know, around him, which is something that was important to Jalen.
Okay, so let's follow up on a couple of these. As soon as they get to the Super Bowl, they decide that they're going to do this with him because he's a second rounder on a rookie contract. This kind of came out of nowhere and have Nicole, I believe, from Clutch Sports. Shout out.
Yep.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Agent Nicole Lynn, I believe, is the social media handle. I should have done a little bit more research. She's a dog. Her and the Philadelphia Eagles have been talking for how long, and how have we not known about any of this? I feel like that's rather large news.
Her and the Eagles have been talking for probably about 2 months. Really so I think the Eagles identified probably pretty early on last season when Jalen finished really strong the previous year, so 2021. And there was some, I remember talking on our pregame show, the Eagles view Jalen as a franchise quarterback. They probably knew at the end of last year. And then we all could tell, the public, he was balling. This guy was good. And so it's all right, well, if he's that good, he's a second rounder, only has 1 year left. He's going to get paid. So I think they identified this pretty early. They've been talking for a couple months. It's been, somewhat intense negotiations, but very amicable. It's, this is big money you're talking about. It is something we've kind of known that was on the radar because when Jeffrey Lurie was talking to us at the owners meeting, he said a Jalen contract could get done fairly soon. And that was about 2.5 weeks ago.
So was that all off the record? He said that on the record?
No, on the record.
How did we miss that?
It was kind of at the end of the owner. I think he spoke last and talked to only the Philadelphia local media. And so, it kind of did go under the radar a little bit.
We should have got that. That's something we should have caught. Yeah. Right now, Gumpy's up in Canada going, how the fuck I missed that?
Fucking way.
How did I miss that? So congrats to Jalen, obviously, and the Eagles, and Agent Nicole Lynn for being a fucking boss there. Largest contract in the history of the NFL. I believe largest contract a female has ever negotiated ever.
Hell yeah.
I believe
in sports.
In sports, okay? In sport, obviously in sports, we apologize. Obviously, there's hundreds of billions of dollars happening out there. The next conversation is an easy one to have immediately upon seeing Jalen get paid. Lamar Jackson's deal, right? This is what Baltimore will just say, hey, here's the deal. He's made it to a Super Bowl. You haven't. We still have a lot of faith in you. He's getting paid much earlier than you are. Here's the deal. Is that kind of how this is going to work? And is that how we see this happening?
So last year, before the season, the Ravens offered Lamar Jackson a deal that in APY, so average per year based on new money, did not match this. This is 51, that was 50. But in a lot of
133 guaranteed versus 174 guaranteed.
Right.
Yeah.
In a lot of other, it's 133 fully guaranteed versus 110 fully guaranteed in Jalen's deal. So actually, like the Ravens deal compares pretty nicely to this deal.
Interesting.
Actually,
so
like
whenever we read that one, it said 170 some million. And whenever we read the Lamar report, which is only coming out from the Ravens side, which we assume is accurate, it said 133. So that seems to be 41 million off. But you're saying
so they're actually let me find it. So there's a person, what's her name, Sarah Ellison, on the Twitters.
Shout out, Sarah.
Who actually kind of broke it down based on it's SG Ellison is if you want to look. I believe her breakdown comparing the two deals is accurate. If you want to throw it up here at some point.
Yeah, it doesn't find it right now.
This is I do believe the Ravens will probably adjust and use this to help get Lamar done. But the deal they offered him was pretty strong. I mean, look at those numbers. Right? So total value
200 million. Lamar Jackson's total guarantee was 200 million. We know that.
I believe that includes a kicker that would have kicked it in year 2, but obviously you're not going to cut him after 1 year. So I believe that is essentially the total guarantee.
Really? I don't think we've ever heard that.
That was the discussion we had between the virtual and the actual guaranteed, and that's what we were saying.
Yeah, but it was like 100.
Yeah. It was like a $65 million difference between what was actually guaranteed and then what the number they were saying.
I don't know. It was 200 million was the guaranteed. Now it feels like we've gotten a lot wrong. The Ravens have offered Lamar Jackson $200 million guaranteed.
Yeah. I mean, they've and
that's
then
news.
I
don't know why we're acting like.
Why do we suck so bad? You hear me?
No, because
how do we suck so fucking bad? We missed the Jalen. Lori said a deal's coming around corner, and we just didn't even listen to it. And then Lamar's thing happened.
He said 133 without an agent, though. It was never like, hey, they offered me $200
million. We got to change a lot.
The 133 was on a shorter deal. I believe that was on a 3-year deal.
So that's news. We did not hear that. 133 million over 3 years. That's not a bad deal
at all.
That's not a bad deal at all, business-wise, if we wanted to talk. That seems like not a bad idea for what's going on, Diggs.
Are these confirmed?
Yeah, what's going on? SG Ellison's. Hey, we need to start following SG Ellison.
Yeah.
How come?
That was a good. I do believe I'd have to look at Jalen's deal. I've not seen the actual deal, but I believe those numbers are accurate. I ran them by someone who would very much know, and they said yes, these are accurate.
I'd like to go on the record. And I think Lamar's a 6-year. This is a 5-year extension, though, with 1 year left. So that'd be 6 years altogether. Mm-hmm. So his was on a 6-year deal. Here we go. Baltimore beatdown, March 14th. Lamar Jackson turned down $200 million guaranteed deal back in September. Lamar Jackson uses a cap gift that seems to say that's bullshit. So what are you talking about, Ian? And we don't know her, SG Ellison. Mm-hmm. That was breaking news until now we hear from the other side. It says, cap, bullshit, yeah. I believe is what happens here.
First of all, is that what that... I have trouble reading the gifts. I'm not 100% sure what that...
Right.
See, you're a part of the problem of why people think people are racist whenever they're using gifts. You know what I mean? Because you're like, I don't get it. What do you mean?
Maybe the gift means, why would I have accepted that? Come on, bro.
No, he has a bunch of caps on, Rap.
Lamar Jackson turned down $200 million guaranteed back in September. Cap.
Yeah.
God.
Not the
cap.
Like I was saying, I believe the guarantees is that would have kicked in the second year. So I don't know that it was 200 guaranteed upon signing. I believe there was a later year trigger, if I remember correctly. So it's right and it's not right. Literally everything else with contracts.
Okay, so we would like it to be known. Well, remember, you changed the way you reported contracts when Aaron Rodgers' deal came out.
That's right.
Because of the learning that I've done on the Pat McAfee Show.
Well, not the learning, just hey, you kind of put guys in a bad spot with their family, their friends, their community, their team, their fans. I mean, whenever you know what I mean? There's a lot of things whenever you're just throwing out a lot of these numbers. But to learn that he turned down $200 million, which from our gift readings appears to be cap.
Not true.
We might be wrong. We don't know. But if that was the case, we'd like to let the Ravens know that we've been on your side. If you offered $200 million and then more money, $50 million guaranteed on there, or $50 million a year average, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
Lamar should accept it. Doesn't sound like Lamar thinks that's what happened, but maybe there's a miscommunication. Hopefully they'll be able to get it figured out with Jalen's deal. Speaking of Lamar, Connor has a question for you, Rap.
Yeah, Rap Sheet. Is it true, the report from Mike Lombardi, that Lamar went to the Ravens and said, hey, go get D-Hop and OBJ, and the Ravens went back and said, hey, we can't afford both, but, we'll get OBJ done. Is that real? And then do you think that also helps the fact that Lamar hasn't yet signed his franchise tag and that now might?
I had not heard that. I'm not saying it's wrong because I know they considered both players. So I didn't know if that's true, that makes sense. I just can't independently confirm that because I do know that, obviously Lamar wanted Odell. They paid Odell a lot of money. I mean, it's a really strong deal for Odell, and I think it's a strong sign for Lamar if that is true that they are listening and obviously want to give him weapons. The Diop thing, I imagine they considered it. I don't know that it got much traction because that's one where it's like if you're, if you're DeAndre Hopkins and your contract's going to get adjusted, like that probably affects the trade price. How much would the Cardinals have been willing to trade him for? Like the trade is more complicated. So I do know the Ravens considered it, but if that was at Lamar's request, I think that would make sense too.
Odell Beckham Jr. to the Ravens, $15 million, $18 million in total. Seems like they were very driven to sign Odell Beckham, right? As opposed to everybody else. It was probably Go ahead.
Yeah, that was the biggest offer he got, definitely.
Okay, sick. Okay, sweet. Lamar and him are at a bar, down there in Miami, celebrating afterwards. And we don't know if that's cap or not, but we did hear that his thoughts on what was the offer. This is another thing where an agent would be able to just get this. Hey, Lamar, Drew Rosenhaus came on the show and pitched being your agent.
Right.
And we've said this a couple different times. Listen, you negotiate your own deal however the hell you want to do it. It's your business, okay? We're buying the fucking entire gym, the TEG.
That's right.
We're buying the entire gym.
Hell yeah.
We'd like to support you and everything. If you could just give us some details of shit, that would be 133, 3 years fully guaranteed, but I need an agent. Oh. Yeah, that's from that tweet, right? That's from the same day, I think, the whole thing happened. With your tweet that came out. I mean, that's not a...
And he'd be able to double dip. What, he'd be 29?
At the time, yeah. And if it's fully guaranteed, 3 years of money, 100-some million. And it should have got up to 150, though. Probably what he was thinking, 140. I don't know what he was thinking.
I think that probably is what he was thinking, yeah.
Uh-oh.
What? Oh, this is all from March 14th. So if you could just... Lamar, if you could just sprinkle some information to anybody, doesn't have to be us, literally anybody, because Lamar Jackson Entertainment I-775 was going to release a video a couple weeks ago, and we were going to potentially know everything that happened. It never came out. So if you would like to just tell us where we're wrong or whoever, you remember that?
Yeah, that did never come out, right?
Dude, I was so excited. I was very pumped. I'm like, all right, this dude's fucking handling his business.
Audio's okay.
Here we go. We're able to do this. We haven't got anything because that video's never been released. So, kind of an interesting spot here for this whole thing. If you'd like to tell us, please tell us.
We'll listen.
Help your case.
Ian, why don't you reach out to him and get some information like you do to these agents?
Yeah, there you go.
Why don't you fucking do your job? Why don't you do your job, Ian?
I have tried.
Well, also,
why at the club with him and OBJ?
Yeah, why aren't they pounding
I would go to the club.
Why aren't the Ravens pounding the drum of $200 million too?
Yeah.
Like, hey, we offered this guy $200 million. Why isn't that what they say every single week?
Standard NFL contract.
Yeah.
That is a good question. And I believe the answer is they really like Lamar. Respect. They really, really like Lamar.
Oh, so they're not trying to rub anything publicly.
Like they basically sort of like organizationally, and this is not this is my feel from dealing and talking with them, like they don't want to go back and forth and prove something against him because they like him.
Got it.
And they want him to sign long term, and they want this to be over, and they want him to be their quarterback. So there's no point in that. They may lose the public battle, but as long as they win the Lamar battle and that he still likes him and wants to be their quarterback, that's kind of the biggest win. So I think that's why they haven't spoken out, because it doesn't really do them any good with the player.
Okay, let's pivot away from Lamar and Baltimore, and congrats to Jalen and Philly, and also Herbert and Burrow. At least we have a standard of where you're probably going to be. Burrow probably going to be, Cincinnati Bengals going to be like, hey, got to the Super Bowl, you got to the Super Bowl. We're kind of doing our whole thing. I'll be interested to see how the Chargers one goes with Herbert and if they'll be able to handle Lamar. Speaking of quarterbacks, though, there's one being talked about a little bit in a different manner. Ty, go ahead, pal.
Yeah, Rap Sheet, in terms of the draft, it was basically from the national semifinals up through pro day until maybe a week ago, where everyone, CJ Stroud was a slam dunk. Everyone was talking about how good he was, and then Bryce Young kind of came up a little bit. It was always those guys 1A, 1B. But now it seems like some of the smoke screens and people kind of shitting on CJ Stroud is starting to come out. Have you heard all of this stuff in terms of his draft stock where they're saying maybe Houston isn't going to take him? He could, slide down and be like the third or fourth or fifth quarterback taken. Like, is his draft stock actually plummeting right now? Have you heard any of that? Or is that mostly just bullshit, you think?
Okay, so I have heard all of that. That does seem to be the hot rumor now with, and people ask me, like, is it possible the Texans don't take Stroud at 2? Anything is possible, especially, the Texans and Nick Caserio don't always look at things like everyone else. I just don't believe it. Like, I just don't. Like, from my information, the people that I've spoken with, all of that, like, I would be surprised if the Texans do not take their quarterback of the future at number 2. Most people I speak with believe it's Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, and then the others. Small gap, not like a huge gap, but they think it's those two. So if that's the case, if Bryce Young goes 1, Stroud should go 2. So, like, I hear all of this, and I get calls about it all the time because that's the season we're in right now. I just don't really believe it. And if it happens, I will say, like, yeah, I didn't see it, but I don't see it.
A lot of smoke there, right? That sounds like a lot of smoke coming out of there. Which is it coming from the Colts? Potentially sitting there at 4. Hey, C.J. Stroud, this guy he's not a good person. You don't want him on your team. That's kind of what's been coming out, like not coachable, and then like not sure they're on a quarterback. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Because we haven't heard any of this stuff before. And then you think back to people that have been a general manager in the NFL, they said it's lying season. Everybody's potentially right now trying to shift the odds in their favor. I'll be fascinated to see what the Texans do. They got a lot of power. Because let's say the Texans like a quarterback. Maybe it's not C.J. Stroud. Maybe it's another quarterback. With what you just said, how everybody you talked to says Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, then the others, they have another pick, don't they? Don't they have another pick?
12.
They have 12.
Yeah, the Texans. Go ahead.
But it's a risk because let's just say, let's say it's Anthony Richardson, right? This is just a hypothetical. This is not me reporting. Just saying, let's say it's Anthony Richardson.
But you have information that nobody else has. So every time you give your punditry, we have to go, this guy knows something. So just know that that's the world you're in, and I assume you know that.
Got it. I do.
All right.
Let's say the Texans take Will Anderson 2 and pass on a quarterback, right? At that point, it's all up for grabs because they can't control everything else that happens. They could try to trade up to 3 and take a quarterback then, and the Cardinals go, yeah, no, we're just going to trade with someone else. And, like, they might lose someone they viewed as their franchise quarterback. And, like, historically, if you like a quarterback, just take him. Like, everyone lost their minds when Daniel Jones went 6 to the Giants. Reality is they thought that was going to be their franchise guy.
Well,
it's earlier than people, like, just take it.
Well,
so, like, if you're the Texans, don't risk losing your quarterback.
Well, now you pay Daniel Jones. Saquon's not happy.
That's right.
Dexy's not happy.
Yep. Why?
So I guess Daniel Jones, good call at 6. He's had success. That's not his fault or the Giants' fault. And this last year was certainly his best year. I'm happy for him getting it all figured out. But there's been a lot of times where people have drafted a quarterback that's been theirs and they suck.
Yeah.
So it's like history says that numbers tell us a lot of these guys are going to suck. A lot of these guys aren't going to be guys, even though we're like people are going to trade up to 3, we assume, right? Especially with what the Texans are talking about. Let's say the Texans go with a defender.
Okay.
That one guy, Tyree
Wilson,
or whoever.
Sure.
Everybody's kind of talking about whoever it is. Then all of a sudden, that Cardinals pick, right, is
hot. Come on,
very big.
Hotter.
Very, very big. If a quarterback's sitting there and C.J. Stroud, that's why it's such a big deal with the C.J. Stroud news. It's being leaked by everybody.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
Then the report of like they might not take a quarterback because it could be the Cardinals cooking. Because Cardinals, all of a sudden, their pick becomes very valuable if that stuff's true. And then you look at them underneath, and I'm not saying Chris Ballard would do this, and Jim Irsay's already tweeted, we might, brother. Or we might, brother. Or maybe, brother. Or not. So,
you be the judge.
So that's what Jim's saying.
Yeah.
So maybe Jim is playing a little game of chess or poker behind the scenes. Maybe Chris Ballard's doing that. Maybe the Cardinals are doing that. We just have to remember that is possible here in the middle of draft time. And C.J. Stroud just has to sit on the other end of it, I guess, and just be like, that's not true.
Yep.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Hold up. How'd this start happening? What's this all about?
So bad.
It is. It's the world we're in, I guess. I don't want to say it's disgusting, but It's kind of disgusting.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
you just think
but-
about D'Amico Ryans too. Like he comes from San Fran, where they kind of view the QB differently, right? And who's San Fran's best player and one of Nick Bosa, who they took in the top 3 in San Fran. So maybe they do go with like the premier edge guy that was kind of the cornerstone of the Niners defense and trying to start it that way with Will Anderson.
Peter King had an article this morning where he said, like, it's going to be tough for the Texans to explain to their fans if they didn't take quarterback last year and they don't take quarterback at 2 this year if it ends up not working out well. But it is D'Amico's first year, so he's got some time. Texans fans have to remember that. Just because you guys have sucked for a bit, that doesn't mean that D'Amico's not going to be able to get some time here in the development of what they got going.
The last 2 head coaches only had a year, so.
Yeah, I guess you got 1 year. Casario said that he's not going anywhere, which is a big deal. Last question for you here, Rap. We know you're very busy, and we thank you for your time. Go ahead, Tony.
Rap, the Cardinals gave D-Hop permission to seek a trade. Are they going to do the same with Buda Baker?
No. I do not believe those situations are similar. So you're right. DeAndre Hopkins has permission to seek a trade, has been, discussing with several teams. We'll see if one happens in the next, it should be in the next week or so, certainly before the draft. I know there's been plenty of discussions, so we'll see if they can get to a price where the Cardinals are okay with. Buda Baker, it seems to be the opposite. So I learned about the trade request over the last several days, but this has quietly been a reality for Arizona for much longer.
Really?
He wants a new deal. And I do not believe the Cardinals want to trade him at all, which is what I told him. Like, we don't plan to trade you. We want to keep you. And, he is, if you watch Hard Knocks, the in-season, that's a great picture. Because that actually really encapsulates him. He is the heartbeat of that defense. That's the guy you want to build around, not you want to use, your second-round pick. Good use of gifts. You don't want to use the second-round pick to replace him. You want to build with him. So we'll see what happens, but I don't believe they want to trade him at all.
What was it? They just told him he's not worth the new deal? What was this GIF about? Because I know you probably understand what this GIF means, even though you said you didn't understand what the last one means. Yeah. This one was like, something happened, fuck him. What was it?
Yes, that one, I'm good on that GIF. The hat one, the cap one, this is a learning process. That they were not giving him a new deal. I think a lot of the times for first-time GMs, it's not just the actions, it's the precedent it sets. And so if Monty Ossenfort is giving, even though Buda Baker is awesome, this is just a viewpoint from Monty Ossenfort. If he's giving a star player a new deal with 2 years left, then he's thinking, is every star player going to want a new deal with 2 years left? That is kind of what plays into it.
Got it. I can understand that. You got to try to set a precedent one way or the other. It's all in how you deliver the message, though. And I assume the way it was delivered to Buda did not appreciate it, appears. Let's see if he gets Arizona back into his Twitter bio, back into his Instagram bio before the season starts, because obviously he's a massive piece of it all. Who knows what happens with D-Hop and Lamar? We do know what happened with Jalen, though. He got paid a certain amount of money that is either this number, or this number.
Right.
And we will find out later what it actually is. Yep. Right, Ian?
All of the numbers. All are true. Every bit of it.
You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, you can catch him on NFL Network literally all day today. He broke the news of Jalen Hurts alongside Tom Pelissero, who plays the guitar but hates kickers. Ian Rappaport. All right, $200 million guaranteed.
See, I just don't know if I buy that. We definitely would have talked about that. We've covered this Lamar thing from the front to the back, and we went over that exact.
So let's think about it more. So the 133 3 years, was that supposed to be a 6-year deal, 3 years worth of guarantee? So then he would still be on a bad contract for the last 3 years? Is that what he was thinking?
Or
was it just a 3-year deal? Yeah, but the voided thing still, if they want to keep you, they can keep you.
Yeah.
I believe that's how the voided thing.
Because 3 years, 133 is pretty damn good.
Not bad.
Fully guaranteed.
That's a big deal, yeah.
And then you get to hit it again.
If it was to go to 140, which if you're at 133, $7 million there, you think you could get that up to 140.
Yeah.
It'd be, 43 and a third.
Yeah, but that doesn't come anywhere close to average per year.
Yeah, it's 43 and a third to what Deshaun Watson is, yeah.
Yeah, but then you're 28.
Because Aaron's making 50 a year, technically.
Yeah, 3 year, 50.
Now, Jalen,
he's won
technically 51. Yeah,
Super Bowl 4 MVPs.
Yeah, and he hasn't really said that that's like the benchmark of importance, but that would make sense if he was like, nah, I want 150 over 3. Like, I'm not doing 133 over 3.
That's why the 200, if it was 200 over 5 with actual 4, that's a good deal.
Yeah, and that was before the season.
Deal. That feels like a good deal.
If that was before the season, maybe they've come down from that.
I don't know. How about Rap saying Baltimore has tried not to make this too public and be like, well, that's not true, because they don't want to piss off Lamar. I think they already did.
Yeah.
I think they already did.
And all this information getting out isn't good for him.
This one isn't. I mean,
Not at
we're
all.
bad at our jobs. Bro, what happened? How did we miss Jeff Lurie saying, because we'll get shit sent in there and we'll find stuff that has like 4 retweets from like small things. It's like, oh, this seems to be brewing. This seems to be a bit real. How did we let that one slip through, I wonder?
I don't know, because that would have been massive news. Like, massive news.
Yes. Jalen Hurts getting a new deal?
Yeah.
We're talking about Lamar. Oh, this sets precedent for Herbert and Burrow.
Exactly.
Boom. Didn't even think about Jalen. We're like, next offseason, next cycle will be the Jalen cycle. But instead, the Eagles are like, let's get this out of the way, meow.
I think we might have had it on here and talked about it because we started throwing Jalen into that category of Herbert, Lamar, and Burrow.
Because
we should have stuck with it.
That
was on us.
This would have been a contract year for Jalen, correct?
Yeah, he was going into his last year.
He didn't start.
Doesn't have a 5th-year option because he's a second rounder.
Yeah, didn't start playoffs, and then Super Bowl. I saw somebody tweet.
Yeah.
And this would have been
Congrats to him.
Yeah.
Huge
That's
contract.
a big-time fucking deal.
And smart by the Eagles.
Highest paid QBs in the NFL and new money average per year. Sweet. So many different ways to break this all down. Jalen Hurts, 51, 49 for Aaron. Kyler, 46. Patrick Mahomes, 45, but he's getting $440
Yes. Yeah.
million.
This gets changed every year, too, to create more cap.
Yeah, and Jalen Hurts' deal is only costing $5.3 million against the cap next year. So if your team's not doing a deal because of salary cap, that's all bullshit.
Yeah.
And I think 2024 not bad, 2025 not bad.
Yeah.
And then when 2026 comes around, guess what they'll do? They'll renegotiate it again if Jalen Hurts is their quarterback, and then they'll just keep kicking it down the road. But they'll have to answer at some point.
Yeah.
Unless Jalen plays for 15 fucking years.
And he might.
Which could happen.
Yeah.
And
very easily.
having that small of cap hits is going to allow them to sign Devontae Smith again.
What do you think Sirianni was thinking whenever he saw Jalen get the deal? Oh, it's a dog, yeah.
Make sure you throw a couple milk bones in with the with the pen so he can sign and eat milk bones right after because he's a dog.
Sirianni. What a dog, dude.
They're going to be good for a while.
Long time.
So long.
Yeah.
Long time.
How long's Kelsey going to play for, too? I mean, that's just a whole other thing. Oh, best center in the game. Yeah, right in front of Jalen. Offensive line's unbelievable. As long as Kelsey's there, we assume everybody else will probably stay, take deals, because that's the offensive lineman thing. Lane Johnson's getting paid a hilarious amount of money. Hasn't been healthy for a bit. As soon as he gets back on the field full time, they're only going to get better. And then they got 2 great weapons.
Yes.
Like 2, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Fantastic weapons.
Goddard, too.
Oh, yeah. Goddard's a dog.
Yeah. And they have a top 10 pick,
They have a
right?
top 10 pick this year. Yeah.
And they at 10, I think.
Yeah.
They actually have 10. People are talking about them getting a running back because they lose Miles Sanders. People are acting like Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to be around in the teens. Like, imagine the Eagles get another fucking weapon.
Yeah.
You know, like why not? With the way their offense goes. I mean, they got a couple running backs over there right now. You can find another one. I mean, Pacheco was found in the 7th round. Not saying that that's going to happen, but that's how people view running backs.
Yeah.
Running backs are like, yeah, there's a couple great ones, but you'll be able to find them around. There's enough, especially with this offensive system. If they load up on this fucking team and get more offensive weapons, with Sirianni doing his thing and Jalen around for a long time, the defense is unbelievable. They keep Darius Slay whenever he was potentially going to be on the move. They lose 2 big guys in the middle, but they'll be able to find somebody, we assume. This team's all the way back for the long haul. Congrats to the fucking Eagles and all the Johns over there.
3 big guys if you include Hargrave, who went to San Francisco. So maybe because they drafted Davis last year from Georgia. If they could get his buddy Jalen Carter at 10, if he slips to there, that would be they could have the interior D line good for the next fucking.
Well, and that's where Drew Rosenhaus said he's not visiting anybody outside the top 10. You know, he said, I have it on pretty good authority, Rosenhaus. You think this is my first draft? Come on. Had a guy traded last year. What are we even talking about is what Rosenhaus said. These people are talking like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm not having my client relive the worst day of his life all over the country. Why? Because the guy might pick 20? Get out of here. We're not going past 10. And that everybody heard that. There was like, oh, the Eagles have told Rosenhaus that if Jalen Carter's at 10, he's going to be a Philadelphia Eagle.
Or like they kind of have the luxury where it's like they're going to be so good anyway that like they can go with a guy whose upside might be crazy, and then if he doesn't work out, like people were saying Nolan Smith or whatever, where it's like, oh, he might slide a little bit, but athletically he's such a freak. It's like, hey, if we plug this guy in right away with who we have already, like he could have 14 sacks next year. Like they can kind of do whatever the hell they want.
Unplug it.
Let's say, is that in my headphones or through your mic?
I couldn't tell. I thought it was in my headphones.
Sorry, Ty. You were giving a great answer there. I was just seeing if this was working. Or if it wasn't.
I get it. Yeah. Long weekend. Got to do it.
It was unplugged. Yeah, I should have done it before the show started, actually. That's on me, bad planning. Speaking of bad planning, if you want to call the 5 Hour Energy phone line, we'd love to hear what you're talking about. 1-833-432-3663. 1-833-4-DA-DOME. We'll be answering some calls later in the program. Cannot wait to hear what people are talking about over the weekend. Great golf tournament yesterday.
Yeah. Playoffs.
The NBA playoffs took center stage. A lot of different teams kind of coming into the spotlight. A lot of injuries to crucial big-name players taking place. That video that we decided to utilize as our NBA news break for the people that are watching and following along, those are some big – John Morant, Giannis, Tyler Hero, Anthony Davis, It's like big names all over the place, which is what the NBA thrives off of. That's why the playoffs are such a big deal, because all the big superstars are playing on primetime TV pretty much every day or every single night. First day for these guys, a lot of them. Injury to the biggest stars, just boom.
First quarter.
Stunner to Giannis, back contusion, on the ground. John Morant, broken hand, they're saying. Giannis is potentially coming back for game 2. And then Tyler Hero comes through, broken hand. The guy's a shooter.
Yeah.
It was sad. There was numerous other people, too, that just got, like, banged up, roughed up. It's like, this is the time for the NBA to shine. These guys work all fucking year. 82 games to get into the playoffs, and then just a couple freak injuries overnight. It's like, that's no fun for the NBA or the playoffs or any of these guys.
And Hero broke his hand, actually ran to the locker room. Play was still going on. They had to tell him to get his ass back out there, runs back on the court, hits a 3 with his broken hand, and then finally gets pulled from the game.
Oh, so maybe we tore it all through this thing.
Yeah, they could. Giannis are going to have to, because they talked about it in the broadcast. That arena just went flat as soon as he left the game.
Yeah. Saw a lot of shots of around the arena of people very bummed out.
Oh, yeah.
That the number 1 seed, okay? This is the year. The Greek Freak.
That's right.
He's going to win it all. This city that is supported mightily. And we've seen videos of this fan base in the past when Aaron and Bakhtiari are chugging their brewhas. And the arena's always packed out. And Giannis has these incredible games, but nobody really pays attention because the playoffs is when the world is watching. And they have not won one yet. So this is something that they have to do if they want to prove themselves. First game of the playoffs after earning a number 1 seed. Sorry ass Miami's coming through.
Bad luck.
Jimmy Butler's hair looks sweet, but they snuck in the back door here.
That's right, playing game.
They just snuck in.
Barely won.
Tyler Hero gets hurt.
Right away.
Duncan Robinson's knocking down shots. And then they beat the Bucks, and Giannis is seemingly out indefinitely. What a heartbreaker.
Yeah, well.
They were zooming into people's faces around that arena. A lot of.
Not good.
Yeah.
Flat bill, 80-year-old man, 320.
Yep.
Sitting front row.
Cheese curds.
Doesn't even want to eat them.
Pissed.
Sad.
All year we worked our asses off to get here. We supported this team. This was supposed to be the year. And then literally our MVP gets hurt, freak accident, falls, hurts his back, can't play anymore. See you later. He's going to be back next game, I guess they're saying?
Yeah, that's what they're
Will he be a hundo anywhere near it? I doubt it.
No
Probably
chance.
NBA's tough sport. That's a very unfortunate. That's a very, very unfortunate situation.
Yeah, and they'll throw bodies at him and grind him down. But the other game too, last night I believe you watched.
Oh, Giannis has a ring? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
oh,
he's got.
Fuck it, never mind.
He's
already won.
Yeah, he had the one after the bubble. But still, in this day and age, you need a couple.
No, you don't. I didn't know he had one. Milwaukee won the fucking NBA championship?
Yeah.
See?
Oh, was that when he went and he got like 100 Chick-fil-A nuggets after they won?
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. We did cover that.
The 50-piece.
Yeah, because we were wondering what he was going to do to celebrate. Yes, and with his lady, he went through the. Yeah, I do remember that. I apologize, Miller. Fuck it. You guys already won one, okay?
Yeah, story's been written. You're good.
Sorry about it. Sorry this happened to your Giannis guy. Should have won another one. Basketball is rude sometimes.
Yeah.
If they don't go on to win this one, it'll be because of a freak back contusion accident where he's back. I didn't know you guys already won one. How about the fucking Clippers?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
How about
Unbelievable.
Eric Gordon was pulling up from the logo, just not even close to the rim.
Kawhi.
Not even Kawhi Leonard.
All the way back.
Torn ACL, a year ago. Never on TV ever. I don't think the guy ever plays. I don't remember a time where I turned on a game in the middle of the NBA season and the Clippers were on, and I was like, oh, I want to watch this. Why? Because Kawhi's playing or Paul George is playing or the people they paid. Paul George wasn't playing last night.
No, he's out the whole series.
Classic Clippers, like one person playing, one person up. They get a massive win in Phoenix.
Huge win.
How's that happen?
Well, especially with Devin Booker, who I know Bobby Carpenter loves, but that whole team feels as though they were ready to go. Everyone's picking the Suns to go all the way, too.
Well, Kevin Durant is a dog.
Dog.
They'll figure it out.
Him and Kawhi were just trading shots.
His hair looks amazing. Kevin Durant did his hair for playoffs. It looks very, very good. Seemed like he's locked in. They were undefeated up until yesterday with him on the court in Phoenix. Fun stat about yesterday's game, how it should be remembered.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook played best basketball he's played in 10 years. I am so fucking happy for that guy. Now, there's a Mark in here who doesn't like Russell Westbrook, who's spoke completely out of pocket earlier.
Completely.
When I talked about how happy I was for Russell Westbrook, I'm like, think about the weight this guy's had on his shoulders about being a terrible fucking basketball player. That's all anybody said. He comes in triple-double machine. This guy's a dog. He's the best. He's the best.
MVP.
Then there's a couple dramatic situations that take place, a couple team moves, and he sucks at basketball. This guy is terrible at basketball. This guy is broken. Cool fashion, terrible basketball player. He was getting absolutely slaughtered.
Killed.
Watching that game last night, he had some open threes. He shot them. They didn't go in.
That's okay.
Nowhere near going in. But I did like the fact that in his mind, he's like, fuck it. Let it eat.
Rip it.
And then on the defensive side,
That's what they
in
need
the
him for.
rebounding game, in the drive and dish, what he was doing, he took over that fucking game yesterday.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook took that game over yesterday. Kawhi's there, Devin Booker's there, Kevin Durant's there. Obviously, the Gorilla's in the building, the mascot for the Suns. There's a lot of superstars around there. Russell Westbrook took that fucking game over yesterday. I was so happy for him. And immediately after the game, I see a video, him walking in somebody's suite, maybe fighting him.
Yeah.
That happened at halftime.
Yeah.
He was having the best day he's had in years in basketball, and he said, fuck this. This guy needs to hear me. Tells the motherfucker, you need to watch your mouth. Yeah, right there. He should have hit that guy's food off his plate.
Stab it in sweet.
Then he bounces out, goes to the locker room. I mean, greatest day of all time for Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
The world remembered that Russell Westbrook is a phenom on the court. And he almost beat a guy up at halftime. I mean, what a day. What a day for old Russell Westbrook.
Almost had a triple-double. You beat the shit out of that guy. You got yourself a quadruple-double.
Boom.
Boom. Guard Kevin Durant most of the game.
Exactly. Well,
Old pals, obviously, we've talked about that. That conversation was heightened.
exactly. Like we were saying out there, Mitt, big, watch the game, don't watch the stats, which is what he hates the most. But then all he did was look at the box score and saw that Russ, he didn't shoot well. He was
3 for 20.
Yeah, 3 and 19, 3 20. That's not good. But you know what he did? Damn near had a triple-double, and he fucking grinded down Durant, which is all they needed him to do because Kawhi scored 38 or 34 or whatever it was.
There was a minute left, and the Suns were down 3, whatever it was. Standard offensive possession for the Clippers. Russell Westbrook fucks up offensive rebound. Boom.
14 more.
Reset the shot clock.
They come at it again. Russell Westbrook gets it, throws it off a guy's foot. Clippers get the ball again.
14 more.
We're down to like 30-some seconds, and the Suns haven't even touched the fucking ball.
I stole 2 possessions.
And then he's the one at the free throw line to finish that last possession, go up 3.
Makes it.
Yeah. And then
What a day for Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Fought a guy at halftime.
Yep.
Guarded Durant. Sealed the dub.
And at the
Russell Westbrook's back.
end of that game,
Love
too,
it.
he was the one that was covering Booker on their final possession, blocked, threw it off him.
He had a,
Clippers ball.
He had pretty much a Rondo stat line from those great Celtics teams.
Seriously, it was a big-time grinder game.
What they used to say, it was lowercase r, lowercase u, lowercase s, lowercase s, lowercase e, capital L, capital L, capital L, capital L. Now it's lowercase Russell, capital dub.
Exactly.
S-Brook.
That's right.
Welcome back, Russ.
Well said.
Go, Russ. Pump for him.
I don't know what's going to happen next game. I would assume Kevin Durant's going to go for 40
Good
next
chance.
game, if
Kawhi,
I had to guess.
Kawhi might, too. I mean, he was not missing many shots.
Yeah, he was back to the Kawhi that, like, I remember, what was that, like 10 years ago? Whenever he would, was that how long it's been? When was he in Canada?
2019.
Oh, God, feels like it was 10 years ago.
When was he in San Antonio?
Yeah,
Feels like it was 20 years
2016.
ago.
He's a playoff player. Happy he's back. Can't wait to see what takes place in the NBA. We'll obviously watch because there's not much else going on, and it is a little bit electrifying. Like watching the Joker play and then win by 29.
Yeah.
That was fun to watch.
Game wasn't close.
That dude was running point at whatever 7-4, and then he stopped at like the foul line. Fake bounce pass, spin move layup,
How
2
you
steps.
doing?
It was like the smoothest thing I've seen. I'm like 7'4" point guard, who's the best passer on the team. They're saying so they can't double him because if they double him, he'll find the open person, and He's never on television during the regular season.
Should be.
He's fucking awesome to watch play that Joker.
Yeah, incredibly skilled. Incredibly skilled.
And he makes highlight passes. He'll fucking do this one.
Oh, yeah.
He'll do that one. And he's like a wizard off the glass up there. Hey,
Unbelievable.
congrats to the NBA.
Yeah, they're doing it.
Go NBA. Good
Golf
start.
is good. Jordan Spieth just fucking couldn't put one home. We're talking millimeters away from a 20-1 paying off if you bet on Jordan Spieth before the RBC to go back-to-back. Fitz hits a 9-iron to like 6 inches on the third playoff hole. What a fucking ball that was. He'd feel so good. He's out of Northwestern, if you do recall.
That's right.
Made a friend with a guy named Daniel Rappaport because Fitz had no friends. And Rappaport said, hey, I'll be your friend. And Rapp's now on foreplay. Great work. Fitz just won another fucking tournament. An elevated one. Good for him.
Jordo gave that last putter a good roll, too. The one where Fitz knocked it to 6 inches, and then he had like a 25-footer. It was a good roll. Didn't happen.
Jordan Spieth has had this putt 3 times in the last hour. Oh, Fitz will knock that home. He's going to finish it, isn't he? Yes, he is. Golf is such an interesting thing.
It is.
It's the worst.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's the hardest game out there.
It's the rudest game.
It is rude.
Jordan Spieth had that turn he won. And then the ball turns a half an inch to the right. Actual rims out. Has a celebratory putter up. He just won a tournament. I don't know how many million. This was an elevated one, so a bigger purse. How many millions of dollars it was?
I think 3.6.
I did it. Fuck everybody.
Yeah.
And then it just, nope, not today. Drops putter. Oh, no.
Ridiculous.
Now he's got to go show up on a par 3.
That's right.
Hey, show up. Fitz puts that thing to like 8 feet or 9 feet. He puts it to 6 or 7. It was like, these dudes are unbelievable. And then Fitz cold-blooded puts a 9-iron to 6 inches, and then it's over.
What are you going to do?
See you, Jordo. I might have live bet Jordan Spieth
Yeah, that's
before
a
the
tough
first
day.
hole.
Yeah.
So
Fitz.
then he
I mean, it was there.
just put the ball in the fucking hole, Jordo.
I mean, the one on the next.
Say, Jordo, you know?
Could you imagine standing over that putt? No chance that goes in.
No way.
I'm rolling that thing off the fucking green.
Yeah.
I'm obviously pissed that Jordo didn't put it in for the 20-1 and the live plus 110 or whatever it was, or minus 110. I think it was going in there. It's like, Jordo's hot. Let's go. He's playing well. So maybe it's just strictly because I have money on the line, but I have no idea how he got that even anywhere close. You know?
They're so good at golf. They are. To be that good, like someone just said it, that Fitzpatrick shot to get it to 6 inches. Imagine being able to do that.
That's the second time, too. The first hole of playoffs, he hits same club.
Yep.
Right, hits the flag.
Yep.
He spins that club, too, as it's flying. He thought he put that fucker in.
Yeah.
But
Loved it.
174, I think, or something like that. I forget what it was. He thought he put it in.
Definitely.
Spins that thing, hits the flag like perfect. You hit a perfect ball, and it rolls to 50 feet.
Yeah.
It's like golf is so fucking. You're the worst sport of all time.
And then he's 7 yards back, and they're like, all right, same exact shot, 9-iron or whatever it was, and he does it, puts it to 6 inches. That's how good they are.
Same spot.
Yep.
I liked hearing Jordo and his caddy talk about the 8-iron to the 9-iron.
That's cool.
9-iron, a little bit of wind. Remember the last time it kind of carried a little bit. Got to get to 67. Well, how far is it? 74 yards. But you got to get at least 70 to the front of the green.
Yeah.
So 67 with 4 yards help with the wind could be 71, I guess, if you want to hit that 8-iron or the 9-iron. And then he stood over. He's not going to make it. And guy already had the other club out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had we not heard that combo, though, wouldn't you have been like, oh, no, this isn't going to be good? And then he flushes it, but we heard the combo. It was a great decision.
Well, it's just like the guy that I seen golf that said, hey, will you move that guy out of the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking this 4-iron, 246 yards. I'm going to go around here. I'm going to hit the front of it and then roll it on. And then they do it. That's what we got from the Jordo discussion. Like, he was talking about landing at a certain yards. A yard is 3 feet, okay? That is not that much room.
No.
Okay, so he's landing at within this from 170 yards away.
That's the landing pad.
That's a fucking joke, dude. That is an absolute joke.
Well, it's 2 football fields away.
Like, I guess, but yeah, exactly. Just, I'll land it in this fucking spot.
In a bucket.
People talk about, like, pooch punts and everything like that. Like, we have 30 feet, right? 10 yards in there. Bump it down to 8 if you really want to get greedy, because that's where a returner will catch a fair catch. So I was trying to land it at the 8 every single time, but I would have 8 yards to spare there. You know what I mean? I'd have a little bit of room. That's a lot of room.
Yes.
They have to land it on a square box like this big in playoffs with $3.3 million on the line. That's bananas.
And that wind was swirling because it was messing with him shots before that as well.
Yeah, down there in South Carolina, coming off the mosh.
Yeah.
Coming off the mosh a little bit. It was a beautiful tournament. I watched it. I had some people tweet me, we're watching NBA, Hoss. It's playoff time. It's like, we're in a playoff right now, actually.
Yeah.
They're golfing.
That was
Right,
The,
it
that
is
was the
playoff
Heat
time.
Bucks game, and that one was already over at that point.
Let's get to a break. On the other side, we'll have AJ Hawk join us, who won an award this weekend. So obviously, we got a Face of Ohio trophy presentation award celebration going on.
Pretty cool.
Nick can't hear the music.
Oh, no. Did it break?
Nick, what's going on?
No.
Too much love in his ears.
There it is.
Did you do something?
No, sir.
We should probably get a new one of these. This thing's been around a long time.
Might be time.
Yeah.
Spotify has been on this thing straight on for 3 years, I guess. Well, we made the move to Thunderdome, so I turned off once.
Yep.
True. Still been open for a long time.
Just playing. Good work here. Probably needs an update or two.
That's what we'll do. Banger.
DJ Griff did great. This is not a DJ Griff beat.
He did.
Had to pick up the entire show from the wedding, take it outside.
He was throwing quite a curveball and handled it pretty damn well.
Yeah, and
Great
he
haircut, too.
Looked
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah.
Had the Barry Bonds earring.
Yeah.
Electric.
DJ TJ also did well.
Beast.
He was there. They were a little tag team.
Smoking a stogie while he was DJing.
Had a backwards hat on, too, with a suit.
That's very cool.
Great look.
Super cool for a DJ.
Yeah.
Nick, did they give you an actual temperature of what it reached in there on Saturday?
Had to be at least 88 in the 92 range. Had to be.
I think that's safe.
That's accurate.
I think
My
it
Donardo keychain was at 97 degrees.
didn't see any Donardos this weekend, which is a shame.
Yeah. That's
But if they had the Doppler over where we were getting married, red wave would have came into the building.
Yep.
And then a blue one would have been going outside. It was a perfect setup. It was a perfect setup. It was literally the best thing that could possibly go wrong. You know what I mean?
True. That's a great silver lining to look at. We got very lucky with that, and it ended up being a great night out
Even
there.
cooler, I
Yeah.
think. Like, I don't want to say cooler outside, but kind of cooler outside.
Technically, it was cooler outside.
Absolutely cooler outside.
Definitely
No doubt.
cooler, like
In terms of
Weather.
weather. But I'm saying, like, also
Oh yeah, like
And
the
atmosphere.
ambiance and everything.
Yeah.
It was sweet.
very
The
loud.
lights up there, like once it got dark,
We were very loud out there.
very loud.
I think inside, potential problem with how loud. Remember, there was already a complaint.
Because there's apartments above that, right?
Boom. So I think it worked out perfect. Almost.
Well, also, allegedly, we might be getting a refund for some things being
There you
moved
go.
outside.
Certainly made the most of it, but yeah, you guys deserve a refund, full refund. It was bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was bullshit.
I mean, also bullshit that Pittsburgh didn't have a Joe Nardo, statue around the city at some point.
You didn't go around the whole
have one.
city.
Well, yeah, I basically did, and I know that they don't. And the other thing too is,
You didn't, basically.
You didn't go to Moon, dude.
yeah, I did, and also, they spelled Pittsburgh wrong at that train station.
Well, that was 1900. They ran on cement.
Yeah.
Well,
They did things differently back
they
then.
spelled it wrong. There was
Didn't
no
have an
H.
Didn't have an H then.
Oh, so
Spelled every other city properly.
they added an H because some other town named themselves
No.
Pittsburgh.
To be clear, not sure.
The Yinzer accent didn't pick up an H until like 1924 or something like that.
No, that is the reason. Some other bitch-made town named themselves Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh said, "Fine, we'll add an H."
Nah, probably a tough town. They wanted to name themselves after our city. If I had to
I
guess.
don't think so.
Okay.
Actually, the other Pittsburgh, I believe, is in Kansas, and Kansas didn't exist until 1935.
I don't think that's the only one.
Got
I think
ran out
there's
of town by
I
Kansas.
think there's a few Pittsburghs, but that was a weird
Very weird.
thing.
Didn't know that.
Let's get to a break. An Ohio champion will be joining us on the other side. A full celebration will take place in about 5 minutes. And Shams Charania will be joining us in 5 minutes to talk about the NBA. Be a friend, tell a friend. Oh, secession last night. Interesting turn.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Interesting turn. Take
Yep.
5. Today has become a massive day in our program's history because just yesterday at about 5:15 p.m., I was sent a text that said, hey, I think it's time. And I said, what do you mean you think it's time? I think it's time to let the world hear where we're at. And I said, Aaron, you let me know if you want me to let the world know about you coming on tomorrow. And he said, yeah, let's do it. I put a tweet out saying, hey, listen, you are cordially invited to Aaron Rodgers Wednesday, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just 56 minutes, 34 seconds away from right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers. What's up, dude?
Good afternoon. Good morning here. Good afternoon there.
There's a lot going on in your world, bro. I don't even know if you know this or if you've been so locked in.
This isn't a decision day. This isn't me deciding and announcing to the world that this is what's going on. In fact, that's already happened. You know, we're actually days past this. This is kind of clearing things up, I think, for everybody interested. And I'm going to get into this now, if you don't mind, Pat. I'm going to go for a little bit here.
Hey, go ahead. There's 430,000 people currently, so a lot more people watching than normal, and they are all interested because you're a fucking dog as a football player. So go ahead and do your thing, pal.
The timeline, which I think is important, that's why I'm going to go through it, is that in 2020, they drafted Jordan to replace me. There wasn't replacement right away, but as is the case with the Packers and kind of the way they do things, they like to get rid of players like a year early instead of a year late in their minds. There's probably some people who believe that I was a descending player and that it was time to make a change. Everything that I was told in the week that I was in Green Bay was take as long as you want. We want you to retire, Packer. If you want to come back and play, obviously the door is wide open. When I came out of the darkness, something changed. I'm not exactly sure what that was, but something changed. I got back to my phone after 5 days off of it. I realized that there'd been a little bit of a shift. I heard from multiple people that I trust around the league, players mostly, that there was some shopping going on. They were interested in actually moving me. And at this point, you know, I got to admit, I went in the darkness, 90% retiring, 10% playing. My mind was, I'm tired of this. I hadn't got back into my workouts yet, and I thought that was what was best for me. So I went in the darkness to contemplate a lot of different things, but one day I spent entirely on the reality I was retired, and one day I spent entirely on the reality that I was coming back and playing. When I came out, it was clear to me at that point that although the Packers were going to say the right thing publicly, that they were ready to move on. I don't know what changed that or what moved that. If they just said, hey, we need to make a decision here because he hasn't made a decision yet. Again, there's no victims here. I'm not sitting here as a victim. I love Green Bay. I love the fan base. They're incredible. I lived for playing for them. A lot of love for the organization. I just think I wish that in the beginning of the offseason, that had been the conversation. This is a credible profession, but it's a tough business.
You've said that for a long time.
Some of these issues were things I was talking about 2 years ago. It was how do we treat older players on the way out? And it's ironic that now I'm that player, but I think that's the beauty in life is the sense of humor that the universe has. No malice, no bitterness towards Packers. So I've shifted my focus to entertaining what the plane would look like. The Packers granted obviously permission for the Jets to come out and visit. We had a nice visit. At this point, as I sit here, I think since Friday, I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
Okay.
I haven't been holding anything up at this point. It's been compensation that the Packers are trying to get for me, kind of digging their heels in. So I would just, I think it is interesting at this point to step back and look at the whole picture. My side, love and appreciation, gratitude for everything that Green Bay has done for me. So much love and gratitude and just heart open for the Packer fans. And what it's meant to be their quarterback. And also the reality of the situation. Like, it is what it is. Packers would like to move on. They've let me know that in so many words. Because I still have that fire and I want to play and I would like to play in New York. It's just a matter of getting that done at this point.
Okay, people in New York are doing this right now. People in New York are pumped right now. You sent a list of demands. Need you to sign Lazard. You need to sign Randall Cobb. I want Jordy Nelson out of the fucking ranch. Did that all happen?
It's so ridiculous.
Hey, that's happening, though. Like, you need to know.
Ask Schefter what I texted him when he somehow got my number and texted me. I didn't respond to Diana Rossini, I think her name is. I would say the same thing that I told Schefter. Lose my number. Nice try.
Schefter tweeted the photo. He said, Aaron did not lie. There it is. That's confirming. Lose my number. Good try, though.
I'll speak for myself. I'm sure there'll be people that have their sources. From what I've seen, it's like I had a sheet of paper when I met with the Jets and I said, sign these people. And that's not the reality. It's so stupid to think that I would do it, number one. Now, did they ask me about certain guys that I played with over years? Of course. Did I talk glowingly about teammates that I love? Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Sue me. Don't actually.
Like, my only demand is for transparency. And if you say some bullshit, sometimes it's not even worth it. But like I said, when something gets out there and then assumed to be true, then it can take on a life of its own. It can go from, there was a conversation about 20 different players to, he wants these guys to be signed, otherwise realize he doesn't want to come. It's like, come on, what are we talking about?
Yeah, it's all in the delivery of the information.
And I'm just really, really thankful. I got to be the starting quarterback of the Packers for 15 years. I got to be in an organization for 18 years. 18 years, that's a teenager. That's becoming an adult. And that's what I did there. And it was because of the people I met there and the places I went and the times that I had. I love you, Green Bay. Thank you. And I'm as sad as some of you are, but we'll meet again.
Massive show yesterday. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
And that says that the peak concurrence for 496, 285, but I've seen a lot of photos from people that are 498.
Bro.
Nonetheless, felt like afterwards, looking back on it, everybody was hanging out with us yesterday. Obviously not because of us. We know that. But Aaron, what a dog, dude.
Hey,
Why?
let's go!
This show fucking stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it!
What the fuck are you doing?
Boston
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this Nick is Married Monday, April 17, 2023. Hour 2 starts now.
Meraldos!
Yeah, Nick and Carly got married this weekend. They got hitched, 1 rib, 2 people. Way to go. Love forever.
Hell yeah!
Happy for them. The Talks Tables here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer,
Dahn.
Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. In joining us now, from an attic in a state of which he is a champion. He's a Ryder Cup champion. He's a Super Bowl champion.
What?
He's a college football national champion.
What?
He is now Ohio's finest, the face of Ohio. A true Ohio fucks Ohio fuck. Ladies and gentlemen, an actual trophy was given to this man because he is the face of Ohio. That is an actual thing that happened this weekend. He was at a podium. He gave a speech. He should be celebrated from now until forever. The Ohio fuck, A.J. Hawk.
Yeah, baby!
Yeah! A.J. Hawk! A.J. Hawk! A.J. Hawk! A.J. Hawk! A.J., you are the face of Ohio officially. Ohio's finest. A.J. Hawk! A.J. Hawk! A.J. Hawk! A.J. Hawk! A.J. Hawk! Holy fuck, dude! This got me jacked up. I FaceTimed you. I literally FaceTimed you as soon as this happened. As soon as I read it on the internet, I'm like, what the fuck is this? How long did AJ know he was going to be the Ohio fuck recipient? How long did AJ know he was going to be given a speech? Is this why AJ couldn't come to the wedding? It makes sense. AJ, you are the face of Ohio. How long did you know this was happening? And how long was the speech that you gave? Because every word that you speak from this point forward is going to have to champion the state of Ohio.
That's right.
Because you are Ohio's finest, AJ.
Yeah.
Well, first off, I believe Shams is on the line waiting to come on the show. Is that correct?
Nope.
Nope.
Correct.
Nope.
He's not. No, I knew about this for a month or two, probably beforehand. I only had to talk for probably 3-5 minutes. It was a quick little deal. It was fun to see everybody.
Why didn't we know? Why wouldn't you let us celebrate this? This is a
I
big
told
deal.
you that.
Nick
I sent
removed
you a
his wedding.
text. I didn't know we were off on that day, so I was like, that was 11:25. I knew I could do that and get back to the show, but we didn't have a show then.
You said I'm speaking at the coaches thing. You never said I'm winning a fucking Ohio Face Award. I mean, this is unbelievable. Is this the first time this award's been given out? How many other faces of Ohio are there?
Vrabes is one of them. Vrabes is one of them.
Okay. This makes sense. Okay. Hi. I have an incredibly large dome. I eat glass. I will fight a motherfucker if we have to. And I'm probably smarter than you.
Definitely.
I am Ohio. I am Mike Vrabel. I am AJ Hawk. Wow. Is this like a Hall of Fame? You get a jacket? What'd you do with the trophy?
That's downstairs somewhere.
Oh, come on.
Somewhere.
Should be carrying it around.
Put that on a necklace like I do with this Italian horn.
Bingo.
What?
You see
Oh,
this?
that'd be cool. Yeah, it's a little, might be, I don't know. It might be uncomfortable.
What that could change.
Jeez, look at you. Wait, when did you get that?
This was a gift from a man that got married this weekend before the wedding.
Nice.
This is to fight off the Mayak, okay, which is evil and the devil. You see, the devil comes trotting into me. This is what all these paisanos have been wearing for a long time. The devil, evil, everything comes trotting up into town. Ooh, I'm gonna fucking kill this paisano. I'm gonna take him down. And then this Italian horn, which signifies a horn for an animal. Boom! Right in between the fucking things. Dead. This is warding off all bad spirits. Shout out to Nick and all the paisans that have the horns. Horns only club, pal.
Hell yeah. Welcome to the club, pal.
Hell yeah, Nick. I appreciate that. It made its way into the best man speech.
Mm-hmm. What was that? What's it fight off?
Evil.
Yeah.
The Majorque, right?
Is that right, Diggs?
Maloik.
There it is. You get it.
Same deal.
The who?
Same thing.
Maloik.
It's fighting off the Malloy.
The Malloy?
Maloik.
How do we spell that?
Maloik. M-A-L-L-O-I-C-H.
Malach.
Whatever it is. A lot of people are telling me, oh, that's the Majorque. And I want to tell them, like, no, actually, this is the fight off that. I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe I am right. And I mean, I'm 0.01% Italian. So.
Right. So the horn is called Malloy?
No.
The horn is a horn.
This is Italian horn.
Okay.
Horn of what? Like of a certain animal or what?
Well, it's supposed to represent a animal horn.
The horn of Italy.
What is the meaning of the Italian horn? Italian horn is twisted chili pepper shaped amulet widely popular across Italy. It is also common outside Italy among Italians and generations of Italian descendants, of course. That's why I should have one. When traveling in Naples, you will find red horn shaped. All right.
Cornicelli is what it's called.
Like most people across the world, we Italians have superstitious. Of course we do. Among these, wearing or owning different charms to protect our loved ones. Warding off bad luck can bring good fortune. The most popular charm, especially in the south of Italy, is the iconic Italy. That's what this is.
Okay.
AJ, don't be a fucking idiot, dude. Okay?
Cool.
It's a red hot chili
I'm
pepper.
glad you finally got one. I can't believe how Italian you are. You finally got one at this age.
I don't think this is one that I can just go buy. You know, this is something, I've said a lot of things about Italians over a long period of time that I shouldn't have done. But I didn't. I was younger and I didn't know. I was in the community, not something you just go out and buy yourself and show up with. I was actually talking to Paisan from Plum named Billy Bones. And Billy Bones and I were having a 10-minute conversation. Billy Bones standing 5'3",
on a ghost.
He's the dancer
with lips.
Yeah, he's the dancer from the bus.
He's a dog. Okay, he's also very.
He's the man.
He's very Italian. He was a little boozed up, as was I. We were talking. It was after I'd got the Italian horn. It was on my chest. You know, so Billy and I are having a conversation.
Right.
10 minutes we're talking, and then he goes, "What the fuck is that?" and like actually points at my chest. I'm like, Billy, hey, I'm Italian, pal.
I'm in the club.
And I tried to do swords with him, with his horn. He's actually got Jesus Christ there. Doesn't have the Italian horn.
Ascending or descending, I believe. But yeah, you're actually, Nick did you a huge favor because you're actually not allowed to buy your own Italian horn or it's bad luck.
Is that right?
I'm just going to buy myself one.
No, you
Bad
can't.
luck.
Bad luck.
Doofus. Just heard it.
No, but
I don't
Foxy,
think so.
Foxy, perfect idea. I'll buy you one.
get
You
one,
buy
Fox.
me one.
You should get your own. Buy your own.
Connor,
Fox.
you should get one too.
Well, yeah, we should
Look
just
at the whole
swap.
office horns. How about that?
That ain't how this goes. Okay, I had to spit into a fucking to get this.
AJ, I'll send you one too.
AJ,
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you.
you're the face of Ohio, okay? You're not wearing a fucking Italian horn. You got enough trophies
I'm
already.
sure I'm more Italian than you.
Shut up, Hawk.
You are disgusting. Okay, while you're touting that little face of Ohio trophy, I got a fucking Italian horn around my neck. You hear me? Need to stop it. You hear, pal?
Looks good.
Joining us now.
Well, we know pinky rings will come back, but yes, get the Sean, please.
Well, I left my pinky ring, actually.
No, what?
I left it with the city.
That makes sense.
In the hotel or
Donate.
Paid your dues.
Oh, jeez.
I got there's another one. There's another one.
Oh,
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if he has an Italian horn around his neck, but I do know that this guy has a rabbit thing up his butt. This guy is incredibly lucky.
That's right.
This guy is an absolute dog. He is the insider for the Stadium, The Athletic, and FanDuel TV. He hosts a show alongside Michelle Beadle, Chandler Parsons, and a couple other folks called Run It Back that you can watch every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday on FanDuel Television. He's been on TV all morning because the NBA is popping off. Ladies and gentlemen, the handsome Sean Sherrani. Holy shit! Holy
wow. I know if I'm FaceTiming you at 8 in the morning, I know you're picking up, so I appreciate you as a friend. You know, I always know you would pick up.
See, here, we were watching Shams earlier today on the Good Morning Adam show, and he was challenged to FaceTime somebody, and he FaceTimed Chandler Parsons. No answer.
Oh,
Whoa.
So I actually texted him, yikes, while he was doing that. Yikes. I would have looked. You didn't deserve
Next time
that.
I'm FaceTiming you, Pat. I'm FaceTiming you next time, Pat.
I don't know.
Sorry.
I will answer depending upon if I'm taking a shit or not. But I would love to chat with you anytime because especially now the NBA is the topic of conversation. NBA playoffs yesterday seemingly took everybody out. So John Morant, Giannis, Tyler Hero, allegedly Anthony Davis as well. I don't think I got to see that. That might have been on Saturday whenever we were at the wedding. What is going on with all of them? That's not good for anybody, right? That this is taking place and whenever all eyes are on the NBA?
Yeah, let's go one by one. I mean, Anthony Davis, Stinger, he left right before halftime, but he ended up coming back into the game. He had a big game. The Lakers win, so he's fine. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he landed hard on his back, Pat. I don't know if you saw, but I mean, it looked like a tailbone, lower back injury. He lands hard. It's a lower back contusion. It's painful. It's pretty painful. He might have to pop an Advil or two to be able to play. Their next game is on Wednesday. Game 2.
It's going right into the butt.
Right now, there's optimism that he's going to be able to play. It's leaning more toward like he'll be able to gut it out and play, but it's going to bother him for sure. And he's got a ligament issue in his wrist as well. So there are a couple nagging things that he's dealing with. John Morant, on the other hand, he landed hard on his hand. And Pat, I don't know again if you saw this, but literally his 4 fingers, it looked like they all went in. They all went in. And that's painful, even if you're trying to just move them back. But he's going to end up getting reevaluated today. I'm sure MRIs, and his status is looking a little bit more shaky for their game 2 on Wednesday. And then Tyler Hero broke his hand. He's going to be out most likely for the rest of the playoffs. Whether that's 6 to 8 weeks, he's going to be out for an extended period of time. He actually ended up staying in the game, even took a jump shot with a broken hand, but unfortunately, he is done for the foreseeable future.
Made it, right? Made it.
He's a dog. He's a dog for that shot.
He made it, right?
He did not make it. The attempt in and of itself.
Hit the side of the backboard?
I think it was off to the point it looked like he swished it, but he didn't.
Oh, that's why.
It was one of those. It was one of those.
It would have been a lot cooler if he made it, but all good. He's still a dog. He's out there. You didn't report that John Morant will be out for the rest of the playoffs like you did for Tyler Hero, so there's still a lot of hope that he will be back, even if it's not for game 2, even though it looks as disgusting as it looked like for Ja?
I think right now we don't know what the results of the MRI are, so it's tough for me to put him out or put him in. But it didn't sound good. It didn't look good. He had like a brace on his hand wrist as well. He's been dealing with that nagging injury. But I think either way, if he's back in the lineup or he's not back in the lineup, right now the Lakers have the edge. I think with or without John Morant, I think they're going to be looking and playing from behind for a good amount of time in this series.
Hell yeah. Go ahead, AJ.
Shams, with all these injuries and everything going on, does this put teams like, I know the Warriors lost their first game, they're 0-1 in their series they played tonight. Does this put like the Warriors and the Lakers in the forefront? Like, hey, this is ours to take?
I mean, AJ, it's crazy. This year, I've been a fan of the NBA since the mid 2000s. I've been watching it year after year, covering it since 2010, 2011. I've never seen a postseason where you go into it and you have 11 or 12 teams out of 16 that really genuinely believe they can win a championship this year. I can't remember it. And I think it is very unique for the league. There's a lot of parity in the league. So whether that's the Warriors, the Lakers, the Clippers. We saw the Clippers beat the Suns last night, and the Suns have a lot of expectations right now. Philly, Boston, Milwaukee out east, Cleveland out east, New York now out east. There's Denver, Golden State, Sacramento, Lakers, Clippers.
That's the whole field, yep.
Every team that's in the playoffs right now feel like they have a chance, and I think that's very unique. And the Warriors-Lakers right now, if they can get by these series, they would be matched up in the second round. That's a pretty epic second-round series right now.
Yeah, we heard Greeny actually bopping his meat last week to the thought of LeBron and Steph potentially battling in the second round. With all these injuries, we're truly going to find out like if NBA at its highest level can compete for eyes without some of the superstars playing. I think they'll be able to do it. There's been some great basketball taking place, some great moments taking place. I think the NBA should be thrilled. Let's turn off the injuries, though. Let's go in there, turn the injuries off completely, and and let's see the best stuff. Speaking of people not playing, Connor has a question for you, Sean.
Yeah, Sean, Paul George did not play last night, and I know it's been said that he won't play this entire series, but in theory, let's say maybe this goes 7 games, especially now that the Clippers won Game 1. Do you think there's a chance that he would suit it up if it was a 7-game type series, or do the Clippers feel comfortable enough with the guys that they have now that they'll be able to get it done?
He has not yet been fully ruled out of this series, but I think the Clippers, in their minds, they understand they have to get out of this first round series, whether it's Game 7 or not, to be able to get Paul George back in the lineup. And it kind of reminds me a lot about Chris Middleton last year. He had a grade 2 MCL sprain. He ends up going in. He misses most of the entire second round series.
Yep.
And it was unfortunate because the Bucks truly believe if he was in the lineup, they would have beaten. They would have gotten by Boston.
Wrong.
And gotten to the conference finals. And so injuries happen. If it's a Game 7, it's tough for me to see Paul George out there, but hopefully he's able to make it back. But second round, I think, is for him where the clock starts to really begin.
Yeah, they got Eric Gordon out of Indiana pulling up from the fucking logo right now. It does not matter.
Yeah.
That hoop was bigger.
Shout out IU.
Hey.
Shout out IU. Shout out Indiana.
Hell yeah.
Eric Gordon was a great fit. They got him at the trade deadline, Pat. I think one of the most under radar trade deadline pickups of this year.
Bro, he takes that fucker straight from his right shoulder.
Yep.
Perfect. We're talking beautiful.
Oh, catapult.
Just absolute beautiful.
You got good form there, Pat. I don't know, copycat form. I don't know what that is, but I like the form, Pat.
So normally if I see something or see somebody do something, I can normally, all right, let me see it again. And then I try to break down what they're doing. Eric Gordon might be my style of shooting for a couple weeks, but then I move back to Larry. This is how I shoot like Larry Bird every single time. That's how I shoot right there, Sean. So, we're just trying to put the ball in the bucket. Eric Gordon did that last night. Would that be normal? Will that be normal for the Clippers? Clippers playing this good all the time?
I mean, for sure. Kawhi Leonard last night, I think, looked like the best player on the court. When he's healthy, he's one of the most elite players in the league for sure. And this is a pretty deep team.
How about Russ?
Russell Westbrook.
Hey.
Russell Westbrook. Shout out Russell Westbrook. He went out, and even though he went 3 of 19, he had 10 rebounds, 9 assists.
Menace.
He made winning plays at the end of the game. Winning plays matters, and Russell Westbrook made a couple. I mean, he had offensive rebound, a couple defensive stops.
Free throws.
Russell Westbrook proved that you don't need to shoot the ball to be effective. He did so. But this is a deep team. Westbrook, Zubac, Eric Gordon. They have guys coming off the bench. They're playing at a high level. So, the Clippers can. They can do this. They can get to the second round, and then the fun really begins. They play Denver potentially in the second round.
With Joker is awesome to watch. I mean, I'm happy that he's getting a chance to be on national television for the world to watch. Ben Simmons just watched what Russell did and said, okay, I got another 10 years in the league. So that's all I got to do. That's good news. That's good news. Tone has a question for you.
Shams, I'm paraphrasing here, but LeBron said about 8 to 10 years ago he knew that Austin Reeves was going to be a player that he could play with and was going to be a good fit for him. Is LeBron Nostradamus? And is he cool with being third, fourth fiddle on that Lakers team?
Listen, I'm not going to speak to the LeBron, but like if you go on Twitter, you can see a thread of all the time.
What? Been there.
There have been some good predictions, some good hindsight 2020 moments. But you know what? I will say this. In Lakers training camp, I interviewed Austin Reeves. I spoke to him about this. He got 3 people to be on his side really early it was literally a year and a half ago. This guy, Pat, Austin Reeves, was literally picking up body wash as rookie errands for his teammates. Russell Westbrook, the star teammates on the Lakers. He was literally going to CVS and picking up body wash, soap, doing all the little chores. But I will say this, and I spoke to Austin Reeves. The first training camp practice, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, they all gave him respect. They all understood from the beginning. He's told me this, I do believe this, that they believed he would be a player. Now, again, I don't think anyone thought he would be a guy that would be leading them to playoff victories, a guy that could start in playoff games, a guy that can score, what do you have last night, 19 points? I mean, a guy that can fill the stat sheet on a nightly basis. So, shout out Austin Reeves for what he's done.
23.
He went from a non-guarantee to a 2-way to a full contract. And now he's going to be in line, Pat, for at least a 4-year, $51 $1 million deal this offseason.
Hell yeah.
LeBron James, you're right. I mean, he was playing standby a little bit and really watching Austin Reeves take over late in the game.
All LeBron wants to do is win. His basketball IQ is so high. He does not care how it happens, who happens. Let's just go on and win this. He said he appreciated Austin Reeves' basketball IQ from the day one. Knew he was a smart player. Knew he'd be able to figure it out. Knew he was a guy that'd be good with LeBron. I also like the fact that he was a good rookie. You know, he's cleaning up soap. He's doing his whole thing, just trying to buy in. White dude from Arkansas, about to sign 4 for $51. Think of the fucking country-ass shit he could buy if he was to go back.
That's the biggest thing with Austin, though. He doesn't make mistakes. It's very hard to find a young player that knows how to play the right way, doesn't make mistakes, doesn't force things. So I'll let you do the clapping pat.
And he's not a nerd, you know?
No.
Oh, man.
He's got some edge. He's got some edge.
It seems like NBA releases his wired up things a lot more loosely than everybody else's. You agree with that?
I mean, listen, they got some pretty boisterous, comments from him. I'm him twice. You repeat it back to back. They got after he's
Well, that's normally what it is, right? Aren't the mics up and like, hey, good work.
Yep.
Hell
yeah. Box up.
When Austin's mic'd up, it's like, I'm him. I fucked your mother. Like everything kind of comes out from Austin Reeves. It's an interesting give and take of what they let Austin say publicly versus everybody else. But I think it's only made him even bigger and better. I'm fucking pumped for him. The Lake Show's all the way back.
Hell yeah.
Going to be a difficult road, though. Going to be a difficult road.
Very hard.
Especially if Russell Westbrook keeps playing defense the way he's playing. Nobody's talking. He was a menace last night, Sean.
He was playing at a high level defensively. I think he had a stop. He had the block on Devin Booker. He got an offensive rebound, literally back to back to back high level plays just to win a game. Like it's not scoring. He made free throws as well, 2 free throws, clutch late in the game. So
and almost fought a guy in front of his kid. That's awesome. I mean, it was a full Russell Westbrook experience yesterday. Hopefully he can continue. Go ahead, AJ.
Shams, do we need to be worried about the Phoenix Suns and what's going on over there with Kevin Durant and everything? What are they going to do? They're going to figure it out?
Well, he's got to, I think, for sure be more aggressive. You saw Kawhi Leonard took 24 shots. Kevin Durant took 15 shots. So maybe you'll see the shot total increase. But I think as a team, they just have to play a little bit more energy. They have to bring it physically because we saw late in the game, Devin Booker made a drive. I think you can make a case. Russell Westbrook might have fouled him. But he didn't get the foul call, Devin Booker, after the game. He was complaining about the lack of a foul call. But listen, if you're aggressive and you make aggressive plays, you might get that call at the latter stages of the game. So I think showing aggressiveness. But this is a team that isn't that, they don't have that great of depth. And I think that's something to monitor with the Suns is coming off your bench. Which guys can you rely on? They really don't have a backup point guard. They have a guy named Campaign, Pat, that is out of the lineup right now. He's got back spasms. He did not play game 1. His status is up in the air for game 2. They do need him. He's their backup point guard. So will he be back for game 2? And will they have the depth, I think, to be able to compete? They had to play all 3 centers last night. DeAndre Ayton, Bismack Biyombo, and Jock Landale. They all played last night. Very rare for 3 centers to play in one game.
I think we all should start our campaign for Campaign to come back.
That's right. They need him.
When Campaign comes back, it's all, a bit changed. Diggs brought something up here, which I guess we should have addressed early. Where are you right now? Are you
in the jungle?
Oh yeah, where are you exactly right now? It seems like an awesome place.
I'm in a garden.
Is that Bron's house?
Beautiful garden.
Is there a fountain in there? Is there any fountains in there?
I'm here to smell the roses. I'm here to smell the roses. You got, grass. Green. I'm all for green.
Whoa.
No, I'm outside of a hotel, unfortunately.
You're outside your hotel right now?
It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice.
Are you high right now, Sean? You in LA? You smoking dope?
Yeah, Stone.
Seems like it.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You don't smoke dope, Shams, ever?
I'm high off of doing Run It Back on FanDuel TV, Up and Adams on FanDuel TV, and Pat McAfee Show.
Fuck, I fucked that one up. I said Good Morning Adams.
Yeah, but
that's what we said.
Wake up with
It all
Kay.
works.
It's a great show, great show. I seen you on there this morning. You were crushing it. Oh, so you're out there in LA. You are smoking dope. You never smoked dope, Shams?
Come on.
Shams, you smoked dope?
Come on, Shams.
Never in my life. But you know what's crazy? Like we talked about, it is legal for NBA players. No marijuana testing. No suspensions, no fines, nothing. Marijuana is fully allowed now.
Well, why don't you text me your address over there? Because California, you have the ability just to get weed delivered to you in a Tesla, in like an Apple box, pretty much, and it's just all ready for you. I think they got some strains now, Shams.
Yeah.
Might be able to cure your appetite at lunch a little bit.
Or try it before lunch and enjoy it more.
Yeah, might be able to hydrate you a little bit too, so you don't have to have those water reminders. I mean, there's a chance weed could fix it all up there, Shams.
Will it make me like smarten the brain to understand that you eat oatmeal with spoons and not forks, or no?
Shams, your brain is already fantastic with a couple little quirks. It is only going to amplify all of that. You're only going to get better. I love the fact that you're just out there smoking dope all the time.
I know.
Yeah.
It's great.
Ty has a question for you, Shams. You look so cool in that garden outside the hotel. Oh my God. Look how green that grass is. It's been raining out there in LA.
It's like the weed he's smoking.
It's overcast. I was on last week. It was overcast. It's overcast again today. Pat, I don't know. I think I brought the Chicago weather.
Are you living in LA now?
So, no, I'm not. Going back to Chicago on Wednesday. Come with me, Pat. We're gonna
Chicago.
I'm not going to Chicago. I've
No
seen some
way.
videos out of Chicago. I've seen some videos out of LA and Indy, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, you go to Pittsburgh much? Never. Not an NBA team. Pittsburgh was alive this weekend.
It was.
Awesome.
A lot of people walking through the streets, running, working out, shops open. It was
Gorgeous.
very alive. I don't think that's very normal for cities right now. I was pretty proud of it. How's LA right now?
LA's LA. You know, I haven't had a LA moment. I mean, it's overcast. It's hard to really fully get the LA experience.
LA's a
when you're
fucking
outside
dump.
Chicago.
We all know
Whoa!
it. We all know it. LA's been dead for years. It's a shithole.
You're just saying that
Boston
'cause-
Connor.
No, I'm saying that because it's the truth.
you're saying that because Dana White said
Dana
it.
said it too. Yeah.
That
Last
and
week.
also last time we were there, we saw 50 pounds of human shit on the sidewalks.
You're going to get that in a lot of big cities.
They
John
swept up
knows.
2 blocks worth of human shit for that one pile.
That's too much.
Exactly.
That's unbelievable.
That should be 50.
All right, before we get out of here, Shams, now that we know that you're all high and stuff, Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Shams, I hate to do it because it doesn't matter because they're out of the playoffs. But right after you came on last week and we talked about Zion, he had the listen, Zion will play when Zion feels like Zion again. He said that. And then the video came out where, a lot of different Twitter profiles were, tweeting the eye emojis like, whoa, look at Zion. He looked terrible. He could only get about a half an inch off the ground dunking. Where do they go from here with this guy? Seriously. Like, what happens next? What needs to be done? I mean, because now it really is starting to happen where everyone's like, yeah, if he doesn't turn it on, this could be the end for Zion.
Yeah, they've got to have an intervention in New Orleans.
Whoa.
Everyone with the Pelicans, I think Zion Williamson, they got to figure out how to keep him on the floor healthy because, guys, when he's on the floor, this is a team that's competing for home court advantage. They're one of the best teams in the Western Conference. It's just how do you get Zion Williamson to the point where he's healthy and on the floor? And you don't even need me to say it. CJ McCollum spoke after they lost in the play-in tournament. He said, we all need to be better. We all need to have better professionalism. He spoke about diet. He spoke about sleeping patterns.
CJ's fat?
How we
Zion is.
He said CJ said this.
And having the professionalism. CJ McCollum said this, but I think everyone understood, that Zion Williamson's at the head of this Pelican snake. Everyone's got to be under the same mindset, the same, in terms of their minds. They got to be locked in and focused. And I think that starts with Zion Williamson. But like you guys said, I mean, I came on the show. I tried to speak truth like I always do here.
Hell yeah.
And the fact of the matter was Zion Williamson, whether he felt like he was ready to do everything, just was getting there mentally, whether, he wants to go out and do a couple dunks pregame, he was not even close to getting back on the floor. The Pelicans basically had ruled him out of the first round. They were unsure he'd ever play in this postseason if he was healthy, I'm told. So this is something we all hope. We want to see Zion Williamson on the floor. We want to see him playing at a high level. So we'll see. The Pelicans have to get together this summer with him, and he's got to – CJ McCollum also said this. He's got to want it as well and want to –
CJ said that?
Improve, so. CJ basically said we all have got to want it. We've all got to want.
So you just kept
better.
saying he and then.
Yeah.
Larry Nance said there's a first seed team somewhere in that locker room. We just have to get out there on the floor. Zion Williamson was the only guy that was not able to finish the season for the Pelicans.
Wow.
Along with Jose. They need him on the floor, guys. They need him on the floor because they can be a number one seed for sure in the Western Conference.
So you said head of the snake a lot clearer than LeBron James says those words. You know that?
Well, listen, I was a communication English major, so
What school?
I'll just say I went to school for that. So,
What school?
I'll give Loyola Chicago. Shout out Ramblers, 2018 Final 14.
Oh, that's a big guy.
Yeah.
Wait,
Cam Rotwig.
Does he know
Shout out
Sister Jean?
You know Sister Jean?
You ever meet Sister Jean?
There's a picture somewhere online of us. I'll send it to you, Pat.
It's got to be better than the picture they put up of her this year.
Yeah, I couldn't even see her eyes.
They put a picture on the internet of her this year that they should not have done that. Sister Jean is.
I took a picture with her in like February or March. She looked beautiful. Shout out Sister Jean.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful.
Shout out Sister Jean.
103 years old. She was looking beautiful.
Oh, the other day on the jet.
Easy, Pat. Jeez, Louise.
We get it, Sean.
2000
All
on
right,
the
we
jet a few
agree.
weeks ago.
Jeez.
Christ.
All right, if this Eric Gordon 3 goes in right now, Shams, how many merches are we giving away?
We're giving away. We'll do 24 in honor of Paul George's number.
Jesus.
24 is Paul George's
His number's 13.
Okay, that's Paul
What
George's
the
number.
hell?
PG-13. My bad. I'm thinking about Pacers. Oh, no, Pacers PG. Hold on, he was 24 on the Pacers. Someone looked at him.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people that remember 24, though.
Come on.
24.
Sitting in right now. Eric Gordon style.
Yeah, Eric Gordon style.
Let's see. Hurry up, Pat. Yo, Pat.
Oh.
let me know.
That's a tough thing.
John, let him shoot.
That's a tough thing.
All right, here.
3 on 3. PMS 3 on 3.
Do the Larry Bird form. That'll help.
Larry Bird form right here. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, looks so good. Larry.
All right.
Let's go.
Larry's 33. We're not giving away that many merches.
Nope.
We'll make them 10, though. 10 merches for Shams and for the shop being made. All you got to do is retweet this video, say something nice to Shams Charania, and because it's just merches. We don't need anything else.
Just merches.
We'll potentially choose you to win. Shams, we can't thank you enough for joining us, buddy. You're the best.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Good luck to the NBA. We hope nobody else gets hurt in anything ever. Ladies and gentlemen, Shams Charania. How about that?
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Larry.
That's why you use
You
the Larry
reverted back
form.
a little bit on that one.
Yeah, so the first one I did try Larry,
Yeah.
and then I went, it's just soccer throw here. As it was flying through the air, I thought, hey,
Look good.
Sister Jean and Shams do look fantastic. I mean, he was kind of getting a little sultry whenever he was talking about her.
Yeah, actually, funny
There we
enough,
go.
look at
Where's
his
that hand
pants.
at?
Yeah, what's going on in his pants there? What do you see? Hold the phone.
What do you
What
mean?
is, what's it? Does he have a candy bar in his pocket?
All right, let's answer
What
some
is
phone
that?
calls here.
Cool pants.
Why is Sister Jean wearing size 18 shoes?
Honestly, who knows?
That's what happens.
I mean,
Because don't they say her feet and ears keep growing and nose?
yeah,
yeah.
That's a good
So
point.
she's got absolute mammoth feet.
And her nose, 103 years old. Those ears, too? Jeez Louise.
Yeah, her ears can hear from 2 miles away.
That's right. And then she takes 4 steps and she's there.
What did the PMS boys just say?
She can smell us. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Malik in New York on the 5 Energy phone line. Malik, what's going on, pal?
Hey, Pat, AJ, and the boys. How you doing?
Keep it moving, sir.
Oh, man, so excited to be here. Congratulations to Nick and the wife. So glad you guys got to go out there and celebrate with them.
Hell yeah.
I've also got to thank you guys for everything you guys do. When I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, you guys got me through all of it. Love listening to the show every day.
Thanks for letting us be there with you, pal. Happy to hear you're okay, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Malik, had a baby. Way to kick some ass.
Had to do it. But with the Stephon Diggs situation, I've been wondering, in your big brain section, like when you had that whole breakdown with him on Ramsey, the way that he and Josh had that connection, when he's been out here saying that he wants to come to the Giants, which I love, how does that affect the locker room moving forward with him being so vocal about wanting to be out in his relationship with Josh and the way that playoff game ended? Like with you and AJ, how does that?
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he and his brother have been texting back and forth how nice it would be for them to see each other twice a year. And he's been hinting at wanting to go to the Giants. So in the locker room, how does that play out? Like, I know he and Josh weren't on the best of terms at the end of the game.
Interesting.
So I know he just kind of left. He didn't even say anything to anyone. They had to bring him back in.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. It was kind of good call, Malik. Yeah, remember? Stephon Diggs just left. This was a big deal. We talked about this. Remember?
Yeah.
His coach said I'd much rather have it that way than him not caring about losing. Like, I want guys that care.
But it was certainly something. He took all the Buffalo shit off of his stuff, too.
Yeah,
right?
yep.
And
Who was he pissed at, though? Was he upset about the loss? Was he pissed about eating enough balls? Like, who's he upset about?
Yeah, I don't know. And have we found any of those answers?
He went on that podcast and basically said, like, I don't know what else we need to do to get over the hump. He was like, it seems like we try to bring guys in and, like, we feel like we're there, and then we just lose in the playoffs. He was like, I I don't know what else we can actually do to like get over the hump and win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and in classic like post 2019 era, his social media action has led us to believe that there's continued, beef, like the Buda Baker thing. The way we found out about that first was somebody seen that on his Twitter, he took Arizona out of his bio. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And back in the day, people were like, all right, like that matters. It's like, hate to break to you. It does.
Big time.
A lot of people have just taken their team right off their Instagram, right off their Twitter, either out of their location or the photos with them. It's like a breakup. Whenever you break up with somebody, it's like, okay, let's go ahead and get this person completely off this page. I don't want anybody to know that we were ever together ever. It's kind of what players do with teams. Now, we have seen people break up with a team on social media, no longer taken on Facebook, and then get back together.
Yeah. Right. Kyler Murray.
And then reload all of those photos back up there.
Yep.
Kyler is the most recent and the biggest contract. So we're not saying it's over, but it certainly means that there's a little bit of something brewing. And Brandon Beane, who kind of has his, I don't want to say ear to the ground, but kind of ear to the ground in all those situations, he knows that Stephon Diggs isn't happy, especially because if he was to see the situation happen at another team, he would call them and say, hey, I heard something's up, just like he did when Stephon Diggs was at the Vikings.
Yeah.
So I do wonder if there's going to be a play made there. I didn't see the Giants stuff. I did not know that was happening. No. But Stephon Diggs goes from a 5th-round pick to a guy that I think every team would love to have on there. Just why won't it work in Buffalo is what everybody will ask the question.
Yeah, he'd be unbelievable with the Giants, you assume, if Saquon comes back and all that gets figured out. But it must be difficult for the Bills, especially now with Rodgers, impending coming to the Jets. Like, they've been so close these last few years. They were the Super Bowl favorites last year. Josh Allen was the MVP favorite last year. Like, at what point is it like, okay?
Oh, yeah, this is your thing, though.
No, and this is my thing. But seriously.
It is your thing. Isn't it?
It is kind of his thing.
It has become your thing.
It has been.
AJ, you remember this is his thing.
But let's keep in mind, too, like, they haven't been to an AFC championship.
Oh.
So, or they went to one, but that's when they were kicking field goals and the Chiefs beat them by 20. Like, there has to be some feeling in the Buffalo locker room like, okay, is this not the place that's going to win the championship? That's right.
What are you saying, though, about you saying their window?
I am not going to say their window is closed.
Whoa, this is a brand new Connor. He did a wedding this week.
I'm going to say there's no chance they win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Just putting it out there.
So, window closed.
Oh, so close. The window's not there. So the
window never existed.
Window can't be closed if they never went to a Super Bowl.
This is back in the day, Ireland, whenever it split.
Boom.
I don't know if it was South Ireland or North Ireland. I think Ireland, South Ireland, which is now just known as Ireland.
Yeah, in Northern Ireland.
Yeah. So whenever it left, there's a big war. Northern Ireland folks, so I believe they're Protestant. I don't know. One of the religions. They came in. They were charging people for window space in their apartments. So, like, there's places around Ireland that you go to where the windows are like this big, tiny, look like jail cell windows.
Yeah.
Because of how much money it costs taxes to have that particular window. Some places had no windows.
Yeah.
Actual basements on the second floor, no windows at all because they want to pay for it. You're saying they're one of those.
Yeah.
You're saying the Buffalo Bills had no fucking windows. This is not just a jail cell. This is the hole. This is the darkness that Aaron went into. That's what you're saying the Buffalo Bills are?
I'm more so saying that they have curtains, and it's one of those hotel rooms where you pull the curtains back and there aren't any windows. So saying that they have a tiny window, that'd be a different situation. I think it's completely gone.
Golly, that's crazy.
Rodgers
People pay good money to go into those types of rooms.
Absolutely.
Heard Aaron did it.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
I mean, what kind of hotels are you going into, Con Man, with you open the curtains up and there's no window? You going to North Korea?
No. I just saw clips of it. I've never been to North Korea. They
Really?
won't let me. Yeah, no.
That's probably good.
I've been to China.
Okay.
Excuse me?
We know.
Right.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Why you say it like that?
Yeah, what?
Because I've been, and I can say it however the fuck I want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, do whatever you need to do.
I've walked the Great Wall.
Okay, Bank. Way to
Yep.
go.
Yeah. Boom. Thank you.
The whole thing?
Hope you're real proud.
Whole thing.
Did you stop by the Capitol?
No, I did not make. Actually, yes, I did stop by the Capitol.
Really? Have any meetings?
It's not with any government officials.
On this Patriots Day. Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, I tried to mend the fences.
Oh,
and
Tommy
unfortunately,
So you're the Dennis Rodman in North Korea. You're the.
I'm the guy that they send to China, and I try and figure it out.
I think you're the right guy.
Yeah, but nothing good has happened of it yet.
Apparently, because what I've been hearing.
Not good.
No, not at all.
Hope everybody's okay out there.
Yep.
Hope everybody's okay out there.
They aren't.
Jeez Louise. A couple things that have taken place in the sports world, our sports world over the weekend. Jim Irsay said, maybe, we. And then he would go on to say, also maybe we, and then he'd go on to say, or not. Okay. So a lot of options there at 4. There's a lot of shit coming out about C.J. Stroud right now. Seems like that noise is being made. Joining us in about 7 minutes will be Michael Lombardi, who's been saying a lot of things, and it's been taken to a lot of different levels of conversation because Michael Lombardi knows everybody. The C.J. Stroud stuff, I think, is the most interesting topic of the draft because we might get to next Thursday, Draft Spectacular, the 27th. Starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, we have surprises in store. It'll be our biggest Draft Spectacular to date.
Hell yeah.
We got guest GMs live from War Rooms calling in. We'll be following along as the most unpredictable draft over the last seemingly 10 years, it feels like.
Yeah.
Will have its first day. But the C.J. Stroud story is becoming a real thing. Houston Texans not taking a quarterback. Ooh, why is that? Houston Texans might not want C.J. Stroud. Is that what it means? C.J. Stroud's this, C.J. Stroud's that. Is this all smoke, you think, from another team? Like maybe the Colts at 4, trying to get C.J. Stroud to fall. What are your thoughts on these types of storylines before we get into the draft? A.J. Hawk.
Well, what are we? Probably like 10 days from the draft? When's the date of the draft?
Good math, 27th.
Next Thursday.
Okay, there we go. So I don't know. I mean, the fact that it's picked up right now, these last like 7 to 10 days before the draft, it's really tough to know anything of what is real, what is not real. And it would be surprising, I think, if Bryce Young goes 1 and then the Texans either pick a defender or trade out or don't take a QB and they
or another QB
set up for the future. Or another QB. If they took like Will Levis there at 2.
Whoa.
That would be shocking.
Anthony Richardson would be shocking at 2, I think.
Any of them would be somewhat shocking, but yeah.
Hendon Hooker at 2.
What is real?
Would be shocking, but we have no idea what's real at this point. We honestly have no clue what could happen. That number 3 overall pick becomes very vital if the Houston Texans at 2 don't take a quarterback. That means, okay, 3 quarterbacks apparently people are interested in. We still don't know. We'll find out draft night how interested teams actually are. Because remember, Malik Willis was going to be a first rounder.
Yeah.
He ended up in the 3rd round. So everything could be an absolute lie. But the stories about C.J. Stroud are getting loud right now.
Very loud.
And it's like, is there a reason, or is this just everybody kind of coming to the same conclusion? If that either one of them is the case, it's interesting. But if everybody's coming to the same conclusion, that's great for the Colts at 4. This guy sucks. Let him. You know what I mean? He's terrible. I met him one time, didn't shake my hand.
Yeah.
Didn't look me in the eye.
That's right.
This guy should not be picked in the top 3 of the NFL draft. He does not deserve it. 4, maybe. We'll see.
Sure.
But a top 3 overall pick, C.J. Stroud, I don't think so. I'm saying that because how incredibly selfish I am as a Colts fan, as a man that got to watch him play against Georgia down there, and you see him, you go, oh, that's a fucking Sunday quarterback right there. But everybody else seems to be saying a little bit differently. I don't know if it's smokescreen bullshit or they're doing what I'm doing, Tone. It's a wild time.
Great for the Colts at 4. And so before the combine, Bryce Young was the favorite to go number 1 overall. And then when the number 1 pick went to the Carolina Panthers, C.J. Stroud became like a minus 300 favorite to go number 1 overall. And now it's back to Bryce Young going minus 400 overall. And we know this is the one time where we know pretty much just as much as the books. So, or at least the books think in this case that there's enough smoke where there may be fire in this situation talking about C.J. Stroud that they definitely don't think that he's going number 1 overall right now.
It's interesting. Bryce Young, apparently the pick is what everybody has said to Carolina. So then you just assume C.J. is going to go number 2 overall.
Yeah.
All right, so who's going to go get C.J. at 2? Here at the Colts, I assume the Texans will not trade with us to let us go get our franchise quarterback.
No way.
But they need a quarterback. Why don't they think C.J. Stroud is the franchise quarterback? Or once again, is this all bullshit? And that's what April 27th will kind of put an end to, is all of the potential smokescreen lies or truths that are out there and who's right, who's wrong.
Well, maybe Will Anderson's just that good. Like, it feels like for these last 2 years.
Is he better than getting a franchise quarterback?
Well, because they have that 12 overall pick, like, is Hendon Hooker one of their favorite quarterbacks? And they think, hey, at 12, we can either move up to get Hendon, maybe at like 9, or he'll fall to us, and we don't have to make these tough decisions and then look like absolute fools passing on Will Anderson, who could be, a premier pass rusher in the NFL for the next 10 years.
Or that other guy from Texas Tech. What's his name?
Tyree Wilson.
His name's stuck in there as of late, last couple of days. You know him, AJ?
I don't know a bunch about him. I've tried to watch a little bit more as people talk about him. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to know, like, hey, which guys, they all look great on film, I feel like, especially when you're talking about these top 5, top 10 dudes. You just know, like, okay, what system would he fit best in? Like, how does it translate to the NFL?
And D'Amico, defensive head coach, his first year being a head coach. Well, Caserio came out and said, I'm not going anywhere. So he has some time to build, you'd assume, over the next couple of years. They didn't get a quarterback last year. They don't get a quarterback this year, too. There will certainly be a question, but they could Kevin Costner this thing. They could end up trading back, trading up. Because you go back to 12, you get rid of that one, you just keep your 12th overall pick. You could bundle that with 33, I think they have. And trade up back in. You know, there's a lot of moves that could be made by a lot of the people there at the top if they don't have exactly who they want. But we're certainly going to overreact as it's happening in real time.
Yeah, and I saw something. Pelissero just put up a tweet that Bryce Young has canceled his remaining visits or whatever, and it seems like the momentum is going towards him at number 1. So who knows? I mean,
Yeah, everybody's kind of talked about that. Everybody's kind of talked that Bryce Young's the guy. Let's get to a break. On the other side, we'll have Michael Lombardi joining us. He has started a lot of fuss.
Yes,
he has.
Especially with that team.
Hasn't he, AJ?
Yeah, I listened to him on the GM Shuffle talk about this whole Bryce Young situation. It's fascinating.
Very fascinating. Him talking about the Texans, too, a couple times.
Yep.
Schefter breaking news on them. Seems like there's a lot of smoke. What's that mean? He's the one who told us this is lying season.
That's right.
What will he tell us on the other side? Hopefully no lies, all truth. Sure, he's going to stir the pot a little bit.
I'd say.
Be a friend, tell a friend. Take 5. Ladies and gentlemen, a man with the dog mentality, Paisano, Coach Sirianni. You're fucking awesome, dude. Did you ever feel any pressure that you were going to have to change and adapt to being a head coach and speaking in the same bullshit ways that every other head coach talks in?
Some of the best advice I got was be yourself, because if you're not yourself, everyone's going to see through it.
The messaging is the same. You're just doing it in your own way. And I think that's the most important part. And being authentic, you're 100% right. As you were saying, if I wasn't me, everybody who will tell the fucking locker room immediately going to be like, well, this guy, he's a stooge. There's another coach that wants to talk to you. Coach Sirianni, your question for Coach Sirianni.
I feel like I know you just as good as I know myself.
What is it about Jalen, you think, from your point of view, last year to this year, that is like cemented him as a guy that people are talking about? This motherfucker might win the MVP.
Well, I know which one thing you want me to say. He's a dog.
Yeah!
He's a dog.
Yeah! Fucking dog!
Do you maybe want to play best 2 out of 3, rock, paper, scissors, coach first coach?
You're there forever, huh? Like, you have to have that mindset as the head coach? Like, do you feel like you're the perfect head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles? Because it feels like the team is the perfect representative of the city of Philadelphia. And I might be wrong. I'm from Pittsburgh, so the Johns are going to judge me for that.
I love the passion of the city and how much they care about football, because I care about football. I love football. I don't have a lot of hobbies. My biggest hobby is football.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
What you got?
Scissors. Yeah, the same person.
Okay.
We both threw scissors.
Dog mentality really is to be in the moment that you're in now and not worry about what happened in the past, not worry about what's going to happen in the future. It's all about our process and about being here today to make sure we're about to go 1-0 this week. That's it.
Rock, paper,
scissors,
shoot.
Ooh, I definitely got Jason Kelsey the kegs of beer. I was just trying to sweeten the deal of him coming back. As long as I'm the football coach here, I want him here, so I'm ready to give as many kegs of beer to him next year and the year after that and the year after that, because that guy is a dog.
Rock, paper,
scissors, shoot.
Same man.
We are getting our ass kicked in this preseason game. Belichick is taking it to us. It's halftime, and we are getting booed like you've never been. I was like,
paper,
rock, paper,
scissors,
shoot.
Oh, I think you might have rock there, but hey.
You got no idea what I'm going to do, because you're like, there's no way he's throwing scissors again. Come on, baby. I got a damn flower thrown at me, right? A flower chucked down. We lost to the Chargers. Boom, flower chucked down.
Hey, how's your little manure settling in? That's literally what that John said as they were throwing that John at you. They were like, how's the manure and how's the flowers coming, coach?
Hey, this is game 7 here. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh.
Scissors again. He threw scissors again, so did I. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, you guys are the same. Come on, hey, this is for 15 or 10.
Paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh! Dog mentality.
I got dog mentality, Coach. What can I tell you?
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Dan in Connecticut. Lovely place here on the 5 Energy phone line. What's going on, Dano?
Oh, what's up, Pat McAfee?
Dan, you are too young to listen to this show. I can tell. I think. How old?
I'm not Dan. I am Owen.
Mitt. Owen, how old are you?
It's so different.
I am at 8.5.
Oh, that's cute.
8.5.
If you're telling us you're half age, you're too young to be listening.
That's a record.
It stinks.
What's on your mind, pal?
What do you want to talk about, Owen?
I want to talk about how inspiring this show is and how you're inspiring this whole entire world with how you're talking about sports and how you're talking about your life experience.
Thank you, Owen.
Owen, thank you.
Love you, Owen.
Thank you,
Owen. I'm taking her on
And
the
also, fuck Boston College.
I will let Owen know, if you're still listening, Owen, you're inspiring.
Best kid ever.
Owen, the way you talk about sports is inspiring.
Yes!
I didn't know 8.5 could do that.
Wow.
Shout out Owen.
That time.
Go, Owen.
Hey, Owen.
New generation in Connecticut, I guess.
He was making me feel good, too, by the way. He was making me feel good, making the show feel good. He was talking us up. He was hyping us up, and then boom, a little.
Was this Aristotle's brother?
A little misdirection from Aristotle's brother, Owen, at 8.5 there. That was awesome.
I'd say he put his balls on your forehead, but I don't think they dropped yet. So.
Okay, so here's what I think. I don't know. I would love to ask him. I would love to ask what the scheme is.
Is this a read here on where the middle linebackers lined up right here? Are you able to shift this? Are they able to change this to the center pulling as opposed to the guard pulling with where the linebackers lined up there?
Yeah, that's why we wanted to be kind of in a spread formation right there, just try to put as much width to the formation as we could. And then ultimately the second part of that is being able to sell on a known passing down. I think that was the 2nd and 10. Being able to sell drop back pass, the illusion of our drop back protection. And then ultimately what's going to be the best angle of departure for whoever's going to climb to the second level to try to block 57, because let's not forget who that down player is, whether it's 95, 98. The Jets have fantastic front. That the goal going into that game was to hopefully just not let them wreck the game. And sometimes that's easier said than done with those types of players. But anytime you can get Dalvin Cook in space with the football in his hands, whether it's 2nd and 10, 1st and 10, really doesn't matter. It's something we're trying to always do. And I got to continue to find ways to do that, but also don't want to miss an opportunity to credit our offensive staff. Some of the ideas that they come up with every week, it makes it fun calling plays.
That's seemingly unstoppable right there. Spread them out, so then you got Mosley kind of on an island right there. If he lines up head up, we'll have this guy pull, and if he lines up off center, we'll have the center pull in there. That's an option that they can put in there. This modern NFL with all these rules, you're obviously a massive part of it. We need to start saying your name a lot more whenever we start talking about young offensive things.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston College.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Nick is Married Monday, April 17th, 2023. Hour 3 of the program starts now.
Marauders!
There's 2 of them. Nick and Carly got hitched this weekend. Congrats to them. That's AJ Hawk. The Toxic Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. And joining us now is a man who has had every single job in the NFL. His name has been trending almost every other day for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, because he is plugged in to literally every single team in the NFL. Has been around the NFL for 4 decades. He's been a GM, a coach's assistant, a Super Bowl champion, a speaker, a podcast host, the GM Shuffle, and the Lombardi Line live show host. He's a newsletter writer, the Daily Coach. He's a TED Talk giver. He's a big fucking brain. He's a paisan, just like me. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lombardi.
Thank you. It's good to be
be here. It's good to be back with you guys. Hope all is well. Congratulations. Big wedding. I know you got a big day coming, so it's all great.
Hell yeah, life's good over here. We're much better whenever you're around us, though. You look great out there in Vegas still, Paisan.
Thank you, my man. Yeah, staying away from the buffet lines is really not an easy thing to do. When I started my career, it was in Vegas, and it was 1981, and my job, I made $6,000 a year, and I got buffet tickets, so I've learned to stay away from them. Hello?
Yep.
Back.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
There we go.
AJ's call just dropped out of nowhere. We assumed that the trophy that he got this weekend was too big. It was like a satellite interfering with the line.
Makes sense.
But you are crushing it out in Vegas, and we can't thank you enough for joining us. We fucking love you, pal. You've been trending every other day talking about this draft. I don't know how closely you follow on Twitter or how closely you follow everything that you say, but the reactions have been massive because what you've been saying have been a little bit different than what everybody else is saying. Let's dive in, shall we? We all know that Caserio came from New England. There's a lot of New England contingency down there. You also had deep ties in New England. So whenever you speak about something happening in Houston, in this particular studio, in this particular office, we go, hey, Wamba knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
So whenever you talk about maybe them not getting a quarterback or maybe something about CJ Stroud, then we see Schefter saying, hey, there's a chance the Texans don't take a quarterback. We start piecing 2 and 2 together that maybe the Texans aren't as high on CJ Stroud as we can imagine that they are, that we thought they were. And ever since you kind of talked about that, there's been a plethora of stories that have come out, not too many, but it seems like a narrative trying to be built about CJ Stroud maybe not being the best NFL quarterback going forward when that wasn't what we had heard all the way up until like a week and a half ago. What are you hearing? What are your thoughts? And you're the one that told us this is lying season. Are you just a part of the bullshit to potentially get CJ Stroud to a team?
Whoa.
No, I don't think I am, though, who knows, but I watched the tape and I think, look, when you're in a situation where you are at Houston, I think it's pretty clear when you watch the tape, Bryce Young was the best quarterback in this draft. We can debate other things, but Bryce Young was ready to play. And I think the Carolina situation where they were debating back and forth, I think that was a little bit of liar's poker. I think they were going to take Bryce Young all along. They did their homework, and I believe that'll be the pick. I think Stroud's about comfortability. He plays in an offense where he looks to the sideline to call plays. And it's a number system, so it's not as familiar. He doesn't call the play. He doesn't get it into. Levis at Kentucky did. Richardson, the same thing. So a lot of this is teams learn about the players as they're coming through their facility. Stroud's I'm not saying he's a bad player. What I'm saying about Houston, and I've said about Houston, is they're going to take the best player. I don't think they're as quarterback hungry as everybody wants them to be. They need a quarterback. There's no denying it. But they have 2 number ones next year. And DeMeco Ryans is in this for the long haul. Why not take the best player? Why take a risk?
Got it. So AJ Hawk joins us again. Obviously, he is the Ohio champion. Great to see you, AJ.
Yeah.
He was just talking about Houston. He believes that Houston's going to take the best player available, especially in DeMeco's first year. He is a defensive guy. Will Anderson is the best player available there. Do you think there's any chance now, if they're not going to take a quarterback, if the world knows that, their pick is very expensive right now? Do you think they think about moving out there? Or 3 overall all of a sudden becomes like almost a free-for-all for anybody that needs a quarterback? Or do you think that we're not at that level with the talent that CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, or Hendon Hooker have?
All right, let me start on the second part. I think every quarterback other than Young has something wrong with them. And when I say something wrong with them, I don't mean socially. I mean in terms of their game, what they lack, what they need to do, what they must improve on. Look, today's a great day for any player because Jalen Hurts proved that if you work on your weaknesses and you work diligently and you become someone who's dedicated, then you can improve. And all these quarterbacks are going to have to improve. They all have something wrong with them, right? And the teams are looking at that, and they're saying, which one will work the hardest to improve? The second best player in this draft, and I want to be really clear here, the second best player in this draft is Jalen Carter. Now, Jalen Carter is dominant at whatever he does. Wherever he goes, he's the second best. It's not Will Anderson, it's Carter. However, Carter's got some issues, the weight gain, the seriousness of the problem that happened on the campus of the University of Georgia, his off-the-field investigation into that situation, the weight gain, all those things. But Carter is, just purely watching football players play football, the second best defensive player. And I believe Houston will take the best defensive front 7 guy. everybody says, why not take a risk on the quarterback? Look, if you're Seattle, Detroit, and you're picking up this high, you better take the best player, especially on defense. And I'll give you a Walshism. As great of a coach as Bill Walsh was, and as great as he was as an offensive mind, he believed this. You need to draft the best 11 players for defense because you can't hide a defensive player. And I think that's what's going to run this draft.
Hasn't been really chatted about much. Everything's been about the top four. Yeah. Who's going to go at the quarterback position? Seems like defense is going to be top heavy in Lombo's mind. What do you got, AJ? Former number 5 overall pick, Mike linebacker.
If C.J. Stroud does not go in the top 2 picks, how far do you think he could fall, and where could he go?
That's the one I'm having a hard time on where it could go. Again, it's hard to predict. Everybody, it's easy to say to the people that call you on the phone, we're going to take a quarterback because people think you need a quarterback. So it's not really a lie, but you're fibbing. And I think there's a lot of fibbing going on. I'm not sure where he goes. I'm not sure where he fits. I do think the Colts will pick a quarterback at 4. I love Jim Irsay's tweet. He basically laid it out. We can do anything. But I think at the end of the day, the Colts are sitting there saying, whoever we take at 4 at quarterback is going to have some issues. And I think we're going to take the one that has the least amount. I think they would take Levis over anybody else, but I could be wrong on that. I don't know. I think it really comes down to Steichen and Ballard deciding which one has the least amount of risk that they could take and they put in their locker room. Could he go at 4? I think teams are now starting to accept that Stroud's not going 2, and I think more work's being done.
Okay, so your general manager, Chris Ballard. We're sitting at 4. C.J. Stroud's available. Will Levis is available. Anthony Richardson is available. Hendon Hooker is available. Michael Lombardi, general manager of the Indianapolis Colts, is taking...
based on tape, I would take Stroud. But here's what I would answer your question.
All right.
If I were the GM of the Colts, I would ask Mr. Irsay if I could borrow one of his planes, and I would fly down to see Lamar Jackson. And I would show Lamar Jackson this Jalen Hurts contract and say, Lamar, this is not guaranteed. We've seen 3 contracts since Watson's deal that have not been fully guaranteed. I want to make you an Indianapolis Colt. I put Lamar Jackson on this team with the Colts are, all of a sudden I'm relevant. If I were in Washington and I put Lamar Jackson on that team, I'm relevant. I think this contract for Hurts opens the door up to have a conversation with Lamar about not everything's going to have to be guaranteed buttoned up. And if I were Chris Ballard, I would be on that airplane. Here's the thing that's interesting. Everybody says for the last 2 months, you can't pay a quarterback and go to the Super Bowl. Well, the Eagles just paid Hurts a lot of money.
Chiefs.
They're planning on going to the Super Bowl. So why wouldn't I try to get the best quarterback? Why would I take a risk with Stroud or a risk with Levis when I could go get Lamar Jackson or at least try to get Lamar Jackson? You say, well, you got to give up 2 number ones. No, I don't. I give up 1 number 1 because I'm going to pick somebody at 4 anyway. I'm picking a better player at 4 with Lamar than I would be drafting any one of those guys.
So it's next year's 1 that technically you'd be giving up. But if we win, who gives a fuck? That 1's going to be at 30, 31, 32 anyways.
Right. I mean, it's like the Jets are now waiting. The Jets are in the perfect place. They're going to give up. The Packers are going to take a pick somewhere between 25 and 32 for Aaron Rodgers when their 13th pick is sitting there. Like, wouldn't you rather have that? The Jets are loving this. They want the draft to get over with without getting Rodgers because they get all those picks.
Okay, so you would take C.J. Stroud at 4, but why are we even thinking about that? Give me Lamar Jackson. Let's visit the Jalen Hurts deal. And the Chiefs paid Patrick Mahomes. They obviously just won a Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford got paid. They won a Super Bowl. Tom Brady got $50 million guaranteed. They won a Super Bowl. You can pay a quarterback. Obviously, you just got to be able to build up around the team. Some GMs have been able to do that. Some GMs have been able to do it and got injuries that have popped up out of nowhere. I mean, the NFL is a wild game, but you got to have a fucking quarterback. The Colts need a quarterback. Why aren't they in Lamar Jackson? And do you think this deal with Jalen gets the Lamar deal done soon? Like the Ravens probably will say exactly what Philly did to Lamar. You think that'll be the case? You said the Colts should do that, but won't Baltimore just do that as well? And do you think that ship is already sailed?
I think if I were Baltimore, if I was Steve, we're going to find out if Baltimore really wants to sign Lamar. That's what we're going to find out now. Do they really want to sign him or they just want him to play on the tender? We're going to find that out. Because to me, look, they signed Odell Beckham because that's what Lamar said, I want Hopkins or Beckham.
Yeah, you had a source that told you that was said there?
Well, let me give it back up. They thought they had a trade for Cortland Sutton, the Baltimore Ravens. That trade fell apart. and then they went after Beckham. Now, look, there's the Beckham deal for all we talk about. The Beckham's had 67 catches in his last 2 seasons. I mean, he hasn't, he's made a lot of money, but the way this NFL's gone with receivers, I think there's 15 or 16 receivers making over $20 million a year. I mean, Mike Evans at 13.5 is one of the biggest bargains in the league right now. And so the receiver market has kind of escalated. So the Beckham deal on the surface is expensive. I don't know who the competition was, but they needed to show something to Lamar that they were going to have a receiving core around him. Could they get Hopkins? Hopkins now says he doesn't want to raise. For the most of the time, that was about money. It was about getting a raise. We'll see. But to me, they had to extend that olive branch. I would think that, to me, you get on an airplane, you show Lamar and his mom, here's the deal that Jalen Hurts just signed. It's not fully guaranteed. So we've had 3 deals. We've had Russell Wilson, we've had Kyler Murray, and we've had Hurts now that haven't been fully buttoned up. So let's do a deal.
Okay, I hope they're able to do that. I hope there's a couple $100 million going to Lamar Jackson, because I can't wait to see what he buys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what he does with it. I hope he's an Indianapolis Colt. I doubt it, though, because what Jim Irsay said was maybe or maybe or not. So didn't hear anything. Everybody could be lying. Excited to hear who is and who isn't. Speaking of lying, some more shit came out of this situation. Ty has a question for you, Lombo.
Yeah, Michael, going back to the Jets and the Packers, early last week there was a report that said the Packers and the Jets had already agreed on compensation. The Packers were going to get the Jets' 13th overall pick, but then Woody Johnson heard that Rodgers was 90% going to retire going into the darkness, and that kind of spooked him, and he walked that back. Since then, a lot of insiders have said that's bullshit. That was never true. That they had never agreed to compensation. Do you believe that? Do you think the Packers, that's why they're kind of holding firm here, because they had already been promised the 13th pick? And is that common? Like when you were a GM, where like you would come to an agreement with the team and then whatever would happen, someone would get cold feet and that kind of causes everything to fall apart?
I think from my experiences, whenever you let a team talk to a player without an agreement on a trade, you've basically removed all your leverage. So if the Packers were willing to let the Jets negotiate with Rodgers and have conversations without agreeing on compensation, this is what you're going to get into, because now the player and the team are working against you. You follow me? They're working against you. They're saying, I'm only playing for the Jets. So if you don't trade me to the Jets, there's nothing. You have to have that. You have to have that agreed upon, and an exchange in an email. Look, we will trade you Aaron Rodgers. You have permission to talk to Aaron Rodgers. If you're going to give us back the 13th pick overall in the draft, you sign off on that. You don't send it to the league office, but in agreement, you have to have that, or else you lose any leverage in this negotiation. It made no sense at all for the Packers to just say, "Oh, please talk to Aaron Rodgers. Go ahead, do whatever you like," and then come back to us. Now I'm trapped. I have no way to go. It's the dumbest thing of all. So to me, the Packers had to have something in that they're not that dumb. They had to have something that said they had a deal, because now they're 20 down in the fourth quarter. They're playing from behind.
We got 10 days.
Yeah, it's
until
close.
the draft. Have you heard anything?
Here's the thing I think people misconstrue of, Pat. Every trade is a player for player. Okay? Every trade's a player for a player. I don't give a crap about this draft pick nonsense. Oh, we traded a 1 for that guy. Well, that 1 becomes a player. The Raiders traded Amari Cooper for basically Jonathan Abrams. That's what the trade ended up being, okay? It's player for player. So when you're a general manager in the league and if I trade Aaron Rodgers, I get the 13th pick. I know what player, I don't know specifically what I'm getting, but I have an idea of what I'm going to get. If I trade him for next year's 1, I have no idea what I'm getting. So I'm trading blind. I have no idea what I'm getting. And I think that's ultimately where they are. And it favors the Jets tremendously.
I'm excited to see how it works out, what the compensation is, and what the Jets look like with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, because it seems like all parties just assume it's going to take place. No deal has been done. We are still just waiting in the dark, but not in Oregon. We can poop with the lights on.
Okay.
Connor has a question for you, Lombo.
Yeah, Lombo, I saw you talking about the Giants last week and how it must be upsetting for Saquon and Dexter Lawrence, to sit back and see.
Who would have thought, Lombo?
Yeah, who would have thought? And with Saquon being one of those franchise tag players, obviously that situation's one thing, but with Josh Jacobs and now obviously Lamar and Evan Ingram, from a front office perspective, how big of a pain in the ass is it when the player you tag doesn't sign it? And then how do you see some of those situations playing out?
Well, I think, look, every player is going to say they're not going to sign the tender. I mean, Barkley's saying he's not signing the tender. They're talking about, Dalvin Cook could get released, and so because of the contract and Minnesota's cap situation, and Dalvin Cook's a hell of a player. Every player says they're not going to sign the franchise, and then you remind them that Kirk Cousins has made $231 million from signing the franchise, and 229 of it's been guaranteed. So, there is benefits to signing the 1-year deal, because if you want to be a free agent, you get another year. You get guaranteed money, and you get to go back out in the market again. You keep dipping, and the price keeps going up if they want to retain your services. So, look, I mean, Jesse Bates this time last year said there's no way he's playing for the Bengals. He would never come in, and guess what? He came in. George Young, the former general manager of the New York Football Giants, said a great saying. He said, football players play football. At some point, they're going to come in. You can say Le'Veon Bell did the right thing by holding out. I think it was ridiculous. I think it wasn't the right thing when you turned down $14 million. I'm sure he'd like to have that $14 million back.
2 albums, though. He dropped 2 albums.
Yeah, heaters.
Yeah, and he said he wanted 17 M's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I heard that in a freestyle in his front yard. That was not on the album, though.
No, it wasn't.
But he did get 30-some guaranteed afterwards from the Jets, so business-wise, I think he could probably sleep at night. But
he could have got the $30 million from the Jets if he'd have taken the 14, and then they would have got 30. They would have had to franchise him again.
Oh.
See, everybody. You know what I mean? The meter, you keep going.
Hey, what happens there if he gets hurt, though, and never gets to play football again? Ugh.
That's why you have insurance, and that's why you have agents to make sure you got that insurance policy.
Oh, Lloyd's of London, yeah, that thing will cost you $155,000 for if your leg gets sawed off. You know what I mean? And you can't walk again.
Yeah, I know that it is a little difficult, but you got to find a way to protect yourself.
I got the Lloyd's of London thing, insurance when I got franchise tagged. And as I'm signing it and going through it, I'm like, this is the biggest piece of trash I've ever signed in my entire life. Not that I'm a big insurance bettor at blackjack. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never, hey, pays 2-1. What do you think? Faces are coming. I never do it. I'm not a big believer in that. But it was like, all right, franchise tag. I got a lot of years left. There's millions of dollars. I got to do this. And then they start telling you how much you got to pay for what in return. It's like, all right, I'll pick that option. Cost me like $65,000. That's so much money. Okay, but I'll potentially get 15 or 20 million, whatever it is on the other side. And then as you're reading through what has to happen for you to get that, I had to get my leg sawed off in a football on a football field and then not be able to walk for at least 12 months straight or kick a ball for 12 months straight. And then you'll be able to get it. Oh. Good deal, though. You're looking out for yourself. This is a smart thing. It's like, I feel like I've been bamboozled. But this is the right play business-wise. That's why people hate the franchise tag, though, because it's obviously not long-term security, and it's always been a team weapon. Every single NFLPA negotiation, the players are trying to get rid of the franchise tag as opposed to keep it. It's not going anywhere. I hope Lamar does end up playing, whether it's on the tag or a long-term deal. If he doesn't play, they can franchise tag him again still, or what happens there?
I think they have one more tag at him, and I think it's 130% of the number it is this year. So the number just keeps going up. I mean, it behooves both parties.
Now, if he doesn't play, if he sits out, can they franchise tag him again?
If he sits out, they can franchise him again. Yeah. I mean, if he sits out, he does it, but he walks away from $32 million. Who does that?
Wow.
Who walks away from 32? If he, you can't do that. I mean, the system, it's not smart. And so,
hold on.
Hold the phone. I mean, let's not bury anybody that walks away from $30 million too hard here. You know what I mean? Let's not bury that at all. But you're right. I would like to see him play football.
I forgot about that. Yeah. I guess you're right.
Yeah. I would
but somebody who would walk away from 30 knows they've got something at another. There's another rainbow coming.
Whoa. Tone Diggs has something for you, Lumbo.
Lumbo, we're talking to Ian Rappaport earlier, and we were talking about Budda Baker and how he wants to trade, but the Cardinals said that they don't want to trade him. As a GM, how do you deal with a situation like that where the player requests a trade, but you do not want to trade them?
I think what you do is basically, why do you want to make a trade? Like, if I were Monty Ossadorf, I would call him in the office and sit down and say, okay, what's the deal here? Why do you want to leave? Is it contract or is it just culture? And let's figure out what this is. We just hired a new coach. We're going to change the culture in the building. We're going to hold people accountable. We're going to do this. So give us a chance to show you that. If it's contract, then explain to me why. Like I mentioned about the receiver market, sometimes these contracts become so advanced that the player who signed them gets so far behind and he's a better player. If that's the issue, then let's have that conversation. I mean, transparency usually works. So let's have a one-on-one deal here. Let's talk about why you don't want to be here. Who made you upset? What caused it? Was it something in our training room? Was it something in the equipment room? Where is it that we have a problem? I'm new to this organization. I need to fix all the problems. And I think that's ultimately how you have to work it.
All right. Well, hopefully it'll all get figured out before draft time. Anything else we're missing here, Lombo, that we should be talking about?
I think the question that we're going to address over the next 10 days is where's Carter going to go? We know he's not going less than 10. The Eagles will take him if he makes it to 10. And I think the other thing is this Tyree Wilson kid from Texas Tech. He's really a good player, but he hurt his foot. He had a broken bone in his foot. He's just gotten his foot cleared. And I think he's going to be a top 10 pick. He's going to see a bunch of teams this week. If they clear him on the physical, if he can play for camp, I think he's going to be a name that not a lot of people have talked about in this draft that has great, great upside. I mean, great upside. And I think Seattle and Detroit would fit perfectly for his skill set.
Go ahead, AJ.
Lombo, when's the first running back taken?
That's a great question. I think there's a myth about this running back. If Bijan Robinson can play in the slot like Sarkisian keeps saying, and when you watch him on tape, you believe he can, he's a weapon. Here's what I want to say to everybody. Why is it okay to pay, and I like Keenan Allen as a good player. Keenan Allen's a really good player. But it's okay to pay him all this money, but it's not okay to pay a running back. Keenan Allen averages about 10 yards a catch. These running backs that impact the passing game are weapons. And they become problems. And what makes the 49ers so good is they can substitute without substituting. McCaffrey can be a slot even though he's a halfback. He can go outside and play. So to me, if Bijan Robinson shows weapon-like skills in the passing game, he's worth it. Now, the guy that you can't pay is a running back who's just going to run the ball. He's in the game. Everybody knows it's run or screen. That's the one that becomes harder.
You just view him as a weapon as opposed to a running back. You're talking about Austin Eckler clearly in that conversation right there.
There's no doubt. Like, he's so underpaid, it's ridiculous. Because what happens with him is in the red zone, he becomes a huge weapon. He's a factor in the red zone. And so you've got to defend him. To me, Eckler, he had 107 catches this year. His target percentage, I think, was in the 70s. Like, you're talking about a guy who you walk to the stadium on Sunday morning, you're saying, how are we going to handle Eckler here? How are we going to handle Eckler there?
All he does is score touchdowns. Tone has something to follow up.
Lombo, does that make Jahmyr Gibbs potentially a first-round pick then, Alabama?
I think he, every time I watch Gibbs, I'm thinking, that looks like Kamara. That looks like Kamara. That kid looks like Kamara. How did he end up at Georgia Tech? Like, that kid looks like Kamara. And then obviously he went to Alabama. No knock on Georgia Tech here, but, that kid was really talented. So, I think so. Now, I think probably what will happen at the bottom is it's always the second contract that bother people. But if you're impacting the passing game, and you're out there in space, that second contract isn't relevant. I think you'll make those plays.
Just to go back and reiterate what you're saying, like having Debo also be a running back out there.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Why don't more teams think about moving wide receivers into a running back position?
Look, on every draft board that I've ever been a part of, a receiver that played running back in high school got moved up a little bit. Okay, why? Because great receivers have always got run skills with the ball in their hands. They understand how to run the football when it's in their hands. So what you really want to do is take a receiver and make him a running back, or a running back who was to become a receiver. That's what happens. The receivers that have that run skill, yards after the catch, like Debo, they become so valuable because in this sport, it's hard to outrun people. It's hard to run go routes and win. But when you can break tackles and run, wow, watch out. And that's why those guys get moved up the board.
Shout out Randy Moss. On anybody. Could get out there and get it. A couple others as well. Lombo, we know you could run a go route on anybody if you had to.
Right.
We appreciate you. We don't know who called you twice during that, but we hope you get back to him. You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lombardi.
Guys. Appreciate you.
All right, so CJ's good then.
Yes. He said he'd take him at 4 if the Colts are there.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So let's put everything to bed.
And he said it wasn't really anything like off the field.
Let's put it all to bed then, AJ. Perfect.
Yeah, he said if Will Levis is there at 4, the Colts will probably take him, right?
No, that's actually exactly what he didn't say.
He said CJ Stroud's at 4. He'll take CJ Stroud. But with that being said, if I'm Chris Ballard, I'm already in South Florida before the draft, finding out. Now, that's a little bit different than having to be in the actual position of Chris Ballard, saying what you would do if you were Chris Ballard. But Chris Ballard also brought in Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers, Jacoby Brissett, Brian Hoyer.
Jacoby's.
Jacoby. Well, he got drafted him, I believe.
A lot of guys.
Bringing in a lot of guys from other teams being like, hey, we need you, we need you, we need you. So I think he might be a little bit more gun shy to go get another quarterback than maybe others. But Lamar Jackson as a Colt would be fucking epic.
Yeah.
But if we get CJ Stroud, I'm cool with it. Yeah. I'm very, very happy as well.
Well, and have you guys heard of any situations to what Lombardi was kind of worried about where a quarterback can't process the words of a playbook, not so much the plays, he gets that, but actually reiterating the play calls that they're trying to do. If they're just calling in from the sideline, he's just saying the number 5 play.
Yeah, I mean, there's that super popular clip of Chris Sims in the huddle in training camp
with Gruden.
Yeah, and Gruden spitting out all the plays, and he fucks it up 3 times in a row, and Gruden eventually is just like, Jesus Christ, get him out of here.
But if he wasn't so good at breaking down plays, he wouldn't have made that team.
Exactly.
Because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But also, why are these coaches having that long of a fucking play call?
Good question.
It's a great question.
I get it. You've studied more than anybody. Cool. Can we eliminate 50% of those words? We have a play clock, and we have guys that need to be less thinky, more athlete takeover-y.
Right.
Which is where your coach comes
Mike
from.
That Mike Leach Foundation, all that stuff is simplified, as few words as possible. I've asked, when you ask those coaches, hey, why do some of these coaches have one play as a paragraph long? And well, they want you to think that they're much smarter than you, so they make them very long, which isn't totally the case, but you could definitely find a way to condense it. I would imagine now, too, with how kids are learning, how you teach things to people, you definitely need to condense that.
So Kenny Pickett used to have to run to the sideline with Whipple, the offense coordinator, and then run back and give the play. And now he was talking about CJ looking to the sideline, them signaling it in, him not having to say anything to anybody. Everybody on the field knowing what the play is at the same exact time from the signal. I think that's pretty common in college football these days. Especially
Most everybody does it in college.
Yeah, so there's probably transition for a lot of people to have to do it. He said, well, Levis, though, was calling full plays. I guess that is that's a lot of experience.
Yeah.
That is not an easy thing to be able to do, especially in the moment in front of people, being able to get it all right. And then also remember what the count is and where the ball's supposed to go.
I think Will Levis's OC at Kentucky came from the Rams, if I am correct or not. But tons of colleges now use those cards with pictures on them, and there's not a lot of play calling in those, I believe.
I'm fascinated by how can you find out who has the brain for the NFL and who doesn't? Some positions don't have to have a great one. There's some doofuses that have made it into the NFL. Okay, we won't.
As long as you play hard, yeah. There's some doofuses that play very, very hard.
I won't say that isn't the case. But most of the guys that have great success in the NFL, their football IQ is insanely high.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's insanely high is either because they've been in the game for so long or their ability to watch film, their ability to recall things that happen. Now, everybody talks about quarterback recalling. Think about the defensive safeties. It's in this formation, we got this. Corners. I mean, we talked to Pac-Man. Pac-Man Jones, a lot of people would be like, oh, he runs 4.28. He was 6th overall pick. He played every single position. How cerebral is he? He's like, well, I watched every single play. I pretty much had a good lean on everything. The brain, the football IQ is the differentiator between almost everybody. And it's hard, I think, to figure out during this draft process. And I think that's a big X factor. What do you think it is? How do you think it is, figure outable, I'll say, for what somebody's football IQ is? How do you figure that out?
There's no concrete way. There's no science behind it. But, I mean, the only thing I can think of is talk to these guys and, compare it to different people that you have come across. Say you're talking to quarterbacks. All right, how does this compare to other guys in the past maybe that have had success compared to not had success? But the biggest thing was, I got to talk to their coaches. I need to talk to everybody around that person because they're all going to be on their best behavior. You're at the combine. They're doing your meeting. Yeah, you can get a good feel on maybe how competitive he is or whatever, but you don't really get to know the dude until he actually is on your team.
Yeah, but you, for instance, Luke Fickell was his linebacker coach.
Yep.
Luke Fickell told us that he'd ask AJ, hey, what are you doing on this play? AJ go, yeah, I got this guy who's doing this or whatever. And Luke go, you got the one that got us to two. I don't know the numbers, but I know I got this guy doing this guy. So Luke's like, okay, this guy is a Rain Man when it comes to football, which is probably why he went 5 overall to be.
Should have been 2.
100% candidate.
No, I just didn't. My brain didn't. I told you, I'm not very good with math. So Luke had this numbering system sometimes on how you would match, and my brain didn't compute. So I would just have to. I know. Yep. I just don't use the same terminology really.
Yeah, but your football IQ You know, so it was like I think that's people undersell that whenever they think about NFL players. Everybody just thinks, "Oh, put pads on, run fast." It's like all those fucking people out there have a football IQ that is so high. No, there might be 2 or 3 guys on that field that have no idea what the fuck they're doing. They're just insanely athletic, and their work ethic is absurd.
But if they have any kind of like sustainability, there's no, like I've said a million times, there's not many old dumb guys in the NFL.
Yes.
It's not the case.
Could you imagine being a GM right now trying to draft somebody?
No, not at all.
There's a lot of fails.
Yeah.
There's a lot more fails that come out of first rounds than there is hits. And everybody that's drafting at the top of this has to hit a home run. And if they don't, they'll be judged about it forever and their team will suck. That's a tough thing to have to do every year.
Yeah, well, with the like whole mental part of it too, some part of it has to do with the system, right? Like Gabe Davis talked about at UCF, they would have a lot of option routes. So like when they were doing that entire thing against the Rams, we were on the sideline, they were like, hey, if you see this on the field, like change it and just go, right? And then that's exactly what happened, and that's the situation.
That makes me happy about Hendon Hooker.
Yeah.
Like that's a little piece of information about Hendon Hooker where you're like, guy beat Bama.
Yep.
Okay, not easy to do. Game day went to Tennessee twice.
Yep.
Now I know Heupel is the guy, but this team had a great leader, obviously.
Yeah.
Then Peyton Manning did the mic'd up thing, path to the draft. Omaha did with him. Peyton loves Hendon. Has worked with Hendon
says a lot.
Obviously, he's a Tennessee guy, but you got Peyton Manning just as a call and as an asset. I think if you're drafting Hendon Hooker, not that you're getting out with anybody else, but then you meet Hendon's family.
Yeah.
Hendon's family is fucking awesome. It's like the guy, every single play had option routes that he was already doing in college. He can move towards ACL, though.
Yeah, accurate. Only had 2 picks, right?
Towards ACL. It's like 2023. What's modern science? How come he's not higher? And then
If he didn't tear it, would we be talking about him with the top as the top pick, like a possibility?
Is it an age thing? Like, does 24, 25 scare people away? I mean, he could still play.
Shouldn't.
10 years.
Not at quarterback. At quarterback, that's a good thing. Other positions that may, and you want him for a second contract, maybe not. But
I saw a 30-year-old lady from Minnesota almost win the fucking Boston Marathon this morning. 30.
Really?
Emma Bates.
30.
She's from. You say she's from Boston?
Minnesota. Boston Marathon, though. She was leading this whenever it, the men's
like
marathon.
the biggest marathon. Isn't that the biggest deal to win the Boston Marathon?
Streaming it live on ESPN. I don't know how many.
Nice.
Happy Patriots Day.
Happy Patriots Day. Hell yeah.
30-year-old lady out of Minnesota almost won that thing. She was in the lead for a long time.
Sprinting for over 26 miles, basically.
Yep. Some lady ate shit.
Yeah, big time.
Literally?
Yeah, they were in a group. So in bicycle, they all line up ass to face. Boom, 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 face to ass. Boom, 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 boom. In running, it seems like they get in like a little group.
Pods.
Like a pod, and they run or whatever. This is just from what we watched this morning.
You're drafting off each other, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're trying to. Lady in the back, I think she wanted to go for it. And then somebody in front of those, so kicked somebody's heel. Boom.
Oh.
Face. Then got back up, caught back up to the group. But I just thought about how much energy that had to take from going down and then getting back
Did they get up and go club him from behind when they caught up?
There was no fight. The
Should be
scooter
able
driver
to.
with the camera person, though, did have to do a quick stop. Thought there was a
Yeah.
chance to run it over. Could you imagine?
Oh, no.
Oh, my
It's
God.
had to happen. That's definitely had to happen, unfortunately.
Of course, it was great. Breakdowner. But Emma ended up where?
I don't know. I was going to say, so we know for sure that Batesy did not win. She was losing steam in the last
Beginning of
leg.
the show, I was peeking back to see a little bit. I saw that she did not win, but she was in the top, 5?
Top 5. She came in third, I believe, in the
What's their time?
the
You know what their time
Chicago
is?
one, maybe? Yeah, the Chicago Marathon.
Second or third, yeah.
We got a dog. Emma Bates is a dog. 30 years. She
Boise
took
State.
5th here at the Boston one.
Jeez,
She
that's
was,
unbelievable.
she was in the group though.
Yeah.
She was in the crew there leading.
And have you
for-
guys ever run a marathon or even a half marathon?
Yeah, of course not.
I'm saying anybody in the room, anybody there.
Yeah, of course not. What do you know? Phil, CFO
Yeah,
Phil.
Phil.
He ran 1 3/4 of one.
Which is a lot.
Not easy. Well, I guess it would be what?
So hard.
7/8.
Yeah, it was almost there.
He ran.
Is that when he
Yeah.
dumped himself and went to the hospital?
Yeah.
He didn't dump.
Dumped himself? Damn.
I think he did lose bowel control.
That would
Probably.
make sense.
His muscles.
Was it rhabdo?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Rhabdo, yeah.
Oh.
So did he poop himself? You know more about rhabdo than us?
I don't know if dumping down your leg is part of that. I really don't.
Marathons, though, you see a lot of people dumping down their leg.
do.
Especially in that speed walking, a lot of pooping
yeah.
of the pants.
Part of it.
A lot of the
And
Lululemon.
Yeah, I've been there.
You know you're going to run it. You've been preparing for it. You got to figure out a way to not dump yourself.
Well, they take, what is it, like Imodium or whatever to like make sure like, hey, I cannot have to take a shit for the next 10 hours.
But they carb up the night before, so don't
Big
you?
time,
You would
yeah.
have to get that
Carb
all
oil.
out, right?
Yeah, have to.
Morning of?
Hopefully.
Maybe do like a colonoscopy prep type thing.
Is that what took Phil out? He had to
been.
dump.
Maybe.
And his body just shut down.
He looked so good. Did you see him this weekend? How good he looked?
I saw the pictures. He looks awesome.
Dude, he's properly jocked right now too.
Yo.
So he's doing another triathlon deal?
Yeah, this is the first triathlon I think that he's doing.
Yeah.
But he's in hilarious shape right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's in.
Said he's not. I was asking about it. He said he's not started swimming yet, but the other two he's pretty confident in.
Should start to swim.
Yeah, that's probably
It's
most
the only thing
important
he's
one.
not good at, I think.
Can't get rhabdo in the water.
That would stink.
Yeah, and then you're dead.
Yep.
And they're all
Can
swimming.
cramp up and sink. And
They're all swimming over top of you too, like those dolphins. Whenever you get around them, when they're all horned up.
Yep.
People are just swimming right over top of you in those triathletes.
They don't care.
They don't care. They'll go dick right on your back.
Yeah.
Okay?
Stampede.
And then right on your neck, and then the back of your head, and then you
Right over you.
All of a sudden they're in front of you. Now
Yep.
you're, and then their friend needs to catch up, and they're coming sack over shoulder again.
That's right. He needs to find out a way to simulate chop.
Maybe he needs us in there. You know what I mean?
Just jumping up and down and getting some waves going.
And then climbing over top of
Yep.
them.
Yeah.
Because it is pool basketball too. I think there's heads being pushed under the water.
All
Oh,
you
yeah.
gotta do is get one of us in
different.
each corner of the pool with inner tubes, and you jump up and down. You create a wave pool pretty quick.
And then we can all run in a circle too. So it's like a little
Whirlwind.
whirl. Yeah. We'll help you, Phil, if you want. Got to grow back
open
that
water
flavor.
swim's different. Think how different that open water swim is. You've been swimming laps in a pool the whole time, and then all of a sudden you're out like in some weird man-made lake swimming 3.5 miles or whatever.
Tim McAfee used to strap a harness on and then go into a above ground pool and just try to swim it down.
Awesome.
That's smart.
Then he would go do those triathlons, but he grew up swimming. Like he's been a swimmer his whole life.
Phil isn't.
Phil, I don't think Phil is a big pool guy. Pool basketball maybe, had a pool in his backyard.
Does he know how to swim?
Yeah, he knows. I think he can float and do all that. I'm not sure he's ever done one of these though. Like
I think it's in.
at this moment.
Is it in Boston?
He said it was in Boston.
I think it's
yeah.
in the Bay that he's.
Oh boy,
Tough.
Phil, you better get in the water right now, brother.
Why are you talking about all the tea that's been left behind?
Yep, absolutely. Still sitting at the bottom of the bay harbor.
Phil,
but-
go down there and pick up some of that tea like it's one of those
like the ring.
rings that they throw to the bottom of a pool.
Yeah, you better be careful. It's a dangerous bay.
Sitting on the dock of the bay. Why are you saying it's dangerous?
Because you just never know.
I heard the marsh is very dangerous up there.
The marsh
you
is
dump
dangerous.
your bodies in a marsh.
Yeah, different section.
Not where.
Phil, watch out for the dead bodies too. Not only you got to worry about the other 100 some that are swimming over top of you and putting their junk on your back.
Right.
Got to worry about the dead bodies coming up from the bottom too up there in Boston.
But if you dump a body in the marsh, dump a body in the marsh. Okay.
In the bay.
Not where some fucking Tom, Dick, and Jane gets a blowjob every Tuesday. Okay.
That's right, Phil. That's what you're swimming in.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's go to the fence.
Never known a J to get a or
Dive
J-
down.
A Jane to get a blood?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think it was perfect.
What are you saying?
You got the point.
No, Tom, Dick, and Jane. I thought he was making reference to Dick and Jane, Fun with Dick and Jane with Jim Carrey.
That's a great movie too.
Is Jane the name?
Tom, or every Tom, Dick, and Harry is
Fun with
common.
Dick and Jane. Yeah,
Yeah, Tom, Dick, and Harry.
There it is.
there it
Expression.
is.
It's not or a guy who works at John Hancock goes every Thursday to
Yeah.
get a blowjob.
Thank
That's
you.
the
What
one.
it is.
Close though. Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Yeah, you're right.
And Jane.
You're
My
right.
brain's not perfect. Okay.
Sue me.
Yeah.
Don't
well,
actually. Don't actually.
I forgot my computer.
Quite a development in that whole world.
Yeah.
Quite a development in that whole world. We're going to change everything. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Nick in Texas on the 5 Energy phone line. Nick, what's going on, pal?
Nothing much. How you guys doing?
So yes.
Hold on 1 second, Nick. We apologize. There are no tea containers in the Boston Bay, from what I'm reading here.
Oh, it seems that 2 empty chests survived, so the containers are there.
Go down there and get it, Phil. You want to do a triathlon in Boston and you got to swim in the Bay? At least pay a little homage to
That's right.
1776.
Be worth a lot of money if you pulled one of those things up.
CFO. Here we go.
Yeah.
Go do it.
Now, that would be a lot more swimming because you'd have to go down to the bottom and search
sure.
around. Probably wouldn't be able to see too good.
Yeah, current probably pretty extreme down
Wear
there.
goggles.
Wear goggles for sure. He's going to wear a scuba suit, I wonder, have to.
Yeah.
Probably should.
'Cause then he can poop and pee in there.
Right.
When is it?
Yep. Definitely pooping there so it stays
That
there.
is nice about the triathlon. You can poop and pee in the bay.
The days of the Boston Harbor being used as polluter's paradise are long over. Polluter's paradise, holy shit. Thanks to the last 50 years of the Clean Water Act, Boston Harbor is now one of the cleanest harbors in the United States, said U.S. Senator Edward Markey, who has a home on the harbor.
Biz
Okay.
is brother.
What's that?
Biz Marquee.
Spelled different.
You got what I need. But you say he just a friend. You say he just a friend. Oh, baby, you. Rest in peace, Bismarck, right?
Rest in peace, yep.
Joining us now is Nick in Texas on the 5 Energy phone line. What's going on, Nick?
Nothing much, Pat. How are you guys doing?
Hey, not too shabby. First time, you felt a little rush. Second time, you did it great. Nick, we're doing fantastic. Keep it moving, brother, man.
I just want to shout out to Nick Moraldo. Congratulations.
Hell yeah. From Texas, Nick.
Thank you, fellow Nick.
I just want to talk about Jalen Carter. I've always thought that the Texans needed to build a team before they actually drafted a quarterback, and I think Jalen Carter would be the perfect dog for the defense.
What part of Texas you from, Nick?
Frankston.
Nice.
Oh, where's that at?
Good part.
That's the East Texas.
Oh, is that where the Big Green was filmed?
No, sir. That's the opposite.
Let me get it one thing.
All right, Nick. That's a good movie.
It is a good.
Great movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter at 2. I think the Big Green.
What?
Excuse me?
Come on.
Yeah. For real.
I get it. You win the Ohio
Is
championship.
it a soccer movie? I have not heard of it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
There it
So
is.
You know what sport? Okay.
Sorry, we understand
So it
you're
is
the
a soccer
champion
movie.
of Ohio. We get it. Okay.
All right.
Did you give
I
a
know all
speech?
about this movie.
Did you give a speech and say, coming from Centerville, Ohio?
Why does this pop up now?
What was your speech? What did you say? You're Ohio's finest. What did you
I don't
prepare?
know. Just yeah, a little bit. Totally.
So
it was all coaches. It was like 800 high school coaches in for their whole coaches clinic weekend.
800.
That's a big crowd. Did you shell up at all? Did you get a spray tan before then?
T-shirt.
No, but I do want to. I'm going to start getting spray tan. I really should.
I can't believe Zito made this very quickly, and we
Sweaty.
appreciate the hell
Pretty
out
hot
of
in
it.
there.
Should have been red for sure. This is.
Yeah, let's think about it.
Exactly blue city.
You should have been.
I was matching his odds.
No, yeah, I understand.
You're gonna
Yeah, he
piss
does
some
look
people.
amazing. Yeah, it is as blue as the
Ohio
eyes.
ain't a fucking blue state.
Well, I'm talking about from Michigan. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
Jeez Louise.
Come on. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Anyways, AJ, what did you say? Did you say, hey, we got to keep the Ohio morals in these young men? Is that what you're saying in there, or what did you say?
No, I didn't. Nothing specific like that. Just pumped them up and let them know how much of an impact high school coaches have on their players and what you can do and how I think about stuff my high school coaches taught me every single day.
Like what? What's one thing that you remember from your high school coaches that you take with you day to day?
Don't ever question anything. Just put your head down and do it.
Well, that's not how you operate at all.
No, I know. That's how I operate in high school, though. I never once thought of asking a question in high school. I never would.
You're talking about for the football team at football.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not realistic. You want your guys to want to know the why and all this stuff. But, yeah, there is – sometimes it's good to just say, all right, yeah, this sucks. I don't care. I'm doing it.
Yeah, there's I won't say the person's name, obviously, because I'm sure he wouldn't want to be associated with this particular train of thought. But he was a scout, and he certainly told me, hey, on defense, we want guys that are smart, not too smart. Don't want them asking a lot of questions. I'm like, what was that? Well, excuse me? What'd you say? Yeah, like some plays, like some guys' jobs are going to be not fun. Like, hey, don't need them being like, well, wouldn't it be more efficient to do this? It's like, certainly, but we don't need, we need you to do that. I'm like, damn, all right. He's like, yeah, that's football, though. Need a buy-in. Just need blinders on, just need you to kind of go in there and do that. I'm like, all right, okay, that's going to be tougher to find, I think, as society continues to evolve. But I understand what you're saying. Just fucking blinders on, let's go to work. Mm-hmm. That isn't what you've taken into your adult life at all, and you told him that there's still stuff to this day that you take from your high school coach. What is something that you have taken from a high school coach that you still utilize to this day, AJ?
I don't know. Little things that they told me that I remember. I don't know what I said in the moment. I didn't have it. I didn't read it. I didn't pull out a sheet. Hold on, here we go, guys, and uncrinkle my paper. I didn't do that.
Mm-hmm. Couple good speeches at the wedding, speaking of.
Mm-hmm. How many were there?
3, 4. What?
The
5.
The parents?
No, 4. Frankie Moraldo spoke.
Right.
Yeah.
Gave a toast night
That was
before.
awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
Friend, a very cool person, gave speech rehearsal dinner.
Yep.
Katie gave a speech.
Don Hostos.
Yep.
Don Hostos rehearsal
Crushed
dinner.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Good speech. Paper, though. Had paper.
Yep.
Had points. Went through it. Good speech. Brought some things up that made us all go, whoa. Just learned a lot about Carly.
Oh.
Just don't know. But great speech. I thought it was a great speech. Personally, we all did.
Yes.
Then Chelsea spoke. Then I spoke, right? That was 4. So it's 4 speeches
Yep.
altogether.
Nick's too.
Yeah, Nick did as well.
Thank you.
Just a quick, yeah.
Yeah,
Five
just a quick
speeches.
thank you. Yeah.
No, it was great. It was a good speech. Not easy to speak at that type of stuff. But full paper night before. Frank Moraldo went straight from the heart.
That's right.
Crushed it.
Chelsea had notes on her phone.
Okay.
She crushed it, though.
Mm-hmm.
Had to look at him once, I think.
Good speeches.
Yeah, you had a
It
great
was pretty good
speech as well.
speeches. I just started rolling, yeah.
Yeah, you
I started working the room a little bit, then I
Yeah,
lost
that was
service.
awesome.
Move around.
Sorry, lost service on the microphone, AJ, so I had to get a little bit closer to center. Come
That's
back
key. You got to work the space. Like you need to really take the mic and get down the dance floor and walk the dance floor.
It's too far
That was
away.
tough.
It's
They
way
had a
away.
spotlight on us, AJ. I've never seen anything like this. It was awesome.
The venue looked sweet.
It was.
Venue was absurd. Camera person puts up a
Oh my God.
fucking spotlight, like a floodlight, like on the Nick and Carly.
Better lighting than the stage.
Better lighting than anything I've been a part of.
Yeah.
Straight on there. I'm like, holy fuck, something has to be happening. And then it was Kiss, and then Nick gave a speech. Light goes off, everybody disappears. Then we have a little food. All of a sudden, bang, floodlights back on. Okay, something's about to happen. What is it? Speeches. Got it. That was incredible work by that person.
It was.
That light might have been the thing that cost the energy for the AC.
Could have.
Oh.
Powering that light might have
Well,
powered.
it may have been worth it because that speech you gave was absolutely incredible, man. You rocked it.
You did too, bud. It's not easy for you to speak in front of all your people there, especially with Carly's family and friends there. There's a lot of fucking people at this
A
thing.
lot of Italian people.
So many. Hey.
Did they accept you?
Yes.
I referenced the Italians a few times. A couple pops like, this guy's got jokes.
Zito was eating gabagool out of some guy's pocket at one point.
Yeah, the bag, plastic bag. He came up to me and gave me some gabagool. Yeah.
It was so good. It was so warm, though.
Nick Moraldo's dead. Yeah, he was in nature's microwave, as Mark Caboli would call it. This guy's
Still in his pocket?
Dude brought it back.
Double M brings gabagool with him.
It was not Mark Madden. I don't think he's Italian, but he was there. Frank Moraldo had one of the most Italian-looking motherfuckers. I mean, we're talking one of the squarest, strongest heads into great tan. Frank goes, hey, guys, got some meat or whatever. I'm like, what? What's going on? This guy pulls out a fucking sandwich bag out of his pocket and has some fucking gabagool, and he just hands it to me. I'm like, you know, I got this Italian horn on.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It was the middle of the wedding. I'm like, this is amazing. It was.
That was good stuff. We couldn't give it to everybody. You know,
That was real. I don't know what I was eating. I don't know what that animal was that I had there.
That was funny though. He opened the bag, just try one. I go, I didn't even ask what it was. I just ate it.
Yeah,
It's like jerky?
No.
Oh, it was gabagool.
Gabagool.
Italian jerky.
Capicola, pal. Hey, Pittsburgh has become awesome.
It was so nice.
The Strip District area has become very
sweet.
Very, very nice, AJ. Very nice.
What was it before?
I don't want to say shithole, but kind of.
Old warehouses, basically that, and then it was like mom and pop stores that sold
tomatoes and
and T-shirts with like
gravy.
like $5 like Steelers T-shirts and stuff. But now they've built it up with like a bunch of restaurants and bars and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's become very nice.
Yeah.
The wife and I walked around.
It was sweet.
It was awesome.
A lot of the older neighborhoods have been rejuvenated.
Felt like 1990.
Really?
Yeah.
With less cigs, but still.
I saw some cigs.
I saw some cigs as well.
Oh yeah.
Pittsburgh's a cig town.
I expected more.
Saw some masks too.
Yeah, that was
Well, that's
interesting.
because of
Actually
stupid.
saw a lot of
That's
those.
because of stupid Ohio.
What?
Can't keep their fucking trains on the tracks. Okay.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
the
you're
masks
right.
were for.
You're right.
You're right.
Thanks a lot, Ohio.
There's also that massive, semi pileup that got Mitt stuck in traffic for 2.5 hours right near Columbus.
There was a time yesterday where Mitt was on a highway outside of his car.
Yeah.
Just yesterday.
Yeah, think about that.
That's never good.
Fuck's going on?
Hey, it's traffic 2 hours. Fuck.
Gotta get back, seal, bro.
What did Nick say? I was just through there 40 minutes ago. There's no traffic. Not anymore, thanks. Mitt.
Thanks a lot. And then Bruce drove around it.
Bruce drove over top of him.
Yeah.
Bruce got the heads up that there was a thing, so Bruce drove over top of him, waved at him, and then just continued moving as Mitt's sitting on a highway having a picnic.
Fuck!
Oh, no, you're welcome, but bro. Let's go to Donnie in Washington on the 5 Energy phone line. What's going on, Donnie?
Hey guys, a big Seahawks fan here. Do you guys think we should draft a quarterback this year, or should we let Geno and Drew Lock build up and just build on our defensive line?
What do you think, Donnie?
Well, I think we have a realistic chance of being a playoff team. So I don't think you just ruin the culture in the offseason by drafting a QB.
Okay, now Gino and Aaron might handle the situation differently. Same with other quarterbacks on whether or not you draft a guy and kind of groom him to be your guy and take the whole spot. Now, Aaron was nothing but kind to Jordan Love, is what we've been told. But they just made it to an NFC Championship game, and then boom, they draft a quarterback in the first round. Seattle's a bit different. They have not been to the championship game. They don't have a team that could necessarily win a Super Bowl right now like everybody thought with Green Bay. So maybe you do just make your team a little bit better or look for the future. Who knows who's going to be available at their pick? But allegedly, he connected with Anthony Richardson.
Yes.
Very, very closely. Allegedly. This came out from Anthony Richardson doing interviews.
And Pete Carroll, you mean?
Yes.
Yep. Mutual connection.
So, and what pick are they again?
5.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do they have a second one? Because that's the Broncos pick, correct?
Correct.
They could.
I'm sure they had to be open with Gino, though, when they signed it. It's ultimately, Gino has basically a 1-year deal. He has to know, I don't think it would ruin the culture there if they fell in love with somebody at 5 to take.
Yeah, his numbers are easy to read, too, at 20, I think, and 5. 20 and 5. Could get to 3.
Yeah.
It's perfect for Richardson just because if he does need a year to develop, like AJ just said, it's only a 1-year deal, really, for Gino.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to the 5. What we're saying is we don't fucking know.
Nope. No idea.
We apologize.
They probably don't either. They don't either until it comes, all of a sudden they're on the clock, all right, here we go.
Yeah, like Jalen Carter.
I'm a big take the best player available guy. But then also, if you have a glaring omission on your team, it's have to get the team better. I get to think about the future, and this will be our future, and shout out to the people that can do that. They're playing chess. I've always been a checkers player. Who's the fucking best player? Boom. Are we stacked at that position? No. Sweet. Here we go. Our team just got better. I'll see it pick 20, but people operate differently.
Well, and then they're one of I feel like they're one of the teams that got the Super Bowl through the draft. They hit on all their picks. And then last year, they had both tackles, the running back, and both corners from last year's draft become starters and become good starters. So I feel like they're hot in the draft, so they're going to want to do the best player available route.
This is kind of like the Jets, who are very good at the draft.
Yeah.
That's why you can see the potential conversation with the Packers being, can't do that, because what the Jets have been able to do with some of these picks over the last 2 years. Now, they also drafted Zach Wilson, which is not
true.
Paying dot,
Not yet.
The other guys in that draft, though.
Paying dot.
Yeah.
He was doing the Spider-Man gif.
Yep.
There's been some panning.
Remember that, AJ?
Yeah.
He's throwing up gang signs. What's going on? What are you guys doing?
That was. It almost looked staged.
Like
how
really did.
What would you have done?
Huh?
What would you have done?
Yeah, big smile, thumbs up.
Maybe a
Double thumbs up. Just double thumbs up always is good.
That's a great
Phil.
I used to do the
Phil
big. I used to be a big thumbs up guy. Now I'm a point guy. Hey, this person's the best. Got caught in a lot of photos though with people on both sides of me this past weekend, so I had to do
double.
Who do I like better? Also, which one's in a better position?
Yep.
It's good to see everybody, AJ. Those weddings are like big time reunions.
How many people?
250.
Nice, Dan.
It was
good
awesome.
size.
It was big. A lot of people.
Looks like a good party, right? That's the best. Like when you have a reception where everyone kind of knows each other. If they don't, they feel like they do, and you can have a good time.
Everybody was boozed up. Everybody was there to have a good time.
Yep.
One person walked right up to the group I was talking and said, "Anybody got any Quaaludes? It's 2023." I don't know how often he has asked that question to groups. So he asked question, nobody responded. Conversation continued. When breaking conversation arose, I said, "Excuse me, how often do you ask that question? And how often do you get we do have Quaaludes in the modern era?" You know what I mean? In the modern era. He said, "I just wanted to see. I didn't know. I was just testing the water." And then he walked away. It was awesome. So to say everybody who had the same mindset, I think would be an understatement.
Yeah.
People are having a blast out there. Pac-Man Jones was doing his thing.
Oh, yeah.
Pac-Man Jones was doing his thing out there, AJ.
I believe it. Yeah.
I mean, I saw him at one point taking a photo with a group of 20 people that I didn't know a single one of them.
No idea.
And Pac-Man was in the middle of it. They all had cigars. He was doing his thing. I'm like, "That a baby Pac." Mark Madden was taking selfies with everybody. It was a time. It was a real time out there. There was some shit popping off. Congrats, Marlows.
Hell of a wedding.
Got to see Rupper in person. He's massive.
Rupper is so big. Did you know this?
I do not. How big is he?
6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
Fucking
Jeez.
lumbering, though. Not just like
no idea.
Thick.
Not a
6'5".
wiry, not a wiry 6'5". Fucking big.
In Ohio, 6'5".
Yeah, he's got a neck, too, with that fucking big dome.
Oh, yeah.
I just kept like, you boozing? You boo? Why does he keep asking me if I'm boozing? He said. Because I was pretty drunk at the time. So anytime I'd see somebody from afar and it wasn't close enough to have a conversation, I just go, we boozing? Or, and then he came, why do you keep asking me if I'm boozing? Yes, I'm boozing. I've been drinking all day. I'm like,
okay.
It's not like a shot, bro. I'm just
asking.
Just we boozing?
Checking in.
I did ask him like 3 times, though, and he was like, what the why do you keep, I've been drunk. Yes.
Just making sure.
All right, bro.
Trying to set the record straight.
I'm just letting you know, I am pretty fucked up right now. I was wandering around at one point pretty drunk, and I was like, all right, I'm going to have to find my groove a little bit.
I know. After a little bit, I felt like every time I saw you, you were like by yourself, and it was like the sea was parting around. You were just marching around, just trying to find
space. Yeah, I was. I did a lot of head down. I need to get somewhere. Nobody stopped me for a conversation right now. Where are you headed? I'm going to the bathroom. I'm going to a cookie table. All right, I'll see you over there. I'm going to the bathroom instead, which was another like 200 yard away.
Yep.
So I was doing a lot of missions, on myself, trying to find a little bit of sobriety in there.
I think Sunday morning was I talked to everybody, but in the same way, I talked to nobody.
Yeah.
I felt like that as well.
Good breakdown.
That's what I was trying to do as well. It was good to catch up with everybody. There's a couple conversations I got out of quickly that I felt like, hey, good on you. I did one of those.
Had to do it.
There's a couple other ones that were good convos that I liked. And then I realized a few times I was way too drunk to be talking to a couple of the people that I was talking to. So had to get out of there, had to avoid it. But great weekend. Fucking great weekend.
Hell yeah.
Spent a month in Pittsburgh one weekend, and that was kind of what happened. Last phone call here, Travis in Pennsylvania on the 5RNG phone line, 1-833-432-3663. Last call of the day here. What do you want to talk about, pal?
How we doing, boys? Keep moving.
Okay, you got it.
Hey, I just want to talk about the DC Defenders. I feel like they're not being talked about enough. They're a powerhouse in the XFL right now.
They're not the fucking Battlehawks, pal.
Nope.
Hey, they're
Beat
not.
them yesterday.
The Brahmas.
The Defenders.
Beat the Battlehawks?
Yeah, in OT, I believe.
Was that Danuch? Is Danuch the Defenders?
I think Danuch is on the
Sea Dragons.
Who's on your team?
Jordan Ta'amu.
Oh, it's a revenge game against St. Louis.
Bingo.
Oh, homecoming.
Panthers have to regret letting rid of Ta'amu.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they're bummed.
So how are the DC Defenders? I remember the first go-around, you guys were known for the beer snake in the stands. It was almost like the stadium and the fans better than the football team. Now the team is matching the fans?
It was a sellout yesterday.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
I saw Dwayne say that.
The team doesn't stink?
Undefeated.
No stinking anymore. Beer snake,
When's
beer
the
snake
playoffs?
cup, though. Keep going.
All right, I love that. I think, Travis, XFL is happening.
Hell yeah.
So is the USFL.
Yeah.
And there's another spring football league where the founder of it called me every day for 4 weeks and left me a voicemail.
Nice.
That's right.
And I had to block his number because my voicemail went up to 100% without me ever answering.
Yep.
And he just kept it going. Another spring league is coming, from what I've been told.
Yep.
Here we go.
Yeah, so spring football is large and in charge right now.
Was that Sanchez's voice I heard on the USFL game with the first down marker? That's first down thing was cool.
They have are you talking about the chip?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a tennis-like elementary version where they took like clip art and utilized the sensor to say where the football was.
Okay.
First down.
I thought it was clearly short of the first down marker. They called it a first down. Then they ran this video clip indicating that they utilized the chip in the ball to confirm it. And it was like a third of the football was across the first down marker. So that was legit. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Nobody's asking any questions. My issue with that is they could just have 4 of those videos uploaded.
True.
And just back up anything that their refs say, which is kind of what McEnroe said about the tennis thing.
Yep.
Right.
That kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah.
McEnroe fucking ruined it.
He knew.
Yeah, but he's a pillar of sunshine, so
He ruined it.
Yeah, that's his MO.
Because we said, well, if we got a chip and a ball, we could just have that thing tell us everything. And we run the replay just like tennis, and it'll be perfect. What are your thoughts on tennis's replay system? He goes, that's not real. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Pretty much, right? Didn't he, AJ?
Yeah, so he doesn't trust the technology. Is that right?
He thinks it's just a video that people are playing.
Yeah,
Just
screw the other person.
In or out, just deciding.
I mean, maybe, but there's got to be someone overseeing this, right?
Maybe.
USADA, I think.
It's hard once.
Bold statement.
Bro, once I heard it from him, I'm like, of course, everything's fucking ruined.
It adds good drama to tennis, though, because they go to it, and then all of a sudden, the whole crowd watches it.
Yeah, and the ball like goes like on the actual path that it could have went. Who knows if it's actually how it went?
Yeah.
And then they show it, So as soon as McEnroe said that, I literally was like, you just ruined it for me, because that's all I'm going to think.
What about golf when they get behind him and they show the path of their ball?
Yeah, and it's
Crazy.
late
Is that
sometimes.
fake?
Well, that's another thing. 'Cause
That's
remember,
pretty accurate. That's Konica Minolta, so it's pretty accurate.
Nick tried it with the Tahoe. I don't know.
Well, that's
how.
different. Was it?
Yeah, there's an app on your phone that'll do it, right?
Yeah.
Sarah Ellison has tweeted back to us about the report about Lamar Jackson. Pat McAfee Show rap sheet. Neither Lamar nor the report of $200 million total guaranteed is wrong. Pat McAfee Show. It's just talking past each other. The problem is using the vague term guaranteed. It shouldn't be vague, but it is in NFL contract language. There's all types of guaranteed money in contracts. That's zero stipulations attached. For months, people have been comparing Lamar's fully guaranteed money to other QB's total guarantees. It's been completely unfair to the Ravens. If you want to compare what's truly guaranteed at signing between QB deals, it's this. Watson 230, Lamar 133, Russell 124, Jalen 110, Kyler 103. Okay, so I respect that and what you're saying. The number 200 was the thing that
Yes.
that was the big one that SG Ellison.
Did they say practical guarantees? Like, what's a practical
Virtually.
guarantee means? It should be there because it's probably like due after the first year or something.
It's virtually, yeah. I mean, if injury happens, though, there's a chance.
But
You know,
that's
it's
the
like a
injury.
franchise tag / an injury one is a different number. Then the virtually guaranteed's a different one. We don't want to say we were a part of it because that would be us being very self-absorbed.
Sure.
I would like to say, though, that this particular program has changed how contracts are reported, documented, proven. Rap literally just said it last hour. But since we've started talking about all these contracts, how they're reported, mostly because friends of mine have been fucked by what allegedly they were getting, then what fans thought they were getting, what their family thought they were getting, what the community thought they were getting, versus what they actually got because of how contracts were reported back in the day. Since we've started covering it, once again, not saying it's just us. There's obviously others that have done it, but we have been credited by some of the people that report contracts for being the people that have led them report it differently. They've added different verbiage into things. Virtually guaranteed, practically guaranteed, almost guaranteed, could be guaranteed. Cure COVID, definitely guaranteed. It's like it's all, you know what I mean, AJ? It is all kind of a fuckery game, but I don't think I knew that $200 million was guaranteed to Lamar. That's 100% on me, I think.
Well, don't we need to hear from Lamar if this was truly the case?
We put out the invite.
Exactly.
We told him you got mail.
And his injury guarantee, I thought, was like 179 or 189 million.
A lot of money.
Yeah. A lot of money. If the Ravens offered him 200, that is a much
Because
different
it feels
story.
like if everything were being told, if they did go and just say, hey, here's Jalen's contract, he would say no to that.
Yeah.
If what we are understanding as of today.
Correct.
Because 200 was from September of last season.
Allegedly.
Yes.
But 133 was what was reported.
Reported.
Right.
Yep.
If it's 3 years, 140, what do you think, AJ?
I love that for Lamar. I'm gonna get me back out in the market when the salary cap goes up even more.
Us too.
If he said no to that, I think I am way more in on the Ravens than I am on Lamar.
Whoa, shit.
Absolutely. 140 million and then you're back in a free agent at 28. Come on.
Come on. Come to the Colts.
That's
too.
why he needs to say something.
Yes.
Say something.
Just say something.
I love Lamar.
Just tweet something.
Say it.
See something, say something.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot of stuff. Say something.
Say something.
Send us a picture of the.
Of what they offered.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Do
tweet
that.
it.
Yeah, boom.
You don't have to send it to us, just tweet it.
Yeah.
Or post that video on Lamar Jackson Entertainment I-775.
Exactly.
We just want you to have money, Lamar.
Good luck, Lamar.
Good luck, Lamar. We did buy the entire gym, TEG.
Right.
What is
Doing our part.
Don't be fucking stupid.
Come on. Tom.
his entire gym?
Yeah, it's in a little
his
briefcase.
business partner.
Did you see this thing?
That's his entire gym?
Yeah, I didn't know you bought it.
Yeah. Think about getting a fucking workout in right here
Might as well.
while the show's happening, AJ. When you go on one of those super long monologues about all the stuff you do, I'm just going to start getting it all in. I'm just going to...
I need to get one too then.
Oh, it's only pre-order. We pre-order. You can only pre-order.
Oh,
Only
okay.
pre-order. We pre-order, though. I think it's MTO though, just like Sheets with those hot dogs you'd order.
Oh, does he need to do his contract to get the investment money to then build it, Paul?
It would be interesting if he's doing an investment round of his new NFL contract. Hey, we got to wait on the seeding. It's coming around here. Nonetheless, we are Lamar Jackson fans, as is everybody else. We just want to see him get paid. If $200 million was guaranteed, Jesus Christ, we've been going to bat for the wrong things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Big time.
And the Ravens probably been watching us going, this fucking asshole.
They don't even know.
He's not even jocked wearing that fucking tank top. Okay, this guy doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. Now, we do know the beginning of that particular sin was done because men stand over mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do that before the wedding? Just get a little clear out?
No, every Sunday. I don't want to change my tradition. Last night, though.
Every Sunday night you do it?
Yeah.
What time, just so we can know?
Who helps you?
Myself. That's why I have the mirror.
Yeah, no, but what time? So I can tweet, like, Tone's shaving his asshole.
Somebody tweeted me yesterday and said, we know that at this exact moment, Tone Diggs is squatting over top of a mirror right now. And I read it and I was like, this guy might be fucking right. He knows Tone better than us.
Normally it's like a Sunday morning routine, but I was on the road yesterday, so I've switched it to nighttime.
How was the night shave? Was the grass a little greener?
I didn't like because I normally use natural lighting, and I had to use the artificial light, which was great.
Well, we know you like LED lighting. Is that what you use?
Oh, these stadiums are looking great these days.
That was a big thing you kind of took up with the internet, saying there's some
the
poorly
Buffalo
lit
Bills have
stadium.
very poorly lit, and they were on prime time all the time, and it pissed me off.
At this stage, 2023, let's have good lighting.
Let's have good lighting.
Now, granted, it took us 9 months to get good lighting.
Yeah. True.
It's a lot easier to say.
Yeah, but they're hiring
We're hiring people allegedly too.
Mm-hmm.
You should remember day one, they had 2 lights up there.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the difference right there.
Lights just went off, and they're back.
Whoa.
Day one, there was 1 light up facing this way, 1 light facing that way. And I said,
That is a bit surprising with that whole rig that you have built up there. There's only 1 light each way.
That's what I said. I said, is that good? And the light person said, yeah, it would be perfectly fine. And remember, he's a professional. Okay. All right. I feel like I've been on a couple sets. I've never seen 1 light be able to do the trick, but I guess you figured it out. Thank you so much. He did not.
He didn't.
No, he didn't.
It was terrible. It was horrendous, actually.
A lot of the people who did stuff were.
But then there's a lot of good people, too.
Amen.
And we appreciate that.
Amen.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, we did a giveaway earlier. It's fucking good Monday. Nick's married. We got a big time Tuesday coming tomorrow.
Huge.
What lies will be said on the internet before tomorrow's show?
Hopefully a lot.
Good question.
We do have sources at a couple different places that have said a couple different things.
Yeah, we did.
How about this tomorrow? There's a little Odell Beckham news.
Ooh. Okay.
Tomorrow we got a little Houston Texans news.
Okay.
Ooh, that's big.
Tomorrow we got some great guests that are going to talk about good stuff. And tomorrow we'll have yet another day getting a chance to chat with the Ohio champion,
Hell yeah.
AJ Hawk. AJ, is there anything you'd like to say to the rest of the country, the rest of the world, as the champion of Ohio about the state of Ohio?
No, but thank you for trying to get this bit going again. I appreciate you.
What?
Why don't you share
It's not a
some
bit,
whole
bro. You
sign
just
off?
won
What are
the
you gonna
fucking
say?
championship
What are
on
you gonna
Saturday.
Talk
Share
about
some
it.
What
wisdom.
you want to give an inspirational talk here before we pop?
You're the champion of Ohio, Ohio's finest. Okay, didn't know if you wanted the opportunity to potentially address the world as the face of Ohio currently.
8,000 coaches you spoke in front of, you said.
Bam.
I'm okay. I actually, as soon as I got up there, I dropped that. It fell off the podium and fell on the ground.
Jesus Christ.
Is that real?
Picked it right back up. 100% real. And then, of course, someone yells like, I set myself up for the old good thing you played defense joke.
Wow. I'm surprised somebody didn't say, it's a busted fucking fingers. But the whole thought of that thing not busting is so Ohio.
So high.
And I assume you said that?
I did say something about the strength of the actual award, yeah.
Yeah.
Look how Ohio his trophy is.
It's like the strength of Ohio.
My broken, disgusting fingers fucking bopped this thing right off of it. As soon as you guys gave me the award to represent this state, I said, fuck this thing. Look at how good it is. This thing's tough. Just like the people of the great state of Ohio.
Hell yeah.
Just like, is that what you started with?
Well, I mean, I definitely got some comments afterwards of like my little fingies and how messed up they might be, because you realize these high school coaches, like a lot of high school coaches are like 25, 35 years old. They're all young. Like a lot of them are very young. So some of them are dialed into this program. So they had some ideas about my fingers and hands.
Okay, well, those people that were there, please let us know what the state of Ohio champion said.
Yeah.
Because this guy refuses to tell us fucking anything.
Someone filmed it, right?
Unbelievable.
Had to have.
I doubt it.
You guys got cameras in Ohio?
Nope.
Didn't think so.
All right. AJ,
Just still shots.
I'm not going to ask you every day, but certainly in the next few. would you like to say anything to the globe as Ohio's champ? You're basically the president of Ohio.
Come on.
Anything to say to the people about the state of Ohio?
No, today I do not. Maybe I might later. And maybe when you started talking about like inspirational things, it got me thinking of VCon and all the speakers Gary has coming to VCon.
Pumped.
Have one of those guys on if you need something good like that.
Are you going to get invited now that you're the champion of Ohio?
I mean, I'd like to go just as a spectator. I don't need to talk.
You're a champion of Ohio. I think you get fucking first-class tickets.
Yeah, you can do anything you want.
Okay. Call Gare.
Gare already knows.
Yeah.
When is it? When is VCon for real? I know Ty's going.
May 16th, I think. I think it's May 16th.
Yep. He just started an NBA division.
May
for
12th.
Agency or something. May
12th.
What is it?
I thought it was like May 6th, 7th, 8th.
Let me look.
No, I think it's
First weekend of May.
Certainly in May.
May 18th and 20th.
Okay.
Got time to get there.
Damn, I can't go now.
You'll be, what, a month and a half into your stint as president of Ohio?
Do I get a year term? Is that what it is?
4.
What do you mean?
I don't know
Really?
how much you know about the political process. Do they name the Ohio's finest every single year?
Yeah, I think they've been doing it since 2012, they said.
Did Bobby Carpenter cry when he didn't get it and you did?
Has Bobby Carpenter won it?
Yeah.
I would assume Bobby has won it before, yeah.
Hell yeah, Bob.
We would have saw it, though, because he has all his trophies behind him.
You're right.
Maybe it's behind you. We just didn't know what to look for.
Why don't you have it behind you?
I got all these books and stuff.
It's not true. Can't be lying now that you're the face of Ohio.
Yeah.
You should melt it down to a cigar holder.
Oh, an ashtray.
Yeah.
Oh, you should put an ashtray on the front of that thing.
Boom.
That'd be the most Ohio thing.
Yeah, people will probably change the trophy to have that.
Holy shit. With some cigarette butts.
It's got to be cigs.
Gotta put some
not
butts
cigars.
Cigs and cigars.
All right.
Both, okay.
Yeah, we don't discriminate on tobacco.
So you don't want to say anything to the people after winning the Ohio championship?
Nah. I appreciate those coaches and everybody that was in attendance and Ryan Day and the other coaches that were there. It was great to see him. Saw James, my buddy. James is coaching at Ohio State now. Good to see him in action.
Coach Laurinaitis.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is he hard nosed? He blowing a whistle?
Oh, yeah. James was showing me, they had practiced at the stadium that day. So James was showing me footage of him. He strapped on a big chest pad and arm pads, and he was mauling the linebackers and holding them and trying to get them to chop them off and get off the block.
Well, like Vrabel, that's the move, huh? That's the Ohio finest move.
Yeah. Oh yeah. James isn't messing around. He's on I think James is going to be on that like Heartline trajectory of just superstar.
Okay. Well, good luck to James. Good luck to Heartline. Good luck to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Good luck to all of college.
Yeah.
Because West Virginia ain't fucking around. We just paid a guy $800,000 to come play basketball.
Saw that. Top 5 recruit.
Need to start doing that for football, too.
Well, I don't know if we got enough money in the tank to pay for every position we need in football, but I do know that there is the thought around West Virginia like, hey, we can pay for 4 or 5 guys in basketball.
Let's go win.
And all of a sudden, we can really get back on the map of sports. That'd be great news. We got to transfer out of Syracuse.
Yeah.
Goes to West Virginia. Guy's a dog, allegedly really good. I'm pumped.
He was like the number 3 guy in the portal.
Ooh.
We're back.
How'd they paid him $800K?
Allegedly, that's what's being reported.
Probably.
Well, you drive through.
At least you got to pay to play. That's what Ohio State's been doing, all right?
Mm-hmm.
You drive through Columbus on your way to Pittsburgh, and you know how they pay for everything. Fucking Uncle Wexy's name's on fucking every hospital and every building in that fucking town.
You're right. And I don't know who's doing the money for West Virginia. I think it's the guy that owns the Diamondbacks. Oh. But happy we.
West?
Arizona?
He doesn't own the Diamondbacks. I don't think he's associated with them. I don't think.
I thought he owned.
Who's the owner of the Arizona Diamondbacks?
I have no idea.
He's a West Virginia guy.
You got a pretty good team this year.
I'm pretty sure. Because we played in the Fiesta Bowl and it was a big conversation. Like, oh, old Bud's going to be here.
Go see the Diamondbacks.
No, we did not, but we heard he was going to be at the game. I was like, oh, great. Is he going to give us any money? No. Can't at that time. Now he is.
Yeah.
Ken Kendrick.
Ken Kendrick, yeah, he's a West Virginia guy. Yeah, born in Princeton, West Virginia. Alma mater, West Virginia University.
Nice.
He's the guy.
Oh, you know he's the guy when his actual name's Earl Gentry, but he goes by Ken.
Got great hair, too. Look at that fucking
does.
comb over. Ken Kendrick ain't fucking around, dude. He's 79 years old, and he said, I want a winner back at West Virginia before my
He's
time.
got some Frank from Succession in him.
Does he have a cookie named after him?
Did you watch Succession last night?
I have not. I hear it's a good one though. I mean,
That's
they're
the
all
governor.
good, so I will. I'm
like
gonna see it.
It was a great
See it?
setup.
Oh, you didn't like it, really? Why?
I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, you do. You can tell him.
What's wrong?
You can just say it. It's fine.
It's hard for me to give a fuck about the people that don't found the company, you know, just because of our relationships with people that have been either handed the baton or been middle management for companies, normally massive doofuses who have just happened to find themselves right place, right time, not trying to advance the company, just trying not to get fired. These people suck at their jobs. But because founder gets fired or dies, gets fired, gets run out, these people all of a sudden are no longer middle management. Now they're in positions of power. So like I struggle with those humans a lot.
Oh, so you don't like the characters now that the big guy isn't around?
Yeah, I'm bummed the big guy's not around. Just because he is scumbag terror.
They're going to have some flashbacks. They should do some flashbacks so he can still be involved.
They won't.
I don't think we're getting any flashbacks.
Nope.
But the story for everything else is good.
It is.
Yeah, great story.
I just think Logan, one of the greatest characters on TV, personally, just because it's allegedly after a couple different people, 2 different people who actually did stuff and were very successful. And also massive fucking assholes, I think a lot of people would say, but got to the top. So it's like, I think that's an interesting story. You know what I mean? For me personally, the people that are just kind of, it's not as interesting for me, but I can see how there could be scandal
Yeah.
all over the next few weeks.
Yeah, next week should expedite things quite a bit.
Did you just want it to what happened in episode 3 to happen later?
Yes.
Okay, so you
Way
knew it
too
was
early.
happening. You knew it was happening.
Knew it was happening.
Okay.
Week 3, though, of a 10-week thing, it's like, we got a long time without the actual motherfucker that did everything, in my personal eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I haven't watched yet, but I assume Logan's got a trick up his sleeve. He had an in case I died.
That's safe to say.
Shut up, Mark.
Kind of.
Well, I haven't seen this episode, so.
We didn't spoil anything.
No, you didn't.
From this episode.
No,
if you're 2 weeks behind, sorry about it.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. It is tough, especially because he was one of the funniest characters in the whole thing. But it is still like, I'm invested in the other characters as well. I don't see how you're going to be able to come back from this. I really don't.
Well, especially if the character that I like the most is kind of just getting shooed off for a minute and a half on the whole episode. Can't have that.
Billy Gardell got shoot off for.
I don't think Billy Gardell is in Succession.
Yeah.
He
was in last season, remember? Yeah.
But if he was in this particular one, I would be a little bit more invested if he potentially was going to get. There's a couple people that didn't just get it handed to him who were there. If they would have been able to work their way up a little quicker, I think I would have enjoyed it. Last night seems to tell me that they will not be, which is a little bit of a buzz.
Yeah, the guy that you are going to have to buy all into is Mattson. You're just going to have to go all in on Gojo.
All right, I'm in on Mattson. But once again, he was on like 3 minutes last night.
Yeah,
So
he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't.
there was a full episode of just people that have had everything handed to them pretty much.
Yesterday was like a setup episode because there was only
Well, then you need to release 2 episodes. On those days, we need 2 episodes out. You can't just have me sitting for 14 days between fucking good shit happening. That's just rude in 2023.
Well, they're making weird decisions over there. They just made HBO Max just Max. I mean, HBO carries a lot of weight in that fucking.
They charged it's upcharged too for Hulu. I'm getting another $5
upcharge for premium
for HBO Max. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, you killed a guy that I was paying for, so
True.
Hope you find a way to bring him back.
Mattson will help you.
Oh yeah, so that was what? Yeah, it was last season.
Yeah, he's the 5th sibling. Yeah.
We're a little early to be doing this, and people might not have watched the episode. But if this was the cast, I'd be fucking all in right now. It's not. And Billy Gardell has lost 70 pounds since this photo has been taken. Feels like the guy on the couch. Probably going to have a lot of play, but still early in the season.
That's right.
Still early in the season.
Too early.
Did Khan get elected president on last night's episode? Or?
Nope, but he's talking about taking a run at it, and he did acquire something.
Yeah,
He did.
And
pretty quickly.
He's got, I think he said Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, and North Dakota coming up.
Yeah, a little honeymoon planned.
Mm-hmm.
Battleground states.
Let's get out of here. I'm fucking bummed that they killed that guy that early.
Yeah, I do feel bad for you because the show, in your mind, just seems to be over.
Is there anything weird about his death? Like,
No.
was it natural? Do we know?
There was no real follow-up on that.
I think there could be something on that.
Oh, yeah.
Tom and Greg actually do discuss some of the more finer details. It is nice.
Which, once again, more of those two.
Uh-huh.
They better next episode make up for the lack of time that those two had in this past episode.
I also fear that that their time might be dwindling.
Really?
Could you imagine they do that? Hey, what are the best characters on the show? Fuck them, fuck them, fuck them. Who's the worst? give them all the time. Can't do that.
Womsgam's got something up his sleeve.
He was
really
working
hope.
last night.
He was.
I really, really hope.
It's what they did with Game of Thrones, isn't it? They fucked it all up.
I don't know if they fucked it all up. They had that Starbucks cup in there, but you're right. They did kill like everybody, didn't they?
Yeah, everyone was pissed.
Well, thus far, I do not think Succession has fucked it up at all. I'm not
in your eyes.
In that
Yeah, I'm just
camp.
saying it's possible.
No.
Killed him so early. He was so good. Well, week 7, you know? Give me 3 weeks of.
Have they shown the body yet?
Nepotism
Did they show the
bullshit.
body at all?
Not even
Did his,
three.
did his family get to go identify the body or anything
Did
like
that
that?
at the end of the last episode.
AJ, just put that thought that you have in your brain to rest because it's
He's not alive. He's very dead.
Yeah.
I will not.
See, that would be sweet.
Mm-hmm.
That would be sweet.
Maybe that's flashback.
I don't know why.
Gardell playing a young Logan Roy.
Here we go.
What are
you doing here?
If a Yinzer takes over ATN and Waco and Gojo and everything like that, count me back in. Kill him 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
If it ends up with Billy Gardell.
Fuck off. Damn it.
Don't be so nebby, you jag off.
Oh, that was awesome.
My wife learned about what the word nebby means. You know what the word nebby means?
I do not. What is it?
Yeah, that was interesting. So that's something that Pittsburgh has that nobody else has. We always talk about Dahn and Gumban and Buggy and Yins and that and everything like that. Slippy for slippery. Nebby is a Pittsburghese word that I just assumed everybody knew. We walked into a little boutique shop down at Strip. They had these mugs. It said Yins, Jagoff, Nebby, then Pittsburgh. And I was like, oh, that we need to get that Nebby one or whatever. Sam had no clue what it meant.
Yeah, no idea.
What does that mean? She had no idea. I'm like, oh, that's just classic Pittsburgh word right there. Happy that got brought back into our life. Stop being a little neb shit. You know what I mean? That means nosy.
Oh.
Kind of nosy.
That was
Stop
down
being
or
so
something.
nebby, you know? Kind of dick.
Sure.
They ever read up your room one?
Yeah, Red Up is a good one. They did not, though. Yeah, I think people know what that is, though.
No.
Clean up.
Like red up?
Yeah.
Like learn about something?
Nope. Clean up.
Clean up.
Nope.
It's all new to me.
Didn't know that one or Nebby.
Pittsburgh's an awesome place.
Yeah. Own dialect.
Found a place that could be our studio if we were to have one there.
Couple of places.
I also heard in every speech that Carly's group gave, like, hey, move back to Pittsburgh. Is that happening? Are you moving back to Pittsburgh, Nick? What was that? I heard that in 2 speeches. Like, we hope you come to Pittsburgh. I'm like, damn. Are they thinking about, I thought about adding that to my speech. Like, sounds like you guys are making a decision. Our whole company's going
We're
back.
moving back to Pittsburgh.
That is, we just built the Thunderdome. Fuck this place, I guess. But yeah, we will. But then as I was there, I was like, maybe we do have an office back in Pittsburgh. There's some spots that are open there, big spaces, very much alive.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of nice houses in the area. We could go back.
Yeah, I was a massive fan of Pittsburgh. The only thought is if we were to go back, then we still have same seasons as here
Yeah, we'd like to go to warm weather.
for the cold weather. Yeah.
True, but there you don't got to pay for the stadiums.
All right.
Hoorah, brother.
Tomorrow's a big day. Be a friend, tell a friend about it. AJ, congrats on being the face of Ohio. Tomorrow we will expect a speech of some sort.
Please.
Okay?
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a talk show.
Can't wait.
You're going to have to talk.
Okay. Start working on it.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna start jotting down ideas right now.
All right, let's start brainstorming here quickly. What do you want to make sure we hit?
Hard work.
No, you already have it
dedication,
written down. You gave it the other day.
Tough.
Toughness.
Yeah, a lot of good cliches. Yeah, a lot of good football cliches.
Bounce back ability.
I'll tell a story. I'll tell you something like you need to you want to succeed more than you want to breathe. Walk into the ocean and drown yourself.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about E.T., the hip hop preacher. Yeah, that is his story that he made famous, you know.
Tells it a lot better than I just did. But
Yeah, he's got, I want money, I want to swim. You know, yeah, the whole speech. That's a good speech. I heard it in real life. He delivered it to our team. It was a great delivery.
Would you get the boys going?
Hell yeah, I got the boys going. What are you talking about? Motivation, dude.
Yeah, well, it's in a team meeting. I wasn't sure what part of the day it was.
It was the end of the day. Everybody was pissed. It was a forced on a speaker, but E.T., the hip hop preacher, was great.
That's what I thought.
He was the most well liked. We also had a Navy SEAL come through. It was like the size of a D tackle. He was awesome.
Okay.
Dog.
He was the one who gave the Know Your Why speech. Know your why. What's your why? What's your why? Then you saw like every NFL guy be like, I found my why.
Yep.
You know, they were tweeting it out like, what's your why? I found it. It was like, oh, they must have the same speech from us. And he talked about tribe. What's your tribe? And know your why. Good speech. That guy was very well liked. He also told a story about being dropped off in the middle of the ocean and just calling sharks the guys in the gray suits.
Yep.
And that was pretty funny. Hey, how'd you handle the sharks out there? I always call them the guys in the gray suits. They were certainly out there, yeah. And he's a heavy guy. I don't think he could float that well.
No.
So his story was resonate with a lot of the big fat guys, but you went over the fat guys in the room. Normally you went over the whole room. He did that. There was a couple speakers that came in there, and they had some tough days.
Bunch of duds.
Yeah, tough hour. How about you? I assume similar?
Yeah, pretty much the exact same situation during my time.
The Navy SEAL, good.
A couple of them, come in and they instantly kind of have an air about them or a resume to. They get respect, and then they're very good with their message. And then others were like, okay, let's see how this goes. And then 12 seconds in, they're almost getting clapped out of the room.
Hate this guy. Okay.
Good run.
You guys.
Well, it's usually like high horser. Like guys, some people want to come in there as a high horser and be like, I know you guys play football, but you're all just big dumb idiots. You need to listen to me when it comes to this.
Pretty much. You guys need to be smarter when it comes to. Have you ever talked to me, motherfucker?
Yeah. You know any of us? Sorry, bud.
You don't know me. Who needs to be smarter? Vinatieri, maybe. Yeah, he's a little loose cannon, I guess. I mean, this guy's talking to you. He's not talking to me. I'm talking to everybody in here. Oh, fuck, he is talking.
He is talking to me. Okay.
Oh, you're talking to me? Okay, all right, pal. Yeah, it's a whole. Yeah. You're right. The clap after the first clap break, after we all learn that we hate the guy, the best one. All right, hey,
good run.
Good word. Hey.
Start standing. Some guys in the aisle are starting to make the turn to like go out of the room.
Shake the hand, yeah. People going up to shake the hand. Hey, you did great. I'll move on to my next slide here.
Player personnel guy freaking out, telling guys to sit down.
All right, let's go to the next slide, I guess. All right. You guys need to start being better at.
Here we go again.
So you can't go take a shit or something?
No, you have to be in there. The fucking player personnel person has actual. It's a real thing. NFL mandated. Yeah, it's NFL mandated.
Oh, okay.
Motivational speeches or something like that. I forget what the fuck they call it. What do they call it?
Education. They always frame it as some kind of education to the players for something.
I don't know if a lot of people know that this is happening. These happen just like all these.
They get paid very well too.
All these corpo speakers that corporations have, where you have to go fucking fake like you're interested in something.
Yep.
That's happening in the NFL as well. People are coming in, speaking to the whole building sometimes, speaking just to the team. And boy, that has to be the hardest crowd that any of those people go into. Bunch of guys who have a lot of money, bunch of guys who are tired at the point in which the day is, and a lot of hard-headed, stubborn guys. You know what I mean? The reason why you're in the NFL, why? Because you're pretty stubborn normally. Hey, you shouldn't just worry about football. You should worry about this. Oh, fuck off. I'm going to make it to the NFL. A lot of people have that mindset. So then whenever the person that created the internet's coming in, in their mind to talk to us about it, it's like, good luck, dude. Good luck. But there's been some great speakers. That's why, on Hard Knocks, when a comedian went in there,
crushed
and did well, I was fucking very impressed.
Meant a lot.
That is tough because, as you're saying, comedian was coming in, dead.
Yeah,
this guy is dead, and then he won over the whole room. I'm like, okay, good for this guy. Real talent right there.
Yeah,
would book that guy to get in there and speak. Not everybody has that. Some people get their asses booed out of there.
Did you guys have any comedians or good things, or was it just seminars and bullshit?
We had Frank Luntz. You remember who that guy is?
Oh,
I do.
Frank Luntz.
We did too.
I don't know who.
Did he have those shoes on? American flag shoes on?
I don't know about shoes. I know he played all of his
hits,
reactions to different things. He's real time polling, right? Isn't that what he does?
Focus groups.
Yeah,
he's a big focus group
so
guy.
This guy hit a homer, huh?
We all remember him for, I think, the same reason. He was smarter than every human that ever talked ever, wasn't he?
I think after the first clap break, 5 minutes in, he's like, don't worry, guys. I'm going to be done here in 50 minutes or so. And then everyone's like, oh no. They're start checking, this is not even close to what I thought it was.
There's the shoes. Yeah, I saw those shoes, and he deals with a lot of politicians. So he was talking to us. I actually learned about this guy in a sociology class because of his focus groups and what he's all done. I known of this human whenever he was coming in to speak to us. I heard he was speaking to us 2 hours beforehand.
Jacked
up. I was like, what the fuck is this guy talking to us about? Because this is a political, it's a very political world. It was brought in by the media relations people on what to say, what not to say. Showed us a video of Pete Carroll. And then while Pete Carroll was talking, they showed the focus group whether or not they were giving a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And it was this thing underneath Pete. And it was green, 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 everything he was saying. And then somebody else, it was red, boom, red, boom. red, boom. But what that person was saying when it was getting red, like got big pop out of the whole room. So like the whole room was laughing at the answer that was given, but he was like, that's not good, obviously. Look at the reaction from the people. It's like, yo, we're not running for fucking president, pal. That is, that's a hilarious. So he and I had a little bit of a differing opinion on some things.
Lindsey?
But I have respect for what he's done in the political world. But he was brought into a fucking football locker room in training camp. At the end of the day, he had no shot, let alone whenever he's talking about how bad we answer questions and stuff, as if we were running for president. It's like, hey, we don't give a fuck if we piss off fans from another team. Like, that is not, we don't care. We're not running to represent the United States of America. But his point was made, I think. You guys try to clap him out?
Yeah, we pretty much had a very similar situation to what you did. The same video being played and everything. When guys like, well, yeah, like, same thing. Like we play football. Like we're not really worried about all this stuff, big guy.
Well, Frank Luntz played football, I thought.
He might have. I'm not sure. He would have been a great eye back, but he
DB.
Maybe DB.
DB, yeah, he had speed. That's why he has the American flag shoes. Quick.
He backpedaled. He backpedaled down the
He
stairs.
did not
Start ours off.
He did not have to. Okay, breaking news coming out, but he told us the same thing he told AJ. You guys don't have to clap for me every slide here, because we were trying to. All right. All right. That was good. That was great work. Yeah.
Frank.
All right, Frank, thank you for taking time.
I always hope that they don't know what's going on. I really hope you don't
Gosh, in there. They clapped a lot.
Me and Vinny, like third row, normally second row, team meeting and in training camp. I always felt like I was an early riser. All right, here we go. Because I had more energy, than everybody else. They had to do actual shit. I'm just wasting time all day learning how to play cornhole better. But yeah, it was, here we go, this guy. Conti, PR guy. Pat, can you please just give the guy his time? It's like, man, this guy's fucking wrong, though. Dude, you know it, I know it. I have respect for him. I've studied this guy. I know him in sociology. I know what he's talking about. You think we give a fuck about what the state of Ohio thinks about what we're giving answers?
Absolutely.
Nope.
Okay, swing state. Cool. We don't give a fuck, dude. All right, breaking news out of the NFL. Michael Thomas is deadlifting 500-some pounds. Michael Thomas is deadlifting 530 pounds. The NFL has tweeted it out. He's all the way back. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Absolute game changer for the Saints. He's missed a couple years. There's been a couple communication issues with, is he going to get surgery or is he going to heal it himself? He didn't get surgery. He was going to heal it himself. Then he had to get surgery, missed a whole nother season. We didn't know if he hated the Saints. The Saints hated him. He being back on the field would be good for any team, including the Saints and Derek Carr. Looks like he's back. 530 is nothing to laugh at, AJ Hawk.
No, especially for a wideout. But where is that? Is he at the Saints facility? Everyone opened up their offseason program, didn't they?
I don't know. He looks sweet, obviously.
Yeah. Cool.
It doesn't appear to be the Saints program. Looks like he's maybe in a garage and has been turned into a gym. But nonetheless, he has NFL sweats on. So maybe that did come from the Saints equipment room. He looks great. Draft him in your fantasy.
That's right. Yeah.
Draft him in your fantasy. Michael Thomas is all the way back. We'll be back tomorrow with a big-time show. Good luck to all the teams playing in all the sports. Boston Bruins' entire team is sick.
That's right. That is not true, just a rumor, but we will be playing tonight. I'm glad you brought up the playoffs. What time do the Pens play?
So the Pens are not playing, but if we were to play, we wouldn't have a stomach bug because we understand this is the most important time of year and we'd be taking care of ourselves.
No, because the most important time of the year is actually on your home ice against the second worst team in the NHL, and you lost. So.
Yeah, we did lose, but everybody was healthy. They weren't getting sick out there. They were living like adults.
So your healthy team lost. So if our
100% healthy, 100% healthy, 100% healthy, we lose. But the Boston Bruins, the team that just broke the record since 2005, most wins in an NHL season.
Ever. Most is 65 bigger than 62.
So they're going to win it all for sure.
Most wins ever.
Certainly most wins ever, if you just look at the stat. But in 2005, they changed the rules to have a shootout, so there was a definite winner in every game. There wasn't any ties. They had 4 shootout dubs, so that could potentially be eliminated from the 65.
Sorry about
then
it.
they would have 61 instead of 62, but they got 65. Still impressive.
And nobody cared about hockey before the salary cap era per hockey people.
Nick Ronaldo, and that's hockey talk.
That only applies to the Red Wings.
Okay, but that's not what people say.
But more wins than anybody since 2005.
Ever.
and ever. That team allegedly stomach bug running through the entire team.
Everybody.
Boom, 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 boom. They're all sick, allegedly, for tonight. Connor, you heard the same rumor?
Yes, I heard the same rumor. Checked with a couple sources, and that rumor is not true. Over the weekend, yeah, there might have been a couple people sick. Everything is all good tonight. Feel good about it.
That's your sources?
That is my sources.
All right, Bruins are at full health tonight.
Well, they better run right through them then.
Wow, just like they were
running right through them this week.
All right, good luck to the Bruins to take on the Panthers in the NHL playoffs. Any other games tonight in the NHL?
Yeah, 3 others. Where is it? Islanders, Hurricanes, Wild, Stars, Kings, Oilers. And we got NBA playoffs, too.
Let's have a hell of a Monday.
Hell yeah.
See you guys tomorrow. AJ, thank you for being a champion of Ohio. Big shout out to Lombo, Shams, and Rappaport. Tomorrow's big day. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. We're going to Chef Bo's. Goodbye.